What is up, guys? Good evening, good evening, good evening. I'm looking forward to this stream in particular today because we got something I really like, and which is the UFC, which is MMA. And very rarely do I get an opportunity to talk to someone else about MMA. And really looking forward to Doc when he comes on. Uh, big card today, big card. We'll break it down. We'll see what's up. We'll see what the doc thinks. And hey, Jack. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Varun. Hey, Jishan. Oh, very excited about today, man. Let's see. Big UFC card today as well. Yes. Who's your guest? Oh, you're going to like him, Jack. Shubham Sadiq Bhai. He's coming. He's coming. Shubham. He's coming. He told me he'll be a little late, so I'm starting. Hey Jishan, good evening everyone. So excited. Shubham, do tell me, are you excited for the UFC event? Welcome to the channel, by the way. We do UFC and Premier League and football watch-alongs here as well. More than welcome. Uh, just waiting on Doc. He let us. He should be here very shortly. Do let us know what do you like, what do you follow, Shubham as well. Welcome to the channel. So hat trick of no, sorry, 4 goals. Very happy for him, man. Just wish he stayed for the season and decided what to do after that. But it is what it is. Glad to see him back on track. What's the hype, bro? My boss ordered me write 3-page article for this particular fight. What the fuck? All will be explained, Jack. It's a big fight. Shubham, tell me. Do you watch UFC as well? I can tell you're a Ronaldo fan, a Real Madrid fan, maybe because of the sweet. Do let us know which teams you follow, dude, and do let us know if you like UFC as well. Yes, which team do you support? Absolutely. Like if you think Makhachev will lose. Oh no, that doesn't sound good for me if you do that. Uh, yes, indeed. Oof, 4 golazos. Yeah, man. I'm very happy for him. Yeah, I'm very happy for him. Yes, but not regular. Oh, okay, no problem, dude. I watch regular, but we do a watch along for the pay-per-view events, like what Sunday will be. So feel free to join in the morning if you're awake as well. We do the pay-per-view events always without fail. Just waiting on him to come. He'll come anytime now, I assume. I asked him if I'd postpone it, but he said no, I'll be on time. So just give him a few more minutes to set up. Busy. Congratulations, 400 subs. Did I hit 400 subs? Oh, cool. Thanks, man. Yes, Real Madrid and CR7, man. Absolutely. Okay, cool. Like everything. Should know this channel, all right. Real Madrid, man. Oh, into the Club World Cup final against, what's the team called? Al Hilal, I guess. God, who knows? Reuters UFC watchlog, but not NBA, dude, because UFC starts at 8 o'clock, dude. I can actually get up that early. 399 subs? Oh, okay. I'll take it. Perfect. I mostly watch matches from the YouTube channel. I know players in big matches too. Oh, that's no problem, Shobham. It's fine, man. Road to 500 is officially on. No looking back now. Yes. Road to 500 is on, man. Very happy. Took a while to get there, but we're here now. So it's good. Then how about some EPL, NBA watchdog? I do watch the EPL. What do you mean? I'm going to watch the Chelsea match tomorrow. Oh, breaking news. Watching the Chelsea match. Started watching after Khabib McGregor ball. UFC 226. God, that actually was not a good day for the UFC, man. Lot of PR issues with that. It was nice for a neutral fan, but actually Dana White lost his mind after that. NBA starts at 8:30, but okay. Yeah, well, not all the games, Varun. Some games start at 2:30, dude. Like, I'm really not awake. Oh, I wish I wasn't awake, I should say. I am gonna watch the playoffs, Varun. Relax, dude. Relax. The NBA watch-alongs are coming. Listen, man. I'm gonna miss watching the Super Bowl. I wanted to do it this year, but I'm gonna miss it. How about some Wolves watch-alongs yesterday? Wolves played yesterday? Oof. All right, keep that in mind. So, if Real win one, I will start an agenda of telling how tough the match was to brag about Roshni Saudiri. If we lose, I'll start an agenda of how RSL is better than League One. God. Okay, I'll answer your question in the meantime while we wait for our guest, Jack. So, what is the big deal about this match? The big deal about this match is Islam Makhachev is the heir apparent to Khabib Nurmagomedov in the lightweight division. And what happens is, excuse me, what happens is his dream is to be the first number one pound for pound fighter in the world. Now, the number one pound for pound fighter in the world happens to be 10 pounds below him, who he's fighting right now, an Aussie named Alexander Volkanovski. He's the number one pound for pound now. I believe he's on a 17 fight win streak. I believe Islam Makhachev is on a 15 fight win streak. It's number one pound for pound versus number two pound for pound. The reason it's a big deal, Jack, is because I don't think a fight like this has actually taken place, you know, for all the marbles. So Alexander Volkanovski has a chance for Alexander Volkanovski has a chance for to be the fifth ever person to be a double champ. That is a person who simultaneously holds two belts in two weight divisions. He'll be the fifth person to do it. So that is history on his part. Islam Makhachev wants to be the person that who finishes up number one pound for pound. He may or may not retire after this match. It depends. Khabib Nurmagomedov is not going to coach his corner this time. He is done with coaching for the foreseeable future. That's what he has said. So there's a lot of speculation that Islam might win this fight and then retire as number one pound for pound as well to follow in Khabib's footsteps. So there's a lot riding on this. Not to mention it's in Australia. Alex Volkanovski is the 145 champion. UFC's come back to Australia after a while. So there is a lot of pressure in the build up. Number one pound for pound versus number two pound for pound never happened before. Normally because the weight classes are way different for both fighters. So there's a lot at stake today, man. There's a lot at stake today. Come on, UCL watch along 1450. Yeah, we are doing UCL watch alongs, dude. We are doing Bayern Munich's watch along and we're doing Chelsea Dortmund watch along. So those are locked in. Feel free to join, absolutely. I meant tomorrow, Nathan. Tomorrow I'm doing Chelsea versus doing the Chelsea match, basically. Because Islam is getting so much support by 100% of the UFC fans. Yes. So actually, Islam is actually not getting as much support as people think, dude. Islam Makhachev is kind of getting booed a lot in Australia, a lot. He's definitely not getting any local support. He's getting a lot of support because a lot of people think it's going to be quite a very easily done task for him. I, on the other hand, do not think so, but of course, I will let you know that eventually. Cool. Yes, Shubham. Do feel free then, of course. Wait, Islam is calling it off even? No way, just no, Jishan. I'm not saying he's calling it off. I have a feeling that he may want to retire as number one pound for pound. I don't know, dude. I just have this feeling. It's a feeling in my mind because I remember when Khabib retired, he said, I remember him saying that I am done. I only want to be number one pound for pound, and then I'm going to retire basically. On his retirement. So he got a number one pound for pound. Now let's see if he's gonna retire or not, man. I don't know. Let's see what happens. I have a feeling. I have a feeling he might, but he might not. Obviously, dude. He is only 31. He is very young. He might, or you know what he might do, Jishan? He might get the most title defenses, so he's the most successful lightweight in UFC history, and then he might retire. So I believe you need two or three title defenses to be the best in lightweight. So if he does that, if he does hit the two or the three, I think then he'll retire. Obviously, on Saturday will be his first. So let's see what happens, man. Let's see what happens. Waiting on for Doc here. In the meantime, guys, do any of y'all want to make a prediction? Please give us your predictions as well for who you think is going to win Islam Makhachev and Alexander Volkanovski. In fact, if you want, feel free to tell us how he's going to win too. That would be even excellent if you want to. Islam's getting booed because he's been compared by Gabi. Jesus, my hand is paining writing it. Well, he is the heir apparent, dude. That's what Khabib wanted. Khabib wanted to follow, wanted him to follow his mold after he laid down the pathway. So you can see why Khabib, why people feel that way. Uh, his style is definitely not the same as Khabib. He's, I think, a lot more well-rounded. Khabib would close the distance to try and take you down as quick as possible. His striking wasn't bad or anything. It's just, he always was a much safer fighter. That is why Islam has a loss and Khabib does not, because Islam went in wild, got knocked out by Adriano Martins. So so you can see why that happened, because he was always a dynamic fighter that way. And by the way, guys, we have our guest coming on now. Let's see. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, look, he's buttering up the host already. Look at that jersey. Look at that little jacket thing. Look at that little crest over there. Look, it looks familiar. That crest looks familiar. Very familiar. No, no, keep it on. Keep it on, please. Keep the hoodie on. Thank you. So how's everything, dude? How's everything? Good evening. How was the first of all, tell us how was the holidays? Because the last time I contacted you, you were on holiday. So how was the holiday? How did the vacation go? Okay. Okay. How is Pakistan now? Is it okay? Is it good? How is it? Because I've seen travel vlogs. People travel there. So I watch the vlogs because I'm curious, man. I want to see how it looks, raw. Yeah, that's probably not good. Probably not good. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I get it. Yeah. No, what happens is I watch a lot of travel vlogs, and they are raw. They're raw because they're like Europeans. They don't understand the political tension, right? They just want to show people the place, which is how I prefer to watch something. Even I have, yeah, because I'll be frank with you, dude. As an Indian, I don't believe half of the things I read anyway. I'll just be very clear about that. And I think it's very refreshing because it's a neutral traveler and he shows you everything. And I think, wow, cool. Maybe one day, hopefully. Yeah, okay. Brothers. Okay. Oh, okay. So is my parents. My parents also are born in Bombay. Yeah. Awesome. So before we get into it, one UFC related question. The Ultimate Fighter. What do you think? He managed to scurry his way into. Oh, you not know what's happened? Connor and Michael Chandler are the coaches. Welcome. I'm breaking news to you. This is great. Connor, Michael Chandler are coaches, and they will meet at 170. Mhm. Hold on. They're saying they can't hear you, Sadiq. One, hold on. No, 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 no. It's my. Hold on. It's my issue. Give me a second. You say something?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Can you hear? Sorry, can you hear, guys? It was my bad. Apologies. Not used to
You can
OBS.
hear it?
Wait, it's
You
still
can hear
not
now?
audible?
Wait a minute, let me just. Am I audible now?
Now fixed. Hold on. Now you can. Oh, okay. Yeah, it was my bad, guys.
Okay.
Apologies. Anyway,
No, it's
anyway,
alright.
it was a bunch of personal questions, so don't worry. We didn't get into anything, so it's
Yeah.
okay. Nothing is
So the Ultimate
misleading.
Fighter, I think Conor and Michael Chandler are the coaches, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think it's
And they're
gonna
and they're
start
go- and they're going to meet
filming.
at 170. I don't know how I feel about
And
that personally.
Conor will get smoked again.
You see,
He
I'm
can't
not
handle
that
the weight.
I'm not that confident there. You think so? Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. He won't. He can't handle weight above 160.
Oh, come on. Yeah,
Above.
you don't believe that. Yeah, come on.
No, no. He can't. He can't. His see. Conor's most important trait is his agility. That goes away beyond a certain weight.
Interesting. Okay. But have you seen how Yokti is getting these? I
Yeah,
actually
that's what
want
I'm
to
saying. I
laugh
mean,
because I don't
well,
really know what that is. I find it very suspicious how much weight
no.
he's put on, but
Honestly, yeah, that's what. Honestly, I would not be surprised if he's busted after the fight for some pretty interesting substances. Something like ending with an alone. Substances ending with a loan at the end of it.
oh,
Nandrolone, trenbolone, some salty
trust,
stuff.
trust alone or something like that.
Some kind of a loan at the end. And he would be standing alone with a busted lip at the end of it all.
So it's going to be at 170, but I don't understand why. I don't understand why at all.
Well,
Uh,
Connor can't. See, he's not a serious fighter anymore, to be very honest.
oh my God, someone's going to
So
clip
he
this,
can't.
Sadiq bhai. You're going to be in trouble for
Yeah,
these clips you're going to get.
I won't be. I mean, if see, if I would have said this like 5 years back, yes, clip it and show it. 2023, Conor McGregor is more of an entertainer, more of a WWE act than a proper UFC fighter. He stopped being a fighter after this guy, what's his name? Khabib took the fight out of him. When he smashed his mouth into the octagon mat and told him, speak now. And anytime he started to open his mouth was smashed again into the mat. Khabib shut him up for good. After that, whatever he yaps, it's just yap, 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 yap.
I mean, technically, he could. He could see. Here's the thing. Yeah, Michael Chandler is just going to. He's going to gunsling. If he approaches the if he approaches the fight like he did the first round with Dustin, I think he gasses Connor out and submits him in the second. But if he gunslings with him, I
See, if anyone goes gunslinging with Khabib, that sorry, not Khabib, I mean with Connor, that guy is an idiot.
yeah, but
You
but
don't
technically Chandler doesn't use his wrestling anyway. It doesn't matter who he's fighting.
see. That's the problem. If a Jose Aldo went to gunsling with him and got shot out, you would be stupid to go gunslinging with the Conor McGregor. I mean, see, as much as I said that he's not a serious fighter, power is the last thing that goes away from a fighter. Whether it's boxing, whether it's mixed martial arts, whether it's any form of combat sports. If you have raw power in your hands or in your legs, that's the last thing that goes away. And if you have decent speed to match with it, and it's not that Connor's not got stand up, he's got stand up skills, and Michael Chandler has rudimentary stand up skills, to be very honest. So if he goes for a stand up fight with Conor McGregor, I mean, okay, fine. Then you are asking to be put to sleep. So, okay, go, fine. He will sing you a nice lullaby with his hands, and that would be it. But if you are having even a semblance of a pea brain, you would understand that the thing is to take him down, resist his attacks, and take him down. Just grind the fight out. Connor does gas. Connor does gas. I mean, this version of his, not the version that faced Jose Aldo. Because till that time he had gone 3 rounds, he had gone 5 rounds. He was willing to go the wars, and he was a willing fighter at that time. Since the Floyd Mayweather fiasco that he had, he's just off. He's just not there anymore.
Yeah, I
He's a
think
different
I
fighter.
think
I mean, I'm
he
I'm not talking. He is a much more gargantuan personality right now, but he's a much lesser fighter. And we are talking about the fight. We're not talking about the personality. Yes, the Ultimate Fighter would be amazing to watch this season. Why? Because he will bring all the entertainment that he brings along with him. But if you're talking about pure fight, the game plan is in front of you. Now Michael Chandler needs to execute it. If he doesn't have the intelligence to do that, then well, that's his problem.
That is true. Hold on, I'll just ask you some questions. Someone quoted Conor McGregor. Your wifey is in my DMs. When he was, after the second fight. No, wait, it was after the third fight when he was sitting down with his broken leg. I can't believe, I can't imagine how much adrenaline was in his body that his shattered limb in half and he's still insulting people. You
Connor
have
is a
to,
whole lot more in
it's
his
not a
body than just
nice insult.
adrenaline.
You can't appreciate what he said, but you have to appreciate that he said it with a snapped leg.
No, no, what I'm
Seriously.
saying is Conor McGregor has a whole lot more in his system than just adrenaline when he's fighting. It seems like it.
Oh, it's going to be fun. Anyway, so Sadiq
And
bhai,
the
tell me
ultimate
how
fight is going to be
excited.
fun, as I said.
It's going to be
It's going to be
fun. It's going to be
fun,
fun.
full of entertainment. But that's what McGregor is right now. He's an entertainer.
See, the thing is, I want to buy what I want to buy what you're selling. The problem is, I know Chandler is doing his whole good time, not long time business. So it might actually make Connor look really good because how I look at
Yeah,
it as is it's his
he's
basically his
beating him.
lightweight number five spot's going to be online, even though they are at 170, because they're going to be like, yeah, I beat him, so I should be above him in the ranking, even at a
See, what
different
they're
weight
trying to
class.
do, what the UFC wants to do is feed a few quote unquote tomato cans to him just to bring him back up into the limelight, then give him a serious fight.
Yeah.
If that serious fight Connor wins, they want the ideal rematch. Connor going up against the pupil of Khabib, Makhachev versus that generational fight. He will again come up with the same old insults: drink, have wine, have this, have that. The anti-Muslim rhetoric that he spews out of his mouth in the
Honestly,
press
I
conferences.
honestly have to say I don't think he's anti-Muslim.
No,
But
he's
that
not. He's
that
not.
that being said, he's I just wish he didn't say it. I just wish he
No,
didn't
no,
say
he's
it.
not. He's not. No, 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 he's not. It's just a act.
It's an
I,
act.
I, I understand that. I'm old enough and I'm mature enough to understand that he's selling a fight. Okay,
Yeah, of course.
him and Khabib is like that religious, proper kind of guy. So
He's
obviously the
staunch. He's orthodox. He's
antagonist,
he's proper.
yeah,
He's
he's
old school
orthodox.
Muslim.
So
Yeah.
yes, so there has to be an antagonist to him, or the other side to him, the
Yeah, of course.
yin to his yang,
Yeah.
or the yang to his yin, howsoever you want to put it. So I understand that is what Connor is trying to do, but that is where the UFC is trying to take it as well, because Connor going like the redemption arc, trying to reclaim his title from the person who is the pupil of the guy who took it away from him. It's like
Yeah, there's a lot of storylines. I think the Chandler matchup
it's
is a
like
quite
Danny
quite
LaRusso going
ingenious.
up against Danny LaRusso trying to get Mr. Miyagi's revenge on
Hmm.
someone. Like
Yeah, yeah,
those
it's
classic
quite it's
storylines
quite
that we have.
ingenious. It's quite ingenious because
Yeah,
it works out. It really works out in Connor's favor, right? Because if Connor's actually in win-win, if he loses to Chandler, they'll be like, yeah, we kind of knew he was washed up, but we thought he had a
yeah.
fight in him. And if he beats
If he wins, he
Chandler,
gets another fight.
yeah,
The next fight, I'm more interested about his
I think
fight
it's going to
after
be
Chandler.
Gaethje. I think it's going to be Gaethje.
How many times do you want to see that?
How many times do I want? No, I think. Oh, you're saying if Chandler wins. If Chandler wins, it's going to be. uh, Listen, yeah.
I think Connor and this
Free
guy
Denir
fought, right?
Dariush. Free,
I
free
think Tony
Denir
Ferguson
Dariush.
retired, right?
Sorry?
Tony Ferguson retired, right?
Tony Ferguson has not retired. He wanted to be actually a coach on the Tough Cast, so that's interesting. There are some
I feel
questions here,
if
Sadiq. Can I ask you? So the question
yeah,
is, one question is, Suryansh wants to know who your favorite fighter is, and he wants to
all
know our
time.
favorite fighter. But before you answer that question, Vishal wants to ask, among the English club, which are the most supported clubs? I would say Liverpool, Arsenal, and United. What do you think?
Amongst the English club, which are the most supported?
Yeah.
United by far the top. I mean, there's no questions about it. If we can match and spend City despite being at our worst, you can just imagine how much revenue we generate, and that is definitely generated on the back of the fans. Then I would say it's Liverpool because they have that history and they have that old school fans.
Yeah.
Coupled with their last 5 years, those old school fans have helped to develop a new lot as well coming in. Then I would say Arsenal during my time, yes, but I think because of the 20-year downfall,
Yeah.
Chelsea has come into the third
Chelsea.
slot now. Chelsea may even be in the second slot because Liverpool also had that downward trajectory a little bit. So it's Chelsea, Liverpool. I would say. I would say Liverpool a tad ahead because of the older fans, if you ask me. Then
I also
Chelsea.
I
Then I
also
would
think I
say
also think Chelsea always had a good team. They always had a good cup team. They've always had legends like
you could say
Vianney
you could
and
say
Zola and
you could say Chelsea was like Brighton back in the day, a team that could go deep in cup competition, maybe a little bit better than Brighton. You could say somewhere, obviously, Spurs, I would not say because Spurs never won trophies, that's the thing. But Chelsea was in that, how do I put it, which category? Because nowadays, to none of the. Chelsea was like a Leicester. Chelsea was like a Leicester without the Premier League title but with more cups. You could
yeah,
say that
yeah.
in that
And
day. So,
your
so
favorite fighter?
I'm not impressed by the question.
So that answers your
George
question, Suryansh.
Rush
If you understand who
Saint
that is,
Pierre.
it's GSP George Saint Pierre, and
George Saint Pierre.
I think my favorite fighter would be George Saint Pierre, but just to go different, I would say Michael Bisping. I always hear the words fighters sacrifice and this and that and the other. I think he is an exemplary example of how much it can actually take from you. Because everybody breaks the same bones, everyone's knees tear the same, but I think the fact that he loses his eye
And it doesn't
proves how
hurt
deadly
that,
this sport is.
and it doesn't hurt he's a United fan too.
Yeah, but he's not. The funny thing is, he's not a very big football fan because I guess he wasn't into it young because he took kickboxing at a really early age. But yes, I believe
Hmm.
his family does support United because when
Yeah, yeah.
Henderson came to England, they took him to the City Stadium. Dan Henderson has no clue about football. That's not even a City joke. He looked like he was like, the complimentary smile, like
I
I
think
don't know what this is, dude, but I'm here now,
I think the
so I'm
best thing
gonna
would
enjoy
have
it.
been he's gone to the city. I think the best thing would have been he's gone to Etihad and he asks where is the David Beckham statue.
Would have been great.
They'll be like, no. You have to go to the real side of Manchester over that.
So that I just wanted to keep you posted. I didn't know if you are watching the news like that. And another fun fight, I don't know if you're aware of. We have Max Oliver Holloway taking on Arnold Allen. I think Arnold Allen is exactly like Benil Dariush. They should have already gotten title shots, but
When is that coming up?
believe it's in
85.
April. I believe in April it is. No, no, it's not a.
I'm actually
It's a
interested
fight
for
night, right?
85. I want to see John Jones returning at
Yeah,
heavyweight.
yeah, no, we'll get there. We'll get there. What do you think about John Jones' comeback fight? Right on time, Chetan. Welcome to
Yeah,
the channel, Chetan.
yeah, it was.
Oh, and Savage Gaming. There's two John Jones fans here. They are asking about it. So
Well,
let's see
John
what
Jones
they
was
think.
one of my favorite fighters. I mean, he was very nearly, getting into that GSP thing before his shenanigans. I mean, the first time when he was caught, I was like, okay, ho jata hai, happens. Second time, then third time, he's like, he's literally saying that I, in the press conference when he came and said, I beat you when I was high on coke, and I was like, dude, come on, you don't say that. I mean, because this guy had a very, if you imagine, I mean, if you remember, in 2007-8, I think 2008 was when he beat Shogun, right, for the title.
I believe it's 2009.
Nine. 2008
April.
was his this transition when he had those
Yeah.
four straight fights,
He had
and he had that
Stephen Bonner,
disqual
Andre
Stephen
Guzman,
Bonner, Matt Hamill, and this
Andre Guzman.
Phil Davis. Phil Davis.
No, not Phil Davis. He didn't fight Phil Davis.
No, he did. He did
No, he,
fight
he
because
didn't
him and
fight Phil
Phil
Davis.
Davis.
That was Gustafsson who fought Phil Davis. He fought Matyushenko, Matt Hamill, Andre Guzman, and Stephen Bonner.
Hamill, I
Andre
remember
Guzman.
very clearly. He was disqualified for those
Yeah, that is
12
his.
o'clock elbows.
His loss.
His only quote unquote
His
a
loss.
loss where he smashed the guy
Yeah, I mean,
that he lost to. So I was like, this guy, he gave me that GSP like vibes till that Shogun fight, and I think in his first two defenses, the one he had against Rashad Evans,
hmm.
and then I think he had one against Rampage, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yes, he finished Rampage by rear naked choke. In fact, I thought the Rashad
Yeah,
Evans one was the toughest because it went to a
nobody
decision.
smashed him.
Yeah, no. I mean, comparison, he hung in there because everyone in
Hmm.
that run of form, he finished everyone except
And
Rashad
that
Evans.
Gustafsson fight was also good, and I was like, okay, till the Gustafsson fight, I was like, okay, he's in that GSP trajectory, and probably if he had continued today, my answer for my favorite fighter would have been a little bit more difficult between GSP and him. But then all those shenanigans and crap started with him, and I was like, dude, you're losing it. You're losing it. You're losing it mentally.
In fact, before those shenanigans, he did also wrap his Bentley around a tree with women in it. I don't know if people, funny. The funny thing is people don't
Yeah.
remember that. Don't remember that
No,
incident.
he did that.
He did do that,
No,
yeah.
he did a. Yeah, but I was like, okay,
I
ठीक है
think,
यार.
in
He's
fact,
a
I think
young.
that is the one that told us he is into partying because before that we didn't know.
Yeah.
That is actually the thing that made me realize, oh, it started from there. But I never
See a
clocked it
young
until all the
athlete.
charges.
See a young athlete with women. I was like, okay. Every young athlete does that. You name a young superstar
Oh,
athlete
absolutely.
who's considered to be as a goat, something crappy will be there. You will find there are very rare exemptions to it, and that's why those people are the goats that I consider. Like you will never hear such things about Jordan. You will never hear such a thing about Ali after his suspension.
Oh, can we talk about Jordan actually? What did you think about, first of all, congratulations to LeBron
Hmm.
fans. What do you think about that celebration in between the game, dude? Did they not lose the game at the end? That
Yeah, no,
Jordan
but
Jordan would have never allowed that, dude.
no, no, no,
If
no, no, no,
someone
no.
said there's going to be a party mid game for you beating that record, he'd be like, "Excuse me, we didn't even win the game. What are we
No,
celebrating?"
no, that is something else. But then, but then the same thing happened when Kareem broke the record.
Yeah,
If you go back and check, whenever
yeah,
such a record happens, they stop, and not from now. This has been happening when Wilt broke the record.
yeah,
Then when Kareem broke Wilt's record, the same thing happened. In fact, when Curry broke the three-pointer record,
yeah.
same thing
As well,
happened. When Ray Allen, a couple
Ray
of years
Allen,
prior to that, had broken
Reggie
Reggie
Miller.
Miller's record, the same thing happened. So this happens. When you break an NBA record,
Yeah.
this happens. The thing with Jordan was Jordan never broke a long time record of anyone because he played 15 years total, and that is counting the two wizard years.
Yeah.
But his actual career was
And
13
not
years
not
because
about the prime break years as well, where you went to play AAA
baseball.
baseball.
I think he went to play baseball or he was just suspended for gambling, for all we know.
That is something he actually did. Funny enough, another thing that
Yeah,
people
that is
realize
something.
later. But
Yeah.
I think it was just his addictive nature. Like he wanted to win. I don't think he had an actual money
He was
problem.
so, Jordan was so competitive. He literally invented slights in his mind. That okay, he said that to me, I'm going to do something to prove that wrong. He
There's no
literally took
LeBron. There's no
every single
LeBron eight.
thing.
There's no LeBron eight, Varun. I just found it funny
See. I
in
personally,
between the game. I found it funny because,
no,
like
I did not
Sadiq Bhai
find it
said, I
funny.
did not. I haven't seen a record like that being broken. Not to
No,
my
no,
memory at least. So I
no,
understand.
no, I did
But
not
I
find
found
it
it
funny
really
because
weird.
that
They
is
could have celebrated
no,
after
no,
the
that is
game.
how it happens. No, that is how it happens for these kind of records. That's what is the norm.
Okay, okay, okay.
I think even when Hakeem broke the shot blocking records or something like that happened in
I don't
between
think
when they
we're
had a
ever going to
timeout.
see Stockton's record break, but that's the only one that's
No, no,
not
no.
broken. He's not going to come close. No
Stockton's
way.
record is there has been so many point guards who have reached 11,000 assists. Stockton has 15,
I
and
remember
and
watching him
no,
doing
and that's not the
three-point
only record he
challenges.
has.
Three-point
Do you
challenges.
know the other record he has?
No. Steals?
John Stockton steals 3,200. He's 500 steals ahead of the next person.
What is it? Allen Iverson? Allen Iverson has
No, I think
2,000,
it
right?
is no. No, there are a few in that category. I think Jordan has it. Jordan is third, or I think Scottie Pippen is there. One of these guys, or I think maybe Gary Payton,
Oh, the glove. Seattle
the glove,
Supersonics. Debunked,
Seattle
Lady.
Supersonics.
Yeah, of course.
Gary
The
Payton
fun
and
fact is it was the NBA stopped the game. Absolutely, dude. Absolutely. That
Yeah,
is
yeah,
true.
yeah.
You have to. It's
They
not
yeah, yeah,
LeBron's
they
choice.
stop it.
I agree.
No, no, no,
Could
no.
never
It's the
ever do that.
NBA's.
So respect. Okay, fine. For Varun and all the basketball fans. Before we continue, um, do
Oh
tell me,
yeah. Oh, look at this.
Jordan
Look
and
at
LeBron.
this.
Okay,
All time steal leaders. John Stockton is at 32.65. Second place is Jason Kidd at 26.84.
New Jersey Nets.
And third is Michael Jordan at 25.14. So basically, John Stockton has the steals record by over, and very good players average 2 steals a game. You can imagine how difficult it is to reach there.
Very rare. Steals
And
is
the
very difficult. Steals is very difficult.
and the assist leaders, Stockton is at 15,800, nearly 16,000. Second again is Jason Kidd. He's at 12,100.
Oh,
And among active players, Chris Paul is at 11,291 and LeBron is at 10,300. So no one's breaking John Stockton's records for a very long time. But for me, the GOAT is always going to be Jordan.
there we
Six
go. Yeah,
finals.
Varun, you've heard it. You finally heard
See,
it from
see, see,
someone
I know,
apart
I
from me.
know. See, people will come and say LeBron, longevity, those things. I rank him second on that list. Although I personally don't like LeBron, but what he has achieved, what that man has done, you have to give him that second slot.
Yeah, of course.
But Jordan, once he started winning, once he learned how to win, because I'm not counting the wizard years, that he just came out of, he just wanted to do something, so he came out of it. Once he started winning, until he decided no one could beat him.
Yeah.
6 finals, 6 MVPs, 6-0 in the finals. Because see, NBA finals are not like a football final. It's not a one-off game where you can lose.
Yeah.
It's a 7-game series. If someone beats you in a 7-game series eight
Go ahead.
times,
Go ahead.
that means some team has been or some player has been better than you. In Jordan's case, he went up against teams who were considered to be his equals. 91-92, he went up against a Magic Johnson, a prime Magic Johnson led Lakers team that had a better record than Chicago that season. And Magic Johnson was the reigning MVP of 91. 1990-91 MVP was Magic Johnson, not Michael Jordan. He defeated him for his first title. Second year, he went against a guy who was considered his equal at the two guard, at the shooting guard position. And guys, you know something? When LeBron joined the league, he joined the league in 2003-2004. In 2003, there was a new rule passed. There was no hand checking allowed. Do
Yeah.
you know what is hand checking? Hand checking, if hand checking would have been allowed, LeBron would have been bullied around and Steph Curry would have been bullied around. Because hand checking, you could,
Stick your
because
hand
I've
out. Yeah.
played basketball to the collegiate levels. So I was a defender and I used to use hand checking to my advantage because at that time hand checking was allowed. So you defended the guy and you could put your hand on the guy's hip,
Yeah.
and if you're strong enough in your legs,
Guide him.
you could shift the guy, you could guide him, you could shift him out.
Yeah.
Now if you hand check, even if you finger check, it's a foul. So you can't hand check and you can't defend so physically. Jordan had a season of 37 or 38 points. He averaged 35 points for the last 5 years of the 80s when he was playing against the bad boys, Pistons. And if you ever want to see Jordan rules, go check the Last Dance documentary. They used to hit him,
Yeah.
literally
The Pistons.
clothesline
The
him.
Pistons were really tough.
And no, and not just the Pistons. The Knicks learned from the Pistons. They used to clothesline him. They used to smack Scottie Pippen around. So the era he played in, and in the era he dominated. And now people will say LeBron has this points record. Do you know what is the average record per game?
His average is
When
lower than
Jordan
Jordan's. His average is lower than Jordan's. I know that.
Jordan holds the record 30.14, and that 30.14 reduced because he came to play for the Wizards and averaged 20 points there for 2 seasons. When he actually retired after the shot in
Okay, so
Chicago in
so so
1998.
so Varun wants. Okay, so Varun is saying LeBron James carrying Lakers 40 points per game. What else do you want? 12 assists a
He
match.
is not averaging 40 points a game. He's averaging 28, 8 and 8.
Okay, per
Michael
game.
Jordan carried the
No, no,
yeah,
he's
and
talking
Michael
about no,
Jordan
no, he's talking about as a Laker. He's saying only as a
As
Laker.
a Laker, he's not averaging 40 points. Who
He's
said
not.
he's averaging 40 points?
Oh man,
Look
I
at his
didn't.
stats this season. You
Interesting.
can't challenge
Okay.
me on NBA stats. I just checked it yesterday. 28.5, 8.5, and 8.5
So basically, so
with a block
Varun
and a
was
steal.
Varun comes here and he's a big LeBron fan, and he.
I'm a Laker fan. Guys, I'm
Oh,
a
you are a
Laker
Laker fan?
fan.
Oh, okay.
I'm a
Okay.
Laker fan,
Oh, hold on. Okay. Okay. Perfect.
but I've put my
Kobe or
Laker
LeBron?
fandom on
Kobe or
suspense.
LeBron as a Laker?
Kobe. Kobe.
That's
As a
what I
Laker,
said. I
Kobe.
got in
Five,
trouble for
five
saying that.
rings. Five rings.
But
Kobe, man, Mr. 20 years. Mr. Don't get me crying now. I cried
I
that day
got
when Kobe
I
passed
got in
away.
trouble. No, dude. Even I honestly, even I was sad. Like, as someone who always
See,
had
I'm
that.
not doubting LeBron's greatness. I said, no, for me, this is my tier. Jordan number one, LeBron and Kareem keeps shifting two and three depending on my preference on that particular day because people are forgetting how great Kareem was.
Also, people don't realize that when Kareem was playing, there was no
Kareem is
three
the only
pointers.
man. Kareem has the most number of MVPs combined. He has got
He has
14
more.
total
He has
MVPs.
more than Bill Russell.
He has 6 MVPs. Jordan and Russell have five. Kareem has 6 MVPs. And there was a time from 1971 when he joined the league and Wilt Chamberlain was end of his prime. And Chamberlain hated him because Kareem dominated Chamberlain in the 72 playoffs when he was playing for the Bucks.
And also
When he
also
was still
people are
not a
making this
Muslim,
argument. You
his name
let me
was
know
Lou
what you think about
Alcindor.
this. Okay, yeah, Lou Alcindor, that was his name. Yeah, he converted to
Yeah.
Islam. Yes.
You know
Uh,
how dominant Kareem was?
Quite honestly,
For 4 years,
I know it.
for
I
four
know through
years,
a funny way. I know through a funny way because there's a Drake reference. I don't know if you listen to Drake, but there's a Drake reference that
hmm,
says me and Wayne because Little Wayne was his mentor when he was coming up before he became who he is. And he used to be like me and Wayne lean like Kareem doing hook shots. Well, of course, he's referring to the sky hooks that he
Skyhook.
used to. So
Guys, if
you
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 go
know
and talk,
the culture
you
is
ask
always
LeBron,
represented in music,
they have
because
asked
black
LeBron,
people.
they've asked LeBron the most lethal offensive weapon of all time. LeBron, Shaq, Jordan, Iverson, Kobe, Hakeem Olajuwon, all these players have said it's the Kareem Skyhook.
It's not the
And
Kobe fadeaway.
no one can hit it like that. That Skyhook coming from this angle, and he could hit it from it was not
Distance.
that it was a Skyhook that he's hitting only from the post.
Yeah.
18 feet out,
Around the
20 feet out,
perimeter. Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm telling you, if a three-pointer would have been allowed at that time and the game would have been evolved this much, Kareem would be hitting skyhooks from the three-point line also.
Your
He was
thoughts
a
on the
unicorn.
your thoughts on that. Speaking of Kareem, your thoughts on the fact that people still think Kareem's feat is more important because there were no three pointers while Kareem was playing in the league.
I would say that's a different debate.
I mean,
I would not
technically,
say
he
that
did.
is
He had less. I mean, see, listen. This is not. It's not LeBron's fault. He's good from shooting threes.
no,
I'm
but
not. That's. I'm not saying that.
exactly,
But I'm not saying
exactly.
that. But I'm
Kareem,
saying
see,
Kareem's
for the
was more
first nine
difficult
years,
to do. Maybe.
for the first 7 years of his career, there was no three-point line in the NBA.
Yeah.
Three-point line came in 1978. So he did not, even if he would have wanted, there was no three-point line.
Yeah.
And later on, also up till 2005, 2006, even up till 2009, the big man was the main guy. You had to have a dominant big man to win a championship. You needed to have a dominant scoring guard and a dominant big man. If you count teams, I will count.
Kobe Shaq.
You have let's go from the 80s, 1980, 80, 81. Magic Johnson, rookie point guard. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the center. 1981, you had Larry Bird, who was not a guard, but he was a scoring wingman alongside a front line of Robert Parrish and Kevin McHale. Perhaps the greatest three-man front line ever in the history of basketball with the Boston Celtics. Come to 82, again it's the Lakers. Come to 83, it's the 76ers with Dr. J, Julius Erving, Michael
Julius
Jordan
Erving.
before Michael Jordan, and Moses Malone, the most dominant rebounding big man you would find after Wilt. Come to 84, you have again the Celtics. Come to 85, you have the Lakers again, the same combination. 86, you have the dominant Celtics again. 87, you have the Lakers again. 88, you have the Lakers repeating. 89 and 90, you have the Detroit Pistons with Isaiah Thomas and Joe Dumars as a scoring backcourt. And you had a Bill Lambier, who was still a scoring big man up front. Then you come down, then the trend changed, and that's why Jordan is so dominant, because he defeated big men. Then comes Jordan with his three-peat, where he had two guards, two ultra defensive guards. You had Michael Jordan and you had Scottie Pippen. They could lock you down. Then you come down again to the two seasons where Jordan was not there, 94, 95. Who went to the finals? Hakeem Olajuwon with a big man, with his string of guards that he had, Clyde Drexler and Kenny Smith and Sam Cassell and all those people. Then you had 95, the finals, that the last man to defeat Jordan in a playoff series, Shaq and Penny. Penny was supposed to be Kobe before Kobe, but he got injured and all those. He had his fights with Shaq and everything. Then you come down further down. Again, you had the Jordan three-peat. That's why Jordan dominating in an era of big men as a shooting guard. Then 1999, San Antonio Spurs. Tim Duncan, David Robinson, Twin Towers. Again, you had two very, very dominant big men.
No, of course.
Then you had the Lakers three-peat. 2000, 2001, 2002. Shaq and Kobe. Then you had 2003 again, Duncan with a young Tony Parker and a young Manu Ginobili.
Manu Ginobili.
Yeah, so you had big man, guard. Then comes the only anomaly in this, that is the Detroit Pistons of 2004. But again, those Pistons, we had no idea how good Chauncey Billups was till that time. So you have Chauncey Billups, a scoring guard, you have Rip Hamilton, a scoring guard, and you've got a defensive terror inside known as Big Ben.
Big Ben
Big Ben Wallace. The Fro.
Who
Fear the Fro.
would obviously go on to play for the Bulls as well.
Yeah, later. Then 05 again, you have the Spurs. 06, you have the Heat, Shaq and Dwayne Wade.
Shaq,
Dwayne
Chris
Wade's
Bosh.
first title.
No, not Chris Bosh. Was it Chris Bosh then? No, it
No,
came
Shaq. No. Bosch was in Toronto, no, at that time.
Bosh was in Toronto, yes.
06, Bosch was in Toronto. 07, you have the Spurs again. The alternate odd year champions, as they are known as. Then 08, you had the Boston Celtics again. Paul
Kevin
Pierce,
Garnett, Paul
a
Pierce.
two-guard, and Kevin Garnett and Ray Allen.
Yeah.
Then you had the two Kobe championships. Kobe with Pau Gasol.
No one gives a shout
Then you
out
come.
under an underachiever, but I thought a very big constant in that Laker team, Derek Fisher.
Oh, Derek Fisher, he's won all the five. Kobe never won a
No, that's
title
what I'm
without
saying.
Fish.
No, it's a very unnoticeable fight because I was talking to Varun. Varun is a big Lakers fan. I'm saying not a lot of credit is given to Derek Fisher, because he
Oh,
was that every
Derek
man.
Fisher was a bulldog of a defensive point guard. I mean, because he never needed to score that much and set up so much because he had Kobe. Kobe was a ball dominant guard. So he never had to do too much on the offensive end other than hit the three-pointer. But defensively, he had to take hold of the opposition's main guy. Then you come down to 2011. The Mavs won it behind Dirk and a ragtag. That's the second exception to this rule of a big man. Then by that time, the league had started changing. You started to have stretch fours and stretch fives. That's when Chris Bosh turned from a power forward to a center and a three-point shooting center. But the combination was same. You had LeBron, a dominant ball, dominant guard-like player who could play forward as well because of dominant size, because of his size and everything. You had two Heat championships, one big man. LeBron could do both. He could be the big man and he could be the guard, depending on the combination he had. After the two championships, you had the Spurs dismantling the Heat completely 4-1. Again, you had Tim Duncan and you had Tony Parker and you had Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard had come in as that two-guard kind of a role. Then you had the Warriors. There, the league changed. You had the small guards, but still you needed a big man. You needed Draymond, but the big man role had changed. 2010, the league had evolved, and then it had completely changed by the Splash Brothers time. After that, you got your one Cavaliers championship, which I feel I did not dislike LeBron till that time. But after that series, why I disliked him? The NBA literally rigged the finals in a way for him to come back. Game 5, he instigated the fight with Draymond Green. Draymond Green hit him in the nuts. Both should have been suspended for Game 5. Draymond was suspended. In that Game 5, because Draymond was suspended, Andrew Bogut had to play extra minutes. He got injured. They lost their best big man, best defensive big man. They lost one game. The Warriors lost their momentum. And that's all she wrote for them. And you basically script the so-called greatest comeback ever in finals history. To this day, if you go and ask any pundit worth his salt on ESPN, on Fox Sports, they all say that was a bogus suspension for Draymond Green. And trust me, if Draymond would not have been suspended at Game 5, Draymond was playing at an MVP level. He was going. He had a triple double in the Game 7 that they lost. Draymond was supposed to win the Finals MVP that year, not Steph. He was so good in the first 4 games defending LeBron and playmaking for the Warriors. But then what happened? They lost, and people say they. Many people call Warriors the Man City of NBA. Guys, no team can be Man City because there's a salary cap in the NBA. Warriors were smart enough. Why? Because there is a guy. If you name him in Minnesota, people will slaughter you. He was a Timberwolves GM known as David Kahn. David Kahn had pick number 6 and pick number 7 in the 2008 NBA draft. He needed a point guard. He picked 2 point guards. You know their names? Ricky
2008.
Rubio,
Okay.
2008 draft.
Ricky
The
Rubio from
Steph Curry.
Spain.
He picked Ricky Rubio, and there was another guy, Johnny Flynn. And you know who went number 8?
2008.
To the
So
Golden
that's
State Warriors?
what is that?
A
15
point
years ago.
guard by the name of Steph Curry.
Steph Curry. Oh,
And you know who was and you know the players on the Timberwolves at that time? You had
2008.
Al Jefferson, a big man, and you had Kevin Love, another big man. Imagine pairing them with a Steph Curry.
Seriously, back then Kevin Love with the rebounding ability, he was tearing up trees back
Exactly.
then.
Exactly. Kevin Love had a stretch of 4 seasons, 24 points and 13 rebounds, each of them. That's why LeBron wanted Kevin Love in the Cavs.
LJ is saying he's a Steve Kerr fan, which means basically he's a Bulls fan or a GSW fan. Depends on how you look at
Or
it.
or
Fun
or
fact, guys,
or a
Steve
Spurs
Kerr
fan.
used to be
No,
MJ's teammate.
or a Spurs fan.
Spurs fan.
He won 2 titles with the Spurs as
I
well,
thought I thought
99 and
I thought
2003.
Greg Popovich was a fantastic coach. No.
He is a fantastic coach. He's still managing.
No, I mean like when I remember watching the Spurs team, how he had them fully like a real team, yeah. Smooth team. Tim Duncan never, quite on the down low.
See,
Manu Ginobili and Tony Park quite on the
he
down low.
had
Until he married
Spurs have been very
until he
lucky.
married Eva Longoria, they were a team that was just on the down low winning.
No, no, Spurs were a very lucky team. Why? Because 1987, the draft pick was supposed to be David Robinson. They had their worst record. They won the lottery. They won David Robinson. They waited 2 years because David Robinson is known as the Admiral because he had naval. He was from the Navy Academy, so
Also,
he
I
had
think
to do 2 years.
my dad used to call them the Twin Towers, Robinson and Duncan.
Yeah, yeah. That was later in '87.
Yeah.
The Spurs won the draft lottery, but they waited 2 years because David Robinson had to serve his
Military service, yeah.
military service for 2 years. 89 when Robinson joined, the Spurs had the biggest turnaround in one season. I think it was 36 games. They went from like 22 wins to 58 wins in Robinson's first season. And then in 97, when Duncan was supposed to be the number one choice, and Boston Celtics were tanking like crazy for him, guess what happens? 6 or 10 games into the season, Robinson has a season-ending back injury. So the Spurs had to bring in old Dominique Wilkins from Orlando to play into the team, but they managed only 20 odd wins. They had the second worst record, but they won the draft lottery over the Boston Celtics.
Yeah.
They get Tim Duncan. They pair him with a decent David Robinson, who, because of his back injury, was starting to slow down. There you have the Twin Towers. And then Duncan was actually supposed to leave for Orlando. You know, the 2001 free agency where Grant Hill and Tracy McGrady joined forces in Orlando. Grant Hill was LeBron before LeBron. I mean, yes, his career later on went down because of ankle injuries and misdiagnoses and like bad surgeries and stuff. But if you see Grant Hill's first 6 seasons and you compare him, the only comparative player that you get is LeBron James. He was that good. Grant Hill was that good. And him teaming with Tracy McGrady, people were thinking Orlando's trying to create its Jordan and Pippen combination. That summer, Tim Duncan was a free agent and he had almost committed to join the Orlando Magic. You know who was the coach of the Orlando Magic? A man
in
who had
which
just won
year?
2001. A man who had just won his first Coach of the Year award by the name of Glenn Doc Rivers.
Oh, Doc Rivers, the Celtics coach.
Yes, Doc Rivers was Orlando's coach and he had just won Coach of the Year despite not making playoffs because the Orlando team was just crap and he had won 41 games with them
Just crap.
somehow. Now they're getting into that team Tracy McGrady, Grant Hill, two of the superstars, young guard superstars, and they have the cap space to sign Tim Duncan. They have a commitment done with Duncan that okay, I'm coming to Orlando. I just want to have a meeting with Doc. And you know what Duncan wanted to ask? Because Duncan was a family guy, so he always wanted his family on the team plane.
Oh no.
He asked Doc, the Doc, can my family come on the plane? Doc had a strict rule, no family on the plane. He said no. Duncan said okay. And he refused Tim Duncan because of that. And when this story, some 20 years later, Grant Hill knew about it. When Grant Hill told the story to, what's his name? Tracy McGrady on one episode of ESPN, no, I mean, one of ESPN shows. McGrady is like, give me Doc's number right now. I never made it out of the first round. I could have played with you and Tim Duncan. He's like, Doc and me, we are beefing for the rest of our lives. I mean, he's like, how stupid could it be?
It's so funny, right? Sports always has that thing, right? Where there is you always wonder what could have been when you miss these opportunities from your between windows and stuff. Like it's very interesting. A lot of sports have that. I've noticed. LJ is saying, when are you going for a live NBA game, Doc, and take him as well? He wants to see Steph before he retires. Parag, no, we have not. We are going to start now. We were just having
No,
fun.
no, we have not. We were just talking
Jack
NBA.
wants to.
It went
We have
from
long
UFC
catch up.
stream
Long
to an
catch up.
NBA stream.
Long catch up. This is what happens with us. We love sports to a very different extent, I suppose. At least or at least we are aware of more than one sport to a different extent. I should ask one question because people ask me this all the time before we start. Now seriously, we'll start now. People are waiting. Greatest sports manager of all time.
Okay.
To me, I have a filthy bias, which I'm absolutely not sorry for. I'm
No,
not
no.
sorry.
See, Sir Alex is right up there because of his
I,
longevity.
I would say the only person that I can think rivals him is Phil.
Phil Jackson is there. Yes, Phil
Prime
Jackson is
Kobe and
there.
Shaq, Prime Pippen and Jordan.
We could also, if I go really into history, because we're talking about history of sport, I could go and bring in a guy like Red Auerbach,
From
the
Bill Russell.
legendary
I forgot the
from the
team because
yes
it was called the
Celtics,
ABA.
Celtics,
Bill Russell's coach, right?
Celtics.
Okay, Celtics.
Yeah, no, yeah, it was the Celtics. They won 11 championships in 13
Didn't they
years.
have like a name change somewhere during that Bill
No, no, no.
Russell
Celtics
tenure?
is one
Like
of
they
the
had a
Celtics and Knicks are the only teams that have not had their names changed.
okay.
Even the
Yeah,
Lakers were
I
Lakers,
know
but
he
they were
coached
the
Bill Russell. I remember that. I remember that
yeah,
name
yeah,
right
no,
now.
no. He coached the Celtics. They won eight straight, eight straight titles. But that
And
was
I
a
think
different NBA 16,
and then
16
he
teams.
retired, and then Bill Russell was coach manager, and then won the rest. And
Yeah,
then
Bill Russell. I think the Netflix documentary that will come out now for Bill Russell, I would recommend everyone to watch that.
more rings than fingers.
More
It
rings
was
and
one
fingers,
said
11 and
more rings than
13.
fingers.
And he, and the two series he remembers vividly is the 1950, because I was watching his documentary. He came into the league in 57, he won as a rookie. 58 finals, he lost to the Hawks. That's the Hawks' only title in their history to another legendary power forward by the name of Bob Pettit. And that one he was injured. So still to this day, I mean till he passed away, whenever in any interview anyone asked him what happened in that final, he said, and he had a severe knee injury, and at that time it was very difficult to diagnose. He played on basically one leg. He said, I was injured and played on one leg. That's why he won. Otherwise, it would have been 12 and 12.
In fact, when he passed away, I was really sad because when Bill Russell doesn't give you the Bill Russell trophy, it doesn't feel the same anymore.
And you know the
It just
irony,
doesn't feel the same anymore.
The first finals MVP was announced in the 1969 finals. That was won by a man known as Mr. Clutch, the logo of the NBA, Jerry West,
Rivers,
Lakers
okay.
legend. And Jerry
Mm-hmm.
West's record in finals was 1-9. You know when LeBron,
One
yeah,
and
one
nine.
and nine, 1-9 because the Lakers lost 9 finals to the Celtics in that era, and
Yeah,
he
Jack.
got the
See you. See
finals,
you. I'll see you tomorrow. Do check it out if you want updates further. Parag is
and
also
he got the
asking thoughts on Messi and Mbappe out of the first leg. Best chance for Bayern to kill the tie, in my opinion. Parag, quite honestly, I thought they were going to beat PSG anyway.
well. I
I'm
was
not even going to
picking
lie.
with see with all three of Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe. I was picking PSG to take it somehow 3-1 over the two
Okay.
legs, but no Messi, no Neymar, no Mbappe. I mean, come on, what are you asking?
Also, I think I honestly thought Bayern were going to beat them anyway, but I don't think they have a chance now for sure.
But Bayern has had those moments in them this season. They've been a bit hot and cold, and you can't do that against a team like PSG with those three up front because they can punish you anytime if you just slack a little bit. But so yeah, Jerry West won the first Finals MVP,
What is the
and
name
he's
of
the
the
only.
documentary doc? I'll put it up here so people can see it if they want.
It's
On
coming. Just
Netflix?
go Google Bill Russell on Netflix.
Oh,
It's
okay,
Bill
okay, okay.
Russell, Bill
It's there.
Russell,
Okay.
and then something. So if you just
Okay.
put Bill Russell, it will come up. I think it's coming up on the today's the 10th, right?
Yeah.
I think 11th or something, or 16th maybe.
Okay, okay.
Sometime in this week it will come up. So he won the Finals MVP. Before that, there was no Finals MVP being given. So basically, when they recalculated it, they thought maybe Bill Russell could have had 7 or 8 Finals MVP, but he doesn't have a single one, and the Finals MVP trophy is named after him.
I'll be honest with you. I'll take the rings.
Yeah, I
I,
mean 11.
I honestly, when everyone tells me these people won MVPs, I'm like, what is that? Like, what is that? Like, I know people who won regular season MVPs that didn't even make it past 2 rounds of the playoffs. Like, what do I do with that? I can't do anything with the what? Okay, I have an MVP
Come on,
tattoo.
you're
Look, I
poking
did this.
2007 Dirk Nowitzki now.
Man, I was really happy for him, but when he won his ring, I was
Yeah,
really
he did.
because there was some.
Well,
I always was
I
like,
was
this
more
is one of those
happy.
teams.
I was more happy that the Heat lost because when they were 2-0 down and Nowitzki was having the flu, LeBron and Wade in one of the backstage scenarios were mocking him by coughing. And and when they asked Jason Terry in the documentary of that championship, he said Dirk didn't say anything. But in the practices we could see this guy was fuming. And he's like, give me the ball, I'll score. Don't worry about it. He said, you guys just defend, then give me the ball, I'll score.
There's some more shout outs here. Another person I also thought of as sports manager, I was thinking Bill Belichick wins Lombardi as LJ
Ooh,
saying. LJ
yes.
is also saying Joe Torre from the MLB.
Well, I think Joe Torre had the stretch of losses as well. I would say Bill Belichick, yes, right up there because
I
Belichick has
think it's
had this
fair to
20
say it has
year.
to be between Coach Phil and Saf, right? It
No,
has to
it
be
has to
between
be
one of them.
Saf and Bill. Saf and Bill because the longevity
And
that
Bill.
Bill has had in a sport like NFL because NFL is the most, how do you say, what we say we need to
So,
achieve parity.
yeah.
It's the most even sport because of
Yep.
the salary cap is a hard cap. You have to sacrifice your players if you're not fitting into the salary cap.
Also, I think it's a
And
shorter
Bill Bell,
season than basketball and football. I think even they play
yeah,
20
yeah, yeah.
games.
No, they play 16. They used to play 16 since last 2 years. They've added one more game. They play 17 games. But then the thing is, you can't play more. You have to rest for 5 days after playing NFL football. I mean, after playing American football.
Good night,
If
Varun.
you
Thank you
have,
for joining. Good luck for the game tomorrow. Varun is a basketball player. They have a big semis match for the in
oh,
college. Thank you for joining. Do if you want to see our
best of
picks,
luck.
Varun, do watch the rest of the video tomorrow. It'll upload automatically, so it's perfect.
So that's the thing. I think Bill Belichick and Sir Alex Ferguson is like 25 years. He was in that league. I would slightly bend towards Bill Belichick because of the league and the system that he did it in.
Okay,
Because he had
fair
to
enough.
keep because
I think Saf, Bill and Phil. I think they're top five anyway. I That's what I was thinking
Saf,
to say for
Bill,
Bill.
Phil, Bill Walsh as well. Bill Walsh, the 49ers coach
Yeah.
in the 80s and 90s, he's also right there. And Vince Lombardi was the first one who won those trophies. But if you ask NFL people, they would say, okay, Lombardi was great, but the greatest after the advent, I mean, after the arrival of Bill Belichick and Bill Walsh, there's a little bit of a doubt on that.
And what about Mike Ditka? Bears.
No, no, no. He had that one season. Ditka was,
That was a crazy season though, because that was
and
a crazy
and
season.
no, no, and Ditka was not the orchestrator of the defense. It was Buddy Ryan. They had two coaches. Ditka only handled the offense, and offense of the Bears team was only one person. That was Walter Payton. Sweetness. The guy who held the previous rushing record before Emmitt
Isn't
Smith.
the NFL on today or tomorrow? The Super Bowl?
Super Bowl is
Isn't it
Monday
today?
morning for
Monday
us.
one.
Monday morning for us. Sunday night there, Monday morning. Eagles. Oh, this guy is Pat Mahomes, man. He
Mahomes.
is something else. Mahomes is gifted. Mahomes is gifted. But well, there's no one like Brady.
Yeah, man. Let's hope he's retired, dude. He's already lost his wife. Like, come on now. You lost your wife. You lost your Super Bowl
They're
chances. Just
done.
be
They are
done, dude.
done.
She filed for divorce,
Giselle.
no?
Yeah, but
Now
I think they
listen, I don't want to be
reconciliated or
inappropriate
something.
here, Sadiq, but I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable here. But my God, Giselle Bundchen, dude, just stop playing football for Christ's sakes, Like I was losing
Yeah,
my
but
mind.
come
Like,
on,
you
Tom
crazy
Brady.
guy,
He's a
you're
vampire. He
45 years
doesn't
old.
age.
You're
Yeah,
45
but
years
Tom
old.
Brady is
You
a
have no body left. There is no body left. There's the arm. The rocket arm is there. You lost your body. Like,
no, no. It's not
she,
even a rocket arm. It's an arm that is connected well with the mind that knows what to do with it. That's
yeah.
it.
I'm like, dude, what are you doing? When I heard this, right, it's like he promised her that he won't play anymore. I'm like, dude, go home. Just go
You know, when I
home.
just saw recently the Athletic or I think the Bleacher Report, they posted a three slides on Instagram about Tom Brady's records. It's like he is the NFL record book.
LJ is asking, why does Japan play so much baseball? I have no idea, but I'll tell you
No,
some
no,
countries that
Japan,
I know play baseball: Cuba,
Japan,
Puerto Rico,
Cuba, Puerto Rico,
Japan,
Dominican
America,
Republic, Dominican Republic,
Dominican. A lot of Central American teams play baseball.
Haiti, Haiti,
Yeah,
Haiti plays a lot of good baseball. Honduras,
lot of Central America, lot of
Panama,
Central America,
Panama.
Japan, and I think Korea. Korea plays baseball. I think.
Korea does not, but Japan actually the thing is they are in close proximity to the US, and especially after the Second World War, a lot of the reparations in Japan were done by the
Hmm.
US. So you will find a lot of American sports being played in Japan because
There's
there's
a
a lot
lot
of
of Japanese players that play the MLB. Like they are of that level. They
yeah,
get to
yeah.
that level.
Oh come on, who can forget Ichiro Suzuki
I mean, I'm
when
just
he
like
came
in
in?
general. I don't watch a lot of baseball, but I know for a fact a lot of
No, neither do
Japanese
I.
and
But
Cubans play in
Ichiro was a
MLB.
sensation. Ichiro Suzuki when he came to play for the Seattle Mariners, because that Mariners team still holds the record for the most wins in a single season of MLB. Although they didn't win the title, they lost in the semi-final round or something. I think it's called the NL series or the
Yeah.
AL series, American League, National League. So one of those series, whichever leagues they are in, they lost that series
Okay.
before going to the World Series. So Ichiro Suzuki had a it was he won the Rookie of the Year and he won the MVP of the year in the same season. That's why, because it was so much in the news at that time, because he had won both the awards and the team had broken the record. So that's why I remember Ichiro Suzuki pretty well.
All right.
Okay,
Fazil
I
is
think we should
asking
come
who you
back to
got Islam
UFC.
or work. Now, dude, we
They're
can do
coming,
this
they're
all day.
coming.
Listen, if you're open for a podcast to do this, let's just do this every week. I have the best ball of a time, dude. I
And
can't tell,
guys,
I tell
I
everyone
just
I tell everyone a week in
I just
advance you're coming.
literally
Just a
see
ball of a time.
I just literally counted all the NBA champions of the last
I
40
know.
years.
Everyone
One
was
by
like,
single.
someone's like, I only
But
watch football. I was like, oh god.
and if you would have wanted, I could have gone from 1956.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, listen. This is
I mean,
I every
NBA, I
time.
love basketball. Basketball is like, people call that, people say, I love football. I love football, but football is not my first love. My first love
Hmm.
of a game is basketball.
Yeah, I feel similarly to MMA after, especially after all the political issues that go on now in football. I feel like I tell everyone I'm excited. I have a guest coming on. You have to watch him. You have to listen to us talk. We love sports. We don't just watch one sport. It's going to be a ball of a time. Every time I tell people like a week in advance that you're
But
coming.
come on,
Listen,
I
guys, you
really
can't
hate
miss
the
this.
new thing that the UFC has started. Slap.
No comments. No
That's
comments.
like,
I feel we are going to go on for an hour about that. So no
no,
comments.
slap. No, no, I'll just say a small
I,
thing.
jo- I don't want to say it's so funny, right? As I love so many UFC women fighters because they're so tenacious. They're so they have so much grit. I would even
But
say
that
they have more grit than
lady,
the
I
men.
think that
But the
lady slap
slapping of the
champion
women,
crazy.
I can't
No, no,
watch
but
it.
the lady
Can't.
slap champion is crazy. The one who
I
just
can't.
stands there and I can't
I can't
recall her
watch it.
name.
Yeah, there's something about it. I can't watch the men get slapped. I can't watch the women get slapped. Yeah. Not
No, no,
defending
but the
yourself while
slap
getting
championship,
strikes.
for me, no, no, I feel slap championship is like a sissy version of UFC. I mean, if you're that good, if you are
I
that good
mean,
at
I
hitting
know.
people,
I think it's worse brain trauma because there's no blocks. But yeah, I suppose in
yeah,
a way it is.
definitely. No, 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 definitely, definitely. I mean, the safest combat sport is MMA. People would say, "Oh, it's so brutal and stuff," but there's a ref who steps in, who stops before you get knocked out. There are different ways of defeating you. You can defeat by submission.
Without
You could
taking
out
damage,
grapple someone. You could out grapple someone, keep him on the ground throughout, and win on decision.
and not even scar his
So
face. Like the
yes, and
guy
not even
who
scar
you're
his face.
holding down. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is a whole lot many ways of winning in UFC as compared to other combat sports where head trauma could actually be a little reduced. And I'm not saying there's no head trauma. Obviously there's head trauma. You're hitting
Of
the other guy
course.
on the face. But it could be reduced. Unless your name is Josh Koscheck and GSP is fighting you.
Oh, that don't remind me. Yeah, the broken orbital.
I loved it.
It just
I loved it because the amount of
it's the
trash.
one time, no, it's the one time where I was like, oh my god, you made him angry. I was like, oh my god, you made him angry. Like really you made him angry. And
And
like
you know what?
I've listened to
Koscheck,
Nick Diaz go, you're just just a pussy, you just want to hump people. And then we went for Michael Bisping. Well, Michael Bisping anyway was going to do
see,
that. It didn't matter if it was GSP or then we had Carlos Condit. I'm going to finish him. I'm going to get finished trying. I am ready for war. And I was like, oh
no, no,
God.
no. The one thing he challenged GSP on was because see, GSP has always prided himself that he was a stand-up guy who became a wrestler.
Mhm.
And he challenged him that listen, you can't take me down. I'm going to take you down again and again. He
And he
challenged
kept
his
calling him
wrestling.
Frenchie. He didn't like the Frenchie
Yeah,
part. I don't think he even cared about the wrestling thing. He didn't like the Frenchie
yeah.
thing.
If you call a French Canadian a Frenchie, that's like you're calling an Indian a Pakistani or a Pakistani an Indian again and again. So imagine you're sitting, you are willing to fight that guy, and
I
he's
feel
just
like
coming
that
in.
only happens in England where they can't tell the difference, which I don't think is a good thing necessarily. But I feel like that
No, no,
only
but
happens in England.
no, no. I mean, see, uh, I've got nothing against Indians, and a lot of you guys don't have anything against Pakistanis as such. But if someone is teasingly constantly telling you that, then what's gonna happen? You're gonna get like,
Yeah, I mean, like it's like
you'll
you're
take it
doing,
personal.
and you also it seems like it's like an act, which would probably annoy people even
Yeah,
more.
exactly. So GSP was
So,
angry, and he's like, the whole fight, he didn't let him take down, and the only thing he used was left
Superman
jab,
jabs.
right cross. Not even Superman jab. That was later on when he just wanted to do something with the audience. First three rounds, straight jab, right down the middle. Left jab, right down the middle. And Koscheck had no clue what to do. And if he tried shooting in too hard, leg kick. Three moves, and he was like, he showed Koscheck, that's your caliber when it comes to competing with me. I just need to do three moves and a sprawl. Three moves and a sprawl. And
I
you
think it
being,
bothered him even more because he beat his teammate, right, John Fitch. They were the
oh,
original AG.
John,
So there was an AKA three of three people, na? There was John Fitch, Josh
hmm,
Koscheck, and Mike Swick.
he beat all three.
Beat all three. No, I don't. Mike Swick didn't even make it there, right? He was
Earlier.
supposed to beat
No,
Paulo
no,
Thiago, and Paulo Thiago
no, no.
finished him
I think
before.
Swick he beat earlier in his career.
Did he? I
A
thought
young,
Swick was one match away from a title shot, and then Paulo Thiago
can't recall
Anaconda
right now,
choked
but I
him.
think Yeah, but I think earlier in his career, I think maybe he beat Swick. But John Fitch, he obliterated on the ground. I mean, John Fitch was, oh, no one's passed his guard, no one's taken him down, and Joe Rogan was like, it's so rare that he's taken down, and once taken down, passing his guard is impossible. First attempt of the fight, takedown, pass into half guard into side control,
Yeah.
and Joe Rogan's like GSP is slicing through him like butter.
LJ, I didn't say Nate LJ. LJ's favorite fighter is Nate Diaz. I said Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz was the welterweight out of the brothers. Now Nate Diaz fights at welterweight because he doesn't want to cut weight. I said Nick
Come on,
Diaz.
Nate Diaz. Nate
Nate Diaz,
Diaz.
yeah, Nate Diaz can't speak either, which is true. But I think Nate Diaz
This,
has
I
more of a
mean,
lisp,
I
and I
mean,
think
LJ.
Nick.
No
Sorry.
disrespect, but disrespect intended. Nate Diaz is the number one of the Diaz brothers. If you
Oh
would have said
yeah,
Nick Diaz, I would have
but
still have
you know
agreed.
what I think? You know why I think people like Nate Diaz more than Nick Diaz? Because I think Nick Diaz embodies what the Diaz brother is better. I feel
I
I
feel
feel
Nick is the better
I
one.
feel like no, he is the better one, but I'm saying I think why people like Nate is because Nate embodies what it is to be a Diaz brother. Like the whole scrap pack,
Hmm.
the whole we don't give a crap about you, it's us against the world kind of.
Yeah, but then
Nick
I
Diaz
think
doesn't have any interest in anything until he signs the
I
paper.
feel it depends on
Nate
your
Diaz,
age
you walk
also
on the road,
because
you disrespect him, he's going to be like 209 Stockton, he's going to be like that on the street. Nick Diaz is
no,
like,
no.
listen
I
dude,
think
I don't want any of this, thank you. Like please.
no, no. I think if people would have seen the earlier Nick Diaz, the Nick Diaz, I think you must have seen him,
I,
2004 five
I
era.
saw I remember seeing Shockwave where he gets him in a Gogo Plata, Takanori Gomi, who was probably the best
Hmm.
lightweight in the world at the time because no one knew
That was,
BJ,
I
then
think,
beat
in
him.
I think
33?
that was in
Yeah,
Strike Force,
33.
right?
No, Pride.
That was
Pride
in Strike
33.
Pride,
It,
Pride, yeah.
it was
No, no,
the
that.
only one they did in America, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yes, I think that Nick Diaz and the Nick Diaz and then in his earlier UFC stint,
Oh,
that
forget
Nick
that,
Diaz
man.
was
Strikeforce Nick Diaz was balling, dude. Paul Daly,
a
first
dangerous Nick
one
Diaz.
round war. One round war was crazy. Crazy one round war.
That was the one with Paul Daly.
Paul Daly, yeah.
Oh,
Frank
Paul Daly had
Shamrock,
some dynamite in his hands.
where he breaks his hand with a
Hmm.
kick and then finishes him with
Yep.
punches.
I mean, Paul Daly had some
Strikeforce.
serious dynamite.
He just recently retired. No, he retired early last year.
Yeah.
He got his last fight in
Yeah.
Bellator, and he said he's done.
I
One
mean,
thing I fear in fighting and all is internal hemorrhages. What do you think, Doc? Better if you answer
well,
this.
it depends where you're getting hit. I mean, the worst is the liver punch because sometimes when you hit a person in the liver,
You can lacerate the liver, right?
you could lacerate the liver, and sometimes with the lacerated liver, if you just or if you break a rib and you can lacerate the spleen, those two are the. I mean, I am more concerned with a body shot than a headshot because with a headshot, at least what will happen? You will go down, you will be groggy, you will be
Your
done.
brain
They will
switches
stop the
off
fight,
sometimes. Yeah.
switches off your. They will stop the fight unless, say, you have broken a cerebral. I
Yeah.
mean, sorry, a cervical vertebra or something. That is a different thing altogether. But these, I mean, I would be more worried about Lyoto Machida against Shogun Rua than Michael Bisping against Dan Henderson.
So
Henderson dropped the H bomb on him,
constant trauma to the legs because that's what Shogun did in the
legs and
first
the
fight, right?
body, the leg was gone. But did you see the side, the liver
What
side
I
of
the
his?
funny thing is no, I didn't. But the reason I noticed the legs was because the legs were on the guy's shoulder and the ice packs were on him. I was like,
Yeah,
dude, his legs. I was like, oh
no,
god.
no, no. because he's in that Kyoshukun karate stance, right?
Yeah.
This
So he
hand,
keeps the side
his hand
open.
was
Yeah.
his hand was supposed to be like this.
Yeah.
By
But
the
kept
second round, he has altered his stance to he was southpaw. So he had altered his stance to orthodox, and this hand was here and this was here, and Shogun was like, "Screw you! I'm going to hit you through your hand."
then he really got him in the rematch. Not to
Man,
mention.
those kicks were crazy. I mean, those kicks by Shogun was. I mean, I was worried Shogun will break his leg by kicking him so much.
Fun fact, guys, if you want to see a fight that involves a lot of leg damage just to see what can happen to you if you take a lot of damage, watch Jose Aldo versus Uriah Faber. Uriah Faber had to
Oh God.
rehab both his legs after that fight. It was really brutal.
Jose
and
Aldo was like, okay, I'm not gonna knock you out. I'm not gonna knock you out.
just chop away, chop away.
I'm just gonna make sure that you quit.
Absolutely chop away. And that time when he used to use way more leg kicks, man, it's different. Anyway, so Fazil's getting impatient. Quite honestly, I am also because I'm very curious. We are going to start off with the main event first, guys. We are going to go. We are going to
Main
go
event
top
first?
first. Yeah, we're going to go top first. I think we go
Okay.
top first because everyone's really
This
waiting
is
to
a
hear this.
tough one.
So we got
Tough one.
Volkanovski with his 25-1 record, and I believe Makhachev with his what is it 23 and 1 record.
23 and
Uh,
1 record.
yeah,
Surprisingly, the height advantage is with Makhachev, but the reach
Volkan.
advantage is with Volkanovski. But reach is a little dubious thing because how they calculate reach is by your wingspan.
Yeah, wingspan.
Now, what happens if you see Volkanovski? Volkanovski is more bodybuilder like build.
Yeah,
So his lats are wide, his shoulders are wide, so his musculature makes his reach count as 181 centimeters, which is not actually 181 centimeters. Like if you see a John Jones having a 196
84
or
inch.
200 centimeters,
Yeah, 84 inch.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, he has like a 200 centimeter, like a 7 foot wingspan.
yeah.
That is a genuine 7 foot wingspan because John Jones
He
is
has
not
long
that wide.
limbs. Yeah, he's a
He's
narrow
got
body.
long limbs. And if you see Alexander Gustafsson, the same 83 and a half, 84 inch reach, but Gustafsson is more wider on his shoulders.
Yeah,
So if you would have seen that fight, John Jones still had technically a reach advantage on it.
reach advantage. Yeah.
So here you have to look into that also. Islam is a
I mean,
little narrower.
it's only saying it's 1 inch anyway. The thing I'm more
Yeah, but
concerned about is this 4.5 inch leg reach advantage. That could
to
be
who?
more useful
To
for.
Islam,
I'm
right?
looking. Yeah, I'm looking for UFC for to Islam, but I don't think Islam uses a lot of leg kicks. So
No, but that allows him a lot of torque and a lot of movement. I mean, a lot of swivel because Volkanovski will definitely not try to take him down. He may try a shot, but that would just be a shot to keep Islam honest on his
yeah,
feet
of
and
course.
not commit so much. Because Volkanovski is like a reverse grappler.
Yeah,
He
Chuck
keeps the
Liddell,
fight up. Yes, like Chuck Liddell.
sprawl
He
and brawl.
uses wrestling sprawl and brawl. Not brawl per se. He's a
Not
very
brawl. I
technical
mean
striker.
sprawl. Yeah, I mean yeah, sprawl and brawl is
Yeah,
more Chuck Liddell, where you
and
start
he's
bringing at you.
equally good. See, if Volkanovski is able to keep this fight on the feet for 2 rounds, he will finish Islam in the third. TKO kind of like with strikes or with
Wait,
punches or
hold on.
something
You're
like
picking
that.
Volk?
No, I'm just discussing the fight right
Oh,
now.
oh, okay.
If Volk is able to keep this,
Woo!
if because Volk is that good, Volk is that good in
Sweating.
the sprawl and
Honest,
brawl.
I was like, for sure he's gonna be like Makhachev 3 minutes. I was like, then I heard you. I thought you were like
No,
third
no,
round. I
no,
was like, what?
no, 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 no. This is not a 3 minute fight because Volkanovski is. See, Charles Oliveira, I had no faith in his grappling, and I told that to you. That
Come on,
I
man.
mean,
That's a
the
little
preview stream.
disrespectful, man. Come on. Come
No,
on.
no. I told you in the preview stream. If you remember, I was in the comment section
Yeah.
continuously
You
that
did.
day,
You did.
and
But
I clearly told you he's going to be taken down if he keeps the fight on the feet. If Islam keeps the fight on the feet, Islam is asking for trouble, but he won't keep it on his feet, so he will starch Oliveira, and he literally starched Oliveira in that fight. You have to agree on
yeah.
that.
Yeah, the thing is, I
But
think he tries a switch knee before
hmm,
before the foot which he hits the knee with lands. He gets a straight, straight on the buzzer, and I think it zapped him completely because
yeah,
your momentum's moving forward. He literally hits you straight. Straight means more force as you're coming
no, but
in
by that
straight on
time,
the nose.
see that was a desperate move by Oliveira because he knew he could not do anything else. Islam was outclassing him on the ground and in the grappling game in that fight. So I was like, okay, if he keeps him on the feet, because I have seen Islam fight. Again, I'll use that.
Yeah, of
Obviously,
course.
it's 4 years.
For anyone that doesn't know,
Hmm.
Sadiq Bhai was in one of the prior UFC Abu Dhabi events and got to watch Islam fight live. Who was
And I
it? Was
saw
it
Khabib. Khabib.
who was it?
It
Who
was
was it?
Khabib versus Poirier.
Khabib was Poirier.
Yeah. So I saw Islam fight, and Islam stand up is, I don't know, he has improved, but not that much. His stand up is very rudimentary. And the one thing he does not have on Khabib, Khabib has a chin. Islam's chin is a little suspect. So
Yeah,
in that regard, if he
he
keeps
did get
up,
flatlined by Adriano Martins, right? It was clean.
yes, exactly. So he has got, I mean, not a bad chin, but he can be taken with the right shot. So if he keeps standing, or if Volkanovski keeps the fight standing, which I feel he can, it would be trouble. And Volkanovski does not tire. Volkanovski has an engine on him. Islam has an engine on
Someone
him.
is saying, Sadiq, by being a doctor, what's your take on this increase in cardiac attacks after COVID or since the COVID vaccine? Would
Well,
you like to elaborate
something,
or?
not the vaccine per se, but COVID itself is, not a respiratory disease, to be very honest. We mistake it as a respiratory disease. In some of the biopsy specimens and research studies, it's shown that COVID is more a disease of the blood vessels. It ends up
The,
causing vasculitis or inflammation in the blood vessels. So, a lot of people, it depends which blood vessels are more predisposed. So,
okay.
for some people, when the virus goes in, it impacts their lungs and the blood vessels of the lungs, and then it leads to pneumonia like symptoms. That's why you have to give steroids as well, because steroids decrease the inflammation and then the antivirals and everything, and that's why the treatment is in that way. So sometimes in certain subset of people, their heart blood vessels are a lot more susceptible, so they end up developing inflammation which persists, and then with time, in a year or two, when you're under stress or if you have gained weight or something, your blood vessels clot and you suddenly have a cardiac arrest or you have a cardiac event. And sometimes the same vasculitis leads to damage of some of the connective fibers in the heart, which helps in supplying the electrical connectivity and causes overall inflammation. That's what this guy had, Alfonso Davies. He had a pericarditis. Pericarditis is that the lining of the heart gets inflamed, and then you have chest pain, which is similar to cardiac arrest or a heart attack, but it's not a heart attack. It's pericarditis.
All right.
So
And
it's a more of a blood vessel disease.
okay.
That's why you are seeing some people you will find will have kidney issues as well. Some people will find will have some other issues as well. So these are some complications you may find, but I think that's sort of going off now.
Okay, and I hope that answers your question, guys. And someone is saying, LJ is saying, but Islam has relatively limited striking variety. Now, before I
Yes.
ask Doc this, I will say this. In relativity to what, LJ? Because I'll tell you why I'm saying this. I thought he showed great striking acumen against a very dangerous striker against Charles Oliveira. I would say he started out that way. If you want to compare it relatively, I would say he's relatively way more advanced than Khabib. Just by his natural stance, you can make out that he's way more advanced. Now, if you're going
Yes.
to compare him to someone who started out in a striking base like Dustin Poirier with his Golden Gloves background, I mean, he participated. I shouldn't say background. He participated in a lot of underground boxing as well, or Michael Chandler who takes smoker fights, because when you're an NCAA athlete, you can't turn pro in anything. Or a Justin Gaethje who did the same thing. Apparently, he never fought at all. He only wrestled. I find it hard to believe personally, but that's what he says. I wouldn't say it's relatively limited. In fact, since we are on this subject, we will just talk about striking, for example. Islam lands 2.37 strikes per minute. For a lightweight, I believe the average is 4. Now, if you take that average of 4 to someone who's a wrestle heavy like Islam, you would say he's pretty good at striking in general. Because 2.37 is not bad for someone whose base is combat sambo. And especially with
But how
the
many of them
emphasis.
land?
So landing is 59% of his significant strikes land, which is, there is no way Khabib is anywhere near this number, by the way. There is no way
I think
Khabib.
sometimes. See, is it total stand-up strikes or total
So
strikes?
it's just saying significant strikes. So I'm going to take
Yeah,
it as
because no,
standing
no,
because
no.
there is a grappling section under UFC as well. So maybe wait,
So
I'll
will
just check.
the
Hold on.
just check if the grappling section is showing you
No, no.
strikes,
So
because if
it's
it is
total. It's
not,
all kinds of strikes.
it's
It's all
total. So
kinds.
that's why
Yeah,
Khabib has like a 62 or
yeah.
64%, because
Because
most
it's
of his
mostly
strikes
ground.
come from the ground.
And he has a fantastic absorption rate, which shows that he has better striking prowess, I would say, LJ. He doesn't even absorb one strike a minute. Now, of course, you can say that's because he takes it to the ground as well, but I am more inclined to say I think he keeps it standing way more than Khabib. And the
I would
reason I use
disagree.
Khabib as an example is because he comes from that
Yeah,
Eagles
the
MMA,
same.
aka wrestle, boxing. You know, a lot of wrestlers have come through aka Dagestan Eagles MMA. Obviously, most of them are combat sambo. Most of them. So you take it as you take it at face value and say a lot of it is maybe because he's on the ground, but at the same time, I think he definitely stands up more than a lot of his counterparts
But
who come from
but
the
what I've seen
mid-camps.
him, what I've seen him watching him live, his offensive striking game is better than Khabib,
Yeah. He
but
looks
his
more
defensive
fluid.
striking,
He looks
yeah,
way
but
more
his
fluid,
defensive striking game is bad because he tends to leave his hands down.
hands down. Or
He
because
has
he's
a
always
technical
ready to shoot,
flaw.
right? In case he
Yes,
sees something.
Khabib and his shot is usually the double leg. Khabib had a very good single leg trip.
Takes him to the
His shot is
cage,
a bit different.
drives him down,
Yeah,
leg
so
laces.
so if you have a single leg trip guy, they usually tend to keep their hands a little bit higher, and that's where Khabib could, just block strikes
Because
at
all he
times a
has to
bit,
do is try and, tap his leg, and then
tap
maybe
his
like
leg.
sweep it a little.
With Islam, he goes more like this, and his hands are a little low. He uses, and his
Leg
jab is like
punches.
this, like it goes from the body up, and because he's trying to shoot either for a straight single or a straight double. His trips are good, but not the quality of what Khabib had. Like if Khabib
Notice he
got his
doesn't do
hand
the.
underneath,
I notice he doesn't do the leg lace because he doesn't obviously do a single leg into the cage. Then he doesn't do the
yes,
Dagestani handcuff as they like to call it, where they it's basically a wrist roll over from the back, so you
he does
can't push
that.
up push
He
off.
does that, but he doesn't like to push. He doesn't
Yeah.
like to fight against the cage much. Like he doesn't like to dirty box. Doesn't like to dirty fight like a
Khabib
classic
likes to,
Randy Couture.
Khabib likes to put your face in his chest, in the chin, grind up
Exactly.
nicely, try to, kind of
Khabib is
basically,
more of a
kinds of try
grind.
to drown him, basically, drain the energy out.
So that's where if he stays like that with Volk, Volk's got a beautiful sprawl. And if he doesn't diversify his grappling game, Volk will keep him on his feet and will just pick him apart for 5 rounds. And maybe if he just keeps picking him around, by the third round he could take him out as well. So you want me to give my pick?
Oh, before we get into it, someone asks
Hmm.
you an interesting question. What is the actual English accent in Dubai? It's
It's a
very
mixed.
interesting to me because my dad
No, it's
obviously
very
works
mixed.
there as well.
Like if you will hear me speaking English, I'll transition from British to American, Australian, and a lot of time I'll even go into the South Indian also because a lot of our teachers are from South India. Pardon my.
No, yeah, no, because
So
no, he wants to know. Like, I suppose if you walk down the road, will it be like an Arab-based, like how you hear the North
see,
Africans
it
speak English,
depends. No,
like a
no, no,
Mahrez,
no. It
how he
depends
speaks
where.
English that way.
No, no. It depends where you come from. If you
So,
meet
like,
an Arab
if you walk
guy,
up to someone from Dubai, like I assume there'll be the majority of them there on the street. You're just walking down a street somewhere and you
the
see them.
majority will be Indian and Pakistanis.
Okay,
70%
fine.
population is Indian and
So there
Pakistanis.
you go,
So if you,
LJ. It's like you've
so
never
if you,
left.
yeah. So if you walk up to someone, no, no, it depends. If you walk up to someone my age, you will find someone speaking English like me, whose
Okay.
accent will vary from Desi accent to the British accent.
Because you have spent time with a bunch of different people over the years, and
Yes.
then
And if you walk up to someone, even like most of our audience is 18, 20 years old, it will be even more anglicized and Americanized of an English accent.
so basically,
Because the
LJ, what
school,
Doc is trying to say is it'll be like it'll be quite familiar to you, basically,
very
most of the time.
familiar, very familiar, very familiar.
So Parag is saying
पूरा देसी माहौल है यहाँ
in
पे.
relative to Volk, the striking, yeah, I would say Volk has a cleaner striking. If someone
Come
can
on, in
stand for
relative to
75 minutes
Volky.
opposite Max Holloway, you have good striking. Let's just put it that way, man. Irrespective of weight class, if you can stand 75 minutes in front of instead of in front of Max Holloway, you have good striking. That's how I feel, at least. Maybe Doc disagrees. Doc, would you agree, or do you have something else
No,
to
no, I
say?
agree, absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
so basically, Islam is going to be in problems if he decides to strike for 25 minutes.
I think he's
Uh,
going to be in problem because he won't be able to take Volk down as easily.
because of the lower center of gravity, right? The fact that he is short
Not
actually
just
will
that,
turn out to be a
his no, no, no.
advantage.
See, for wrestlers the caliber of Islam or a Khabib, it doesn't matter what your size is.
But it
The
will be
technique
more
is so
difficult
good.
in sense of the angle.
You
It
could
will
say
be more
so.
difficult. Yeah. Okay.
You could say so, but they have different ways of do than taking them down. They have this necktie through which then they trip them down. That's another sambo technique that they use, which is a
Uh,
very basic
yeah.
sambo technique.
Yeah.
So that could be used. But Volk is a very good reverse grappler, a very good defensive grappler. So it will take Islam a while, and Volk, you may see the first two rounds spend more on the feet than on the ground, and that's where Volk will tire Islam out. He will keep peppering him with shots, and that's going to tire Islam out. Third, fourth round, I see Islam then try to get his grappling into the go, probably win those. I see a narrow decision victory for Alexander Volkanovski.
Oh wow. Oh, I was not.
Hmm.
I was not.
As
Oh,
much as
that's
I
interesting. It's very
appreciate
interesting.
Islam and I like him, but tactically, I think it just depends how good Volk. See, I feel Volk is really good at takedown defense, but then again, the problem with Volk is I think Volk went up in weight to fight Max Holloway, right? Or they were the same.
Oh no, Volk was always 145.
And I think he
In
did.
fact, Max started
Sorry,
also as
Max
a
went up.
lightweight. No, in fact, Max
I think,
started his career as a lightweight and went down.
but then Volk has defeated Max, right? That's what
Yeah,
I'm
that
saying.
was at featherweight. That all three fights were
Huh.
at featherweight. Yeah.
Yeah, I think then Max went up and he lost, if I'm not
Max
mistaken,
went up to face Dustin Poirier for that interim title. No,
and he
no, for a
lost.
shot for a number one contenders match because I think somebody
Yeah, for
pulled
the
out.
lightweight,
Yeah.
and that's the one he lost
Yeah.
exactly.
He's lost
So
to
I
him
think
twice.
Volkana.
He lost to him twice. Once when he went down to featherweight because Max was up at 55 when he first joined as a young
Hmm.
kid. He lost to him at featherweight when Dustin was a featherweight, and then he went up and lost to Dustin again.
So I think Max, the caliber of fighter that Islam is in grappling, obviously. But I think I feel Volkanovski. I've seen him fight, as I've seen Islam fight. I think Volk has the takedown defense to keep this fight standing long enough to win it on points.
You know what's the funny thing? The funny thing, I thought I was the one who's going to make the shocking based on everyone. Every LJ is very surprised. He's like, "Are you sure? Think again." I think Doc has definitely thought this through. I have
I
told
think
him for a week.
split decision types,
Okay.
split decision or maybe narrow decision 49, sorry 48, 47 kind of a decision where it will be debated throughout the year, and they will probably go for a rematch immediately. If I'm not, I wouldn't be surprised with an immediate rematch as well. It will be that
So
close.
that's interesting. So my take is, I think Islam is going to see the first round out. He's going to tire out Volkanovski in the second, and I think he's going to finish him in the third. But I will say
Submission.
third. I think third or fourth round. Yeah, and in fact, it's so funny you said that. The reason I was really shocked was because what I was going to say is, I think Islam's going to win in the third or fourth round by submission. I think a rear naked choke most likely. Although he did win the title by arm triangle, I feel like he's going to
See, the first round,
force him belly down and then finish him.
the
And the
first round
reason
will
I say
set the
that
tone.
is no, I'll just say the reason why I think so, Doc, is because I really, really when I saw them at the pre-fight conference today, and it's okay seeing these stats and all, but when you see them like right next to each other, and then you're like, this could be more one-sided than I thought. And the reason I am shocked you said that is because I thought you were going to be shocked at me saying
Well,
it's going to go
see,
to the fourth round because I thought
no, no.
I think it's going to be Islam's toughest fight period.
See, if you see the size difference between two fighters and judge on that, the best way in for you to see would be Brock Lesnar versus Cain Velasquez. Cain Velasquez was literally three weight classes. He was barely
20,
220,
20, yeah, 228, I
and
think,
Brock
something like that.
Lesnar was like bursting at the seams at 265. and he probably came into the fight at like 290.
Sure.
And Cain Velasquez at 220 ragdolled him. Not just punched him, he took him down.
And he has that,
Proper.
if you watch wrestling like I do, because I watched it as a kid. Actually,
Hmm.
Sadiq bhai, were you a big wrestling fan when you grew up? Because I feel like our parents used to my dad used to watch it because he was in Dubai, and then he kind of brought it down to
Which
me.
wrestling? Which wrestling you
Pro
talking about?
wrestling, WWE, like
Yeah, yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
1992, Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah, yeah. No, no, I was just asking because what happened is my dad got the habit. He was a big Hulk Hogan guy because he used to watch it in
Oh,
Dubai, and
come
then he
on.
brought it down to me, and then I ended up watching it up till
I
today. So
I I despised Hogan.
I'm more of a Stone Cold guy. That whole
I,
that American theme
I
song is really
loved Bret
irritating
Hart.
to me.
I loved Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels.
Bret Hart would be my favorite, but I honestly was too young to watch a lot of him. I loved his theme music. There was something about that theme music, that starting of the rock guitar. It's like something about now when you listen to Natalia. Natalia has that that original, a
Yeah.
little bit modern version of. When you hear that start now, you're like, oh my god, what a throwback!
And the best
She's the
part was,
last person. She's the last person we'll never hear the song again ever because there's no more
yeah,
hearts
because
that
she's the
wrestle.
last heart. Yeah,
Yeah,
she's
I
the
mean,
last heart.
I mean
No,
the Davy Smith wrestles, but he
no, no,
doesn't wrestle on the
no.
on the big show.
Yeah, no, no. Davy Smith wrestles, and I think probably Natalia Skibbs would then wrestle because
Yeah, she
TJ
doesn't have she
and
doesn't have kids, dude. She's
oh,
pushing 40.
yeah, okay. Then
Yeah,
I
and
think it's
Tyson
pretty.
Kidd is an executive in WWE. They have no kids. I don't think
Yeah.
they want kids, so it's over, dude. And every time I listen to her music now, I'm like, she showed up in the Royal Rumble. I heard the music. I was like,
I mean, how
oh my
ironic is
god.
it? How ironic is it that Stu Hart had 14 kids and his legacy will not carry to his great grandchildren or something like
Seriously.
that?
It's weird because the current one is the British Bulldogs kid. It's not even one of the Hart men. It's Davy Boy
Yeah,
Smith's son, the British Bulldog. It's funny, man, how that happens. Even the Von
there are
Erichs,
like
there's I
five
think
of them with there, right?
there's one Von Erich. He's also wrestling on the Indies. There's just
Yeah.
one Von Erich left. And they have had a brutal history, man. It's
Oh,
sad,
Von Erichs
but
have been tragedy. Von Erichs are a
really sad.
tragedy.
But the fact that they still have a wrestler
I mean,
is
there were five
somewhat
of them. No,
American.
there were five brothers. Bruce
Crazy.
Hart. No, I'm talking about the Hart. Bruce Hart,
Uh,
Keith Hart, Bret Hart, Owen Hart, and this one.
Plus the sister. In fact, what's the funny thing? I think the sisters ended up having the children that wrestled. I could be wrong,
Yeah,
but I think so, right? Yeah.
Jim
Yeah.
Neidhart had that, and this
Yeah.
one,
Yeah.
the one who was there in the storyline also. How can I forget her name?
Mata.
British Bulldog's wife.
Uh,
What's her name? I mean, she's old now, but in her heyday, she was quite pretty because she was part of that storyline between
they
Shawn
were all
Michaels and
very good
British
looking,
Bulldog.
man. They were all very good looking. Yeah. Bret Hart was absolutely handsome, man. I don't know back in the day how many people wore pink and black, but I know only one person could
No,
pull
but
it
his
off.
hair, Bret Hart's hair was weird. I mean, there was
Yeah,
curly.
it was quite.
But
It was Owen
Owen
Hart.
Hart was good looking.
And he had the blonde hair. That is a bonus points if you're North American. It's always bonus points if you're blonde hair in North America. Yeah. So I was just thinking that, yeah, man. So my God, where were we now? Now even I forgot. Like
You
when
were
I
aware
asked
at
this.
this thing. Did I ask? I mean, did I watch pro wrestling? Because wrestling,
Yeah.
we were at Brock Lesnar, Cain Velasquez.
Yeah, I mean,
Size difference when you
the
talked
reason
about.
when you said Brock Lesnar, I remember he still has that scar from Cain Velasquez. Like
Yes.
he showed up on Raw 8 days ago. He still has that scar, man. That was 2011. He still has that scar
Yeah.
on his face.
Velasquez
Crazy.
smashed him. So that's why sometimes the size is only. I mean the visible size difference and the difference in strength. That's what matters.
Parag wants to know because he wasn't here at the time. He joined a little later. He wants to know about the tough discussion which we had, and we will get back, LJ. We'll get back. Sorry, I'm telling you, it happens every time we go on chat. We just go everywhere. We cover
Well, the
everything.
tough discussion, as I said, Conor
No,
McGregor is a
yeah, he
bigger
wants to.
entertainer.
So wait, I'll ask his question exactly first. Yes, LJ Connor and Chandler is happening. The reason we don't know the date yet is because He needs 6 months of USADA approval. No one has mentioned if he's on the testing pool yet. You can always go check out USADA. It's all there if you want to see if he started testing it. So Parag asks, you think Conor can beat Chandler if the fight is finalized? That's what his question was.
I think, as we discussed before, if Chandler plays it smart and pushes the fight to the ground and relies on his wrestling, no way. Conor McGregor is a part-time fighter, full-time entertainer right now, to be very honest. And if
Yeah,
you
you
want to
have.
get even more unfiltered opinions, end of the stream, go back and watch it. You will probably enjoy those
Yeah.
opinions then.
So we started
Because,
out with it.
but knowing Chandler, and as Nathan mentioned, he'll just go for it, and that will be playing into the hands of Conor. And if you do that with Conor McGregor, he's going to starch you.
And you
I think
know
they will.
I know this is a little bit of a side point here, but the thing that frightens me is if Conor has been putting on the weight by any chance is his power also building up? So by the time he cuts down to 170 because he's not going all the way to 155, could that play a factor?
But
So
what about
that's
his
another thing that
stamina?
worries me. Not his stamina, I mean his power, because of the weight, he is training
And
on the
the
weight
one thing I'm
currently.
worried about for Chandler is Chandler at 170 is not a natural.
Yeah.
I mean, neither is Connor, but Connor is more accustomed to be at that weight as compared to him.
Yeah.
So then, even Chandler may not try to wrestle so much because it would take a lot.
He
I
also
mean,
Connor has the better build for 170 because he is more wiry,
yeah,
whereas
yeah.
Chandler has that Chad Mendes, Josh Emmett kind of short wrestler, low to the ground. But the old Connor was so much better.
Always
I agree, LJ. The old Connor was so much better, but the problem is
old Connor was good,
we
but then
I
he lost his.
the also it's a matter of prime, na. At the end of the day, you are
Hmm.
getting older. Even if he
And he
had that
lost his
sharp left
way.
hand, yeah.
See, because he was the cash cow of the UFC, and his antics were so much loved by everyone. He got more into the antics side of the thing rather than concentrating on the. See, up till the Jose Aldo fight and even up to his first title defense, I think his first title defense was Khabib, or no?
So no, so he did not technically define the featherweight title. Fun fact: his next fight was Eddie Alvarez.
Yeah. So up till the Eddie Alvarez fight, Conor used to carry both of the things in a very fine balance, the entertainment bit and concentrating on the fighting bit. But after the Eddie Alvarez, when he was the double fight, I mean, when he was a double champ, he was a PPV king, so to speak. Somewhere there, he then lost his way. He said, "Okay, this entertainment bit is enough for me to concentrate on because that brings in the money. The fighting bit I can handle it because even if he's at half of what he tries to do, he can beat most fighters in the world because he's that good. You have to accept the
Mhm.
fact.
Of course.
But now he's not even doing that half. He's probably gone down to 25%. So that's what I'm saying. He's become a joke of a fighter and he's become more of an entertainer. He's a more pro wrestler right now than he's a actual UFC fighter in terms of what he does.
Yeah, fair
The
enough.
tough season with
I agree. I would like to double back on that. I feel Chandler is the favorite, but I am a little worried. He's more accustomed to the weight. He's beefing up completely. He's going to cut down weight. Is he going to have more power because he's not getting drained back to 55? I would say the power does concern me considering he's saying he's up at 200 pounds right now, walking around. Yeah, I'm not saying he's like bodybuilder or anything, but the fact that he's training at 200 means as he starts cutting, the power of a 200-pound body plus his natural technique. See, whether he's good or not is a different question, but the fact that he has the natural technique and he's carrying that weight, he's working with the weight he's currently on. I feel like Chandler really needs to shoot because I feel that left hand once he hits one left hand, I think
I
it's
mean,
over.
one left hand could at times be more than enough.
Yeah, I mean also if he's running into him, oof,
He's asking for trouble.
absolutely. And so now we move on to the interim featherweight championship fight. Basically Alexander's next opponent. We're going to have Yair El Pantera Rodriguez, the number 2 ranked featherweight, taking on the number 5th ranked featherweight free Arnold Allen. He got screwed out of this title shot with his 10-match win streak. We have the 15-3 Rodriguez from Mexico. We have the 18-2 American from the
Josh.
alpha male fight gym of Uriah Faber's Josh Emmett. Josh Emmett, much older than Yair Rodriguez. More,
Yeah.
well, he has the better record, but he's also been out because of various injuries. He's kind of missed a lot of years because of his injuries. He broke his hand. I think he had really bad hand injuries. And I think this is his only shot. I have to be honest, at his age, I think this is his only chance. He's on a, I believe he's on a five-fight win streak. Yair Rodriguez is coming
Evidencing.
off a injury by a win by injury through Brian Ortega's shoulder popping out. Funny enough, last year a lot of main events ended in injury, and an indubitably high amount of main events ended in injury. Like even I couldn't believe it. Aljo Dillashaw, Yair Bryan, Calvin Cater, Arnold Allen. I think there was one more. I'm missing one more. There were so many injuries that end. Aspinall's injury ended.
Hmm.
Fight ended by. They were crazy. I couldn't believe how many main events just got wiped out by injury. It was insane. I was like, whoa, this is bad luck. Yeah, like the whole card builds up to that, and the guy literally breaks something. So, Doc, the KO ratio of Yair is 40% KOs, 20% subs, and 40% decisions, which means if he's winning
Fairly even.
15, fairly
Yeah.
quite even. I would happily take him to
I
the
think
top.
Yair is more of a ground fighter, if I'm not mistaken.
He's actually a dynamic striker, Doc. But the thing is, I think
He
he
takes
take,
he
takes
finishes
a
a
lot
lot
of
on the
takes a
ground.
lot of damage, dishes a lot. Yeah, that's his thing. I believe his last two losses. I can't remember his third loss, but I believe his last two losses were Frank. Was it Jeremy Stevens? Did Jeremy Stevens
No, one
win
was
by
a decision.
disqualification?
Max Holloway.
Max
Max
Holloway.
Holloway
I know
decision.
Frankie Edgar put the
Frankie
put
Edgar TKO'd him.
yeah, that was a brutal fight. He was deformed at the end of the fight, and I don't know the third. I can't remember the third loss. I can't
And Josh Emmett is a proper wrestler. I mean,
proper
he's got
wrestler.
a height and reach disadvantage sort
Yeah.
of
He's
against
another
him.
one of those short, stocky ones I mentioned earlier.
Yes.
He does have a Golden Gloves background. He did box in college.
Can you tell me about the takedown defense of Yair? Because I'm not too. I don't think it's
Grappling,
that.
takedown defense is 62% to Josh Emmett's
Yeah. So not.
58.
So not elite.
No, definitely
I mean,
not.
Josh
And
Emmett. I think Josh Emmett is a wrestler. So 58% takedown defense is like he. I think he has been taken down or attempted very few times. So he's probably not
yeah. And
expected it coming his way.
Yai's takedown accuracy is 28%, which is terrible.
Yeah.
And he averages Yair averages 0.83 takedowns per 15 minutes. So he's not looking to take this fight down at all, no matter what. Emmett averages one takedown per 15 minutes. Basically, I think it's going to be a war. I have to be honest. I think it's going to be a war. I think it's going to be a five rounder. And I think
See, if Emmett tries to slugfest, then I think if he would be a little smart, he would simply just wrestle this guy because he has a wrestling background. He is a wrestler, I mean, predominantly. So if he just wrestles, I think he should be good enough to win this fight by decision. I don't think he'll do that. He'll try getting into fisticuffs, and if he does that, then it's anyone's game. But if I just look at it from past performance and current and fight style, because there's a lot of times we see okay, one fighter is that much better, but then styles makes fights at times, and I think that's what's going to happen here. Yair Rodriguez is I think bookmaker's favorite if I'm not mistaken here.
so. Yair Rodriguez on the odds is according to UFC.com. Yair Rodriguez, it's quite close to a pick'em really. He's just a minus 165 favorite, and Emmett
Minus
is a
one.
minus 140 underdog, plus 140 underdog. I would say a pretty even. I
I
think I
think
think I think the odds makers know they're just going to both stand and bang really. Quite honestly.
I would say Josh Emmett unanimous decision.
I will second that. I feel he's going to see the takedown, and I think he's going to beat his average of one takedown per
I think he'll
15.
have a first round which will be a real rock and sock him kind of affair, and then he will say, okay, fine, it's enough. I'll just take this guy down and see the fight through. But this is for the interim.
Out of curiosity, yeah, interim title 145.
So it's a 5 rounder.
Yeah. Out of curiosity, do you think, and I have this strange feeling, but do you think Emmett cracks him and maybe finishes him faster or like a shock knockout, a flash KO maybe?
It can happen. It can happen, but that could
Because he
happen
has
both the
that
ways.
ability to keep, he tries spinning attacks, jumping attacks, you think he'd walk into
He
something?
can get caught. He can get caught for sure. And especially if the stocky wrestler, they have that power in their hands. Usually, they tend to
Overhand,
land
that
those,
odd
yeah, those
looking,
overhand,
yeah.
yeah, those overhand rights. They tend to land really well. But I think it will be like the first round will be a rock and sock and thing, and then after that, Josh will say, okay, fine, enough is enough. It's easy to take him down. Okay, let's strike with him, but then take him down at least once or twice every round, and just see
Yeah,
the fight.
I think he's going to realize, this is his opportunity to get a strap, whether it's interim or not. He's not getting any
Hmm.
younger. It guarantees him an actual title shot. Whereas, there's always this now. Max Holloway is facing Arnold Allen. What's going to happen there, kind of thing. He gets that guarantee shot. Whereas if he loses this, then he goes back into that mix. He might never actually come out of. So I think he's going to
True.
definitely hit the takedown, and I think he's going to
Just
get
give
the
me a minute,
takedown.
Nathan. Nathan,
Absolutely,
just give me a minute.
no problem. Here we go, guys. So everyone in the chat has said 63% Islam. Okay, that's good. Then that there. LJ, what do you think? Who do you think is gonna get it? You never told us. Rodriguez or Swami Vivekananda? Hey guys, what's up? What's up, Swami Vivekananda? बहुत दिन के बाद आया देख. He's a busy man, guy, dude. He's a busy man. Who do you think, LJ? Who do you think is gonna get it? Do let us know. Do you think Rodriguez is gonna get it, or do you think Emmett's gonna get it? Me and Sadiq Bhai are both saying unanimous decisions. 63% Islam. Yeah, man. I think to answer your question, LJ, I do think Islam is going to win it. But I'm telling you, man, I have a very very strange feeling it's going to be his toughest match to date. Alexander Volkanovski. I don't know how much you watched of him, LJ, but he's a tough out. Yeah, he's a tough out. Content
No,
corner.
Volk's a
What's up, content
demon.
corner? What's up? What's up? Sorry.
Volk is like,
No, I made a
an
statement that
evolved,
it's going to be Islam's toughest opponent. So he was asking you,
no doubt.
Islam's. I think he is going to be
See,
Islam's toughest opponent.
see, Volkanovski is an evolved or a modern version of Frankie Edgar.
Fair enough.
Volk is a more evolved version, like the next gen version of Frankie Edgar. And
That's fair.
a fighter like Frankie, and those kind of fighters always give you tough fights. Even they might end up losing, but they never make it easy. And well, I am to picking Volk for a very narrow, controversial decision kind of a win.
Yeah, I agree. I was saying that to LJ as well. I was saying I think it's going to be a late stoppage because I think it is going to be Islam's toughest fight. If this was literally any lightweight, I would say Islam in under 2 rounds, unless it's Benil. If this was an Islam Makhachev fight of against anybody in the lightweight division at the moment, 1 to 8, I would say Islam in 2 rounds. Benil Dariush, I
Why
think
are
maybe it would
you
have gone late
why are you picking up Benil Dariush then?
because Benil Dariush is the only one who can't seem to get a title fight. He and Arnold Allen should have their own exclusive club of people that get looked over for the title shots every match. That
Yeah, but then
Matthews.
Benil Dariush is also a grappler, right? Mostly.
Yeah, no, no. I'm saying is I don't think he'll finish him in 2 rounds. I think he wipes everyone else out except Benil Dariush because Benil Dariush under Rafael Cordero, I forgot what it's called, but King's MMA in Sacramento.
No, but he is a
His
jiu-jitsu
striking.
more.
He's a
I think
world
he's more
champion
of,
nogi in jiu-jitsu, but I'm telling you, if you see the
yeah, but
Matthews
those
Gamrot
guys,
fight, did you
but
see the Matthews Gamrot fight where Matthews Gamrot is
yeah,
also a wrestler from Poland, but was lighting him up.
yeah, but that depends if you're just predominantly a wrestler. But if you're someone who's a combat sambo fighter, I've seen sambo fighters eat these jiu-jitsu world champions for lunch in an MMA fight because sambo is a much more diversified fight form as compared to just jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So
No,
you
but
know, if
but I
we if
think but have you not seen Benny Hill striking? Have you not seen his striking recently?
No, I've seen his striking. It's decent, but it's not like something that I would expect to give a person like Islam that much of a
I guess
problem.
what I'm trying to say is he'll be more confident standing with him because he won't mind going to
But
the
will
ground.
he? But will
I
he be
think
able
I
to
think I
stand?
think I think Benil Dariush only shoots if someone else tries to shoot on him. Like he was not having any interest in shooting on
See, we are
Gamrot
talking
until
about
Gamrot
see, we are
started
talking
shooting
about
with him.
Islam versus Benil,
Yeah.
right?
No, I'm saying I
Islam.
don't mind. I think he might stand with Islam just because I've noticed Benil
No, but
only
that's what
goes
I'm
to the
saying.
ground if Matthews,
Benil will
if someone else goes to the ground.
Benil will want to stand, but will Islam will want to stand. Islam will just take him down and pound him out the whole day. Because I've seen many of these Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champs in the last 20 years. There has never been a more dominant Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion in the Nogi and Gi than Thales Latis. And Thales Latis against a decent wrestler, they they smashed him.
Didn't he get out grappled by Michael Bisping in Scotland?
Yeah.
Did that happen? Am I thinking that up or did that not happen?
No, I think that was someone else, but that guy was also this so-called quote unquote Brazilian
Oh, you're
Jiu-Jitsu
talking
world
about
champ.
Thales Ladies, the
Yeah, yeah,
UFC
yeah. No, no,
middleweight
no.
contender, right? I'm pretty
Yeah,
sure
yeah,
he
yeah.
fought Bisping in Scotland.
Yeah, he fought Bisping. Bisping just took him
That
down and
was,
smashed
but
him.
that
He's
was when
like,
Thales Ladies himself, his striking was improving because he was under Dede Pederneiras, right? He was
yeah,
training
so
in
Bisping had a
Romania.
very simple game plan because Thales was putting his foot down and like keeping his foot strong on the ground. Leg kick, jab, take him down. Leg kick, jab, take him down. I mean,
Funny fact, guys, Michael Bisping 15 and 0 in the UK. Never lost in the UK, UFC and outside of UFC.
a
Peter
Mancunian.
Yan, is Peter Yan the best? LJ, I think he's being slowly found out, unfortunately. Slowly he's
No, no,
being
no,
found out a little bit. But I
no,
think he
no.
can still
I
beat a
think
lot of those
I think
heavyweights.
what did we predict for Jan's fight last time around?
We both
I think
predict Yan to win. And then, no, you predicted Yan, I predicted O'Malley. And then we were both very shocked that O'Malley got the victory. Because I remember
no,
you
I think I
messaging me.
predicted O'Malley. No, no,
Did
I
you?
predicted O'Malley with a like the kind
Oh,
of fight
no.
it was as
Yeah. No,
decision.
I think what
It was a
I think
decision.
it ended up was we were both shocked that he got the victory. Because we were like, wait,
Yeah.
what? How did he win this? I was like, okay.
No, no, I told you that the way it is, Jan will just try to do that, and O'Malley might just nick the decision, and in the end, but we both were like, I don't think it's going to happen, but that might happen, and that's what I predicted. Just like one of
And
those random ones.
I honestly thought Jan got screwed, but I mean, man, it is what it is. It's done.
I think I
Uh,
got that card perfect because I even predicted this one losing
you
his title,
predicted,
Adesanya.
yeah, you did. I thought it was going for a decision. I was 2 minutes away. You know,
No,
happens.
and exactly I said he's going to get caught.
And you
So
know what's I don't know if you were watching it live, but I was like, wait a minute, something's wrong with his leg. And this is the weirdest thing, right? I did this for Dillashaw even. I was like, wait, something's wrong here. He's not using his hand. And they were like, I was like, oh, he's hurt his hand. And like people were like, he's not hurt his hand, he's just like that. I'm like, no, he's hurt his hand. Look. He's not
yes,
lifting it up.
hand
He's
was,
not raising it. And then even
and then he
Izzy,
got
when he hit the
starched.
leg kick, did you notice when he hit one leg kick, he did that thing when he
He
moved
wins.
backwards? I was like, oh no, he cracked his leg. I was like, oh
Yeah.
no. And there was like 2 minutes left. I was like, oh, hold on to him. Do something. And then he
He
just
could
got
not. No,
cleaned.
his one
Just
hand was
just
gone.
it's just done then. And then he went on the post fight interview and said, yeah, he got me good with the leg kick checks. I was like, that I knew
Yeah.
it. I knew he hurt his leg. So I'm actually excited about this fight. I don't know if you have watched a lot of this fellow, but he's a very exciting prospect. The actual hometown guy in Perth. Don Giacomo,
Uh,
people call him Jack Della Maddalena, taking on Randy Rude Boy
yes.
Brown, one of the original Dana White looking for a fight. I think he's probably the oldest tenured person who's left now. Nordcut's out, Mickey Gall's out, Van Zant's out. I think he's the last one left because he was in that era where he did that initial looking for a fight thing. So Randy Rude Boy
Yes.
Brown 16 and 4, Jack Della Maddalena 13 and 2. If you do not know anything about Jack Madalena, which I highly doubt you, I'm sure you will. Very, very crisp boxing.
He's
Very
he's a
crisp
proper
boxing.
he's a proper mixed martial artist. He's got a decent ground game. He can take you down if you want, but his predominant
You got to
trait
see
is
his
his
hand. You
boxing.
got to see his hands, though, Doc. Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
beautiful
He's
hands.
brilliant, beautiful boxer.
Danny Hot Chocolate Roberts KO 1 round. Ramzan Emiv,
And
who's a really tough out that people
and
will not
and he's on a
remember.
13 fight win streak as well. He has not lost anything other than losing his first two fights.
One decision in the contender series is his only decision. 11 knockouts, one submission.
I think it's straightforward.
Straightforward.
Madalena wins it
Let's see.
again.
Let's
TKO.
see Rude Boy's record though, because I believe Randy Brown beat someone really important in his last fight. That's why he's got this good fight. He was very promising. I remember when Mickey Gall was like, "Give me Randy Brown." Like, dude, Randy Brown fought in CFFC. Like, what are you
He
doing,
beat
man?
Francisco Trinaldo.
That's it, Masaranduba, but that was upper weight class, right? Because Masaranduba, who doesn't age, by the way, was a lightweight not too long ago. Doesn't age at all. So he's
Yeah,
four
but he's
straight.
lost to the likes of Bilal Muhammad. He's lost
He's
to
lost to the
Nico
elite guys,
Price.
dude. Look who's lost to elite. Luke ranked.
Yeah,
Nico Price,
he's like the
crazy.
gatekeeper of the elite level of welterweight.
Check this out. A blast from the past. Not for the good reason, unfortunately. His first loss was to Michael Graves. Do you remember? The
Yes,
tough Black Zillions ATT winner.
yes,
Let's not go why he's not in in the Ultimate Fight anymore, but it's a blast from the past. That was his first loss, basically, in the UFC. Two rank players and Nico Price, who's always game, yeah? Always game. KO punches. That is exactly how Nico fights. He got caught in the storm of the hybrid, and that's what happened.
Bilal just
Oh,
out wrestled him completely.
well, there are levels, as people like to say. Alex
Yes,
Oliveira submission and three decisions, one split by Chaos Williams, who's a very very powerful striker. Like he's yoked. I'm surprised he actually the fact that he went 15 minutes with Chaos Williams is actually impressive. If you see how Chaos Williams looks,
yeah.
huge.
Chaos William is big. He's like 6 feet 170. So that's why he's.
He's quite wiry, yeah. So the Don
I think TKO for Madalena.
first round, because
No,
since we
no,
are
no.
going for the same thing, we have to pick rounds now. We don't
No, no,
otherwise it
no,
just
no, no, no. I think third round. Third round. He just beats him up. Beats him up 2 rounds. Third
third
round
round.
finishes him off.
I'm going to go.
Early third round kind of TKO.
I'm going to go end of first round, flatlines him. No TKO, flatlines him. Dude, I've seen the hands, dude. I'm on the train.
No,
I'm
his
on the
hands are
train.
good, but does he has the power in those hands? That's the thing.
Let's see. I believe
See,
I believe he has six
yeah,
first
he has
round finishes.
usually usually he has first round finishes, but when he goes up against like someone who's slightly in that tougher range, if you look at his other records from Eternal MMA and stuff, someone who's just like willing to be there in front of him.
The funny
Because
thing,
Ramazan,
I'm still
Emi,
shocked.
Danny
I'm still
Roberts, they're
shocked he
not.
got Ramzan Emiv in half a round. Ramzan Emiv is not the best fighter you'll find, but he's a very
Yeah, he's
respective,
more of a sambo.
very
He's a combat sambo world champion, Ramazan.
also M1 global middleweight champion. I know people don't watch anything outside the UFC, but M1 is a very respected Russian organization.
Yes,
They get serious talent over there that filters through here, then
that
goes to
shows that he has got a lot of talent. This guy, Madalina. I mean, he's
the
touted for
hype
the
is
right
real. Yeah,
reasons.
I saw the pre-fight conference there.
I
People
may
were
just after
twerking for
seeing
him.
that,
Trust me.
I may just think second round, late second round,
Yeah, man. I'm telling you,
possibly.
it's going to be a fun.
I don't see the first round. I don't see the first round.
Let's go.
I don't know why. I don't see the first round because I'm giving a little credit to Rude Boy as well.
Yeah, I will admit I am writing him off a little bit, but
I
let's
mean,
just say
he
I'm
went.
swallowing the
I mean, he
hype.
went all 3 rounds with Chaos Williams. So I mean,
That is true.
he can
That is
take
true.
he can take punishment,
Yeah,
and he
that's
won
true.
that one on split decision. So he can take punishment. So in that regard,
Uh,
I'm thinking, okay. I mean, I'm not predicting a win, no doubt, obviously, but I'm saying a late second round, early third round TKO for
Fair enough.
Motherland.
Fair enough. I'm happy. I'm happy being on the hype train for now. I did see the hot chocolate win, flatlined him. I'm willing. I'm willing to take this. LJ is saying Adesanya's loss was the best feeling. Yeah, well, Doc messages me and he's like, the three kings have become two kings, the three kings have become one king. I remember him messaging me every time they lost. I was like, oh crap. And now Francis Ngannou is out of the UFC. There's no kings of Africa. I was like, this is what bad luck here. Seriously. Tell me how.
None
Oh,
of
this is a
them.
fantastic question, LJ. This is one of the first questions I asked Doc after one of our
Yeah.
very first streams. Tell me how you guys take out time for all these sports and stuff and knowledge and all this. Oh
Well,
God,
it just
Doc,
comes with
they're gonna
time. I
love this
mean,
answer. They're going to love this answer.
it's just like if you like something, you will follow and you will try listen following sports. And the thing is, I listen to sports more than watch them because I don't get that much time to watch sports as such. I just put on commentary and I just keep listening to it. What's going on? So that gives you a lot of time to not
I
just
guess
follow
I,
the
I
sport,
guess
you
he
also
means
remember
like
it.
after all these years, like what was your regime when you were younger, when you had less, for lack
Well,
of a better word,
I,
responsibilities? Let's say you were more carefree when you were younger. Like what? How was
well,
it
I
then?
used to make sure that I get up in the morning like religiously, like on a Sunday if there's a fight, sit and watch that fight, and then go to sleep, and then sports consumed me throughout the day.
Basically, we were lucky where there were different sports that we were interested in at different timings, and therefore, instead of
Yes,
watching TV like a normal person, we ended up just watching sports, and that's how the
yes,
day ended. And
pretty
that's what I
much.
tell people. I tell people
And
this is not
sometimes I would
the
even sacrifice like my
going out with
like
friends,
if
yeah, to
yeah,
come
like
back.
if a friend called me and I'm like I'm busy or something like that because I knew I had to watch sport.
I always tell people this. I always tell people this. Like when they ask me how do I know like anything for whatever example, I always tell them I fortunately or unfortunately learned it the hard way, depending on how you look at it.
Exactly.
And I think we have sacrificed a lot that way. People see, I don't call it sacrifice because I get to watch what I love, and then I get to talk
Yeah.
to it with other people that love it. So it's great for me. I learn, it bounces off, right? Like you were telling me about things even I've never watched because I came, I'm younger than you, and I came to the party later than you in other things. Like I feel like our
Hmm.
MMA thing is the most parity we have, mostly because
Yeah,
on
sort of.
some level we have just watched it together. I don't know like when it came there, when it was available there, but I feel like I've caught up because maybe MMA is the younger sport. There's less to watch. There's more, it's more filtered through. But then, like when you talk to me about football, I'm like, dude, when I was young, I used to goggle at SAF. I didn't care who was playing on the pitch. When we were trailing, I knew everyone was getting abused and we are winning the game. If someone asked me, what do you think about SAF now? I'm like, listen, if SAF was in this dressing room, everyone would have run out. They would have quit. They would have been in the championship. One thing would have happened out of those three.
No, no, no. He would have turned them into honest men.
Or he would have made them quit. And believe me, there are quitters in that. I have seen quitters in MMA, dude. There are quitters in that squad. He would have made people quit on that squad. I am willing to bet my life on it. He would have made people quit in that team for sure.
Which team?
100%.
You know?
In our United team.
Yeah.
Last year's team, he would have made half the team quit.
Oh,
Last year's team, he would have made half the team quit. For sure.
last year's team he would have slaughtered half of them.
And people don't get it. Like people come and troll me. They're like, you're celebrating a Leeds comeback. I'm like, do you guys understand that Leeds is actually our biggest rivalry because it surpasses sports? It's Lancashire versus Yorkshire. It's Red Rose versus White Rose. Bro, Liverpool was in the
Hmm.
relegated. We got relegated. Then Liverpool dominated Europe. Then we dominated Premier League. Then Liverpool were crap for 30 years. Then we were winning titles. But
Now
the
we are crap
rivalry,
for the last 10 years.
exactly, and that's what I'm saying. But the rivalries never change. I'm trying to explain. Like LJ is a Liverpool fan, right? But LJ knows this. But I tell
Hmm.
like, other people, I'm like, guys, you have to understand. We played Liverpool when they were really crap, and they still got a result. They played us when we were really crap, and we still got a result. And everyone's like, you're celebrating 17th leads. I'm like, dude, it's not about celebrating 17th leads. It's like when Chelsea beats West Ham or Arsenal beats
Yeah.
Chelsea, even though Arsenal are eighth in the league. It's the rivalry. If you don't celebrate the win against the rival, you might as well just watch something else. You
Yeah,
just might
Leeds
as
is
well.
like Leeds has
Leeds is a
always
big
been
deal, dude. They're
like
they're
that.
looking at 17 on the table. I'm like, it doesn't matter. Do you know when they got promoted? The
See,
only game they were looking forward to is playing us at Ellen Road. That is the only
see
game they
the
were looking forward to.
passion. The see why do we remember so many things? Because we watch those games with so much of passion without the fact that okay, we have to go and answer to someone on social media or something else will happen. Okay, we lost a game. We lost a game. Fine. Why we lost the game? What happened? That was more important to us
Yeah.
rather than now that okay, if I lose a game, I'll have to handle trolls on social media.
No, I was
That does
smiling
not
at the end of the game. Everyone was like, "Why you celebrate?" I'm like, "Do you not get it? 10 months ago, they would have quit in half time, and they would have come
not
out
10
and
months
walked around the
ago,
pitch."
not 10 months ago, just 6 months ago. If you remember the Brentford game,
They were
we
walking
were
around.
4
Forget
nil
that.
down.
Do you remember the 2-0 Man City loss, which was like 5-0 because they were playing beach volleyball with the ball, left flank all the way to the right flank, all the way back to the middle, all the way back to. I'm like, what? Do you not understand that these people have quit? Like there's 70,000 people looking at them and they have quit, and you're telling me I can't celebrate a comeback in 8 minutes? I'm
Honestly,
celebrating the
that
comeback, dude.
match was so bad. That match was so bad that I was listening to Baba's watch along while watching it, and throughout the watch along, all I was typing stuff was anything but that game,
I was on
and
Giants
that's what we
Reddit
were
have a
discussing.
watch along, and Giant was like, "What's happening here?" I'm like, "Dude, this is what I've been saying. You people don't understand what I've been trying to say." I'm like, "This team is shit. Like, it's not about supporting your team. It's like, why should I support my team when my team doesn't care? Like,
Okay,
what am I
Nathan, if
supposed to do?
I
How much merch am I supposed to buy to
one
show I am a
one
fan?"
player one player from this current United team
Oh, no.
who could end up being an MMA fighter.
I feel like we know this answer, but do we even have to guess? I believe there are flags of choppers go around the stadium. I think that's the very clear indication of who it is. Oh, I love him. Yeah,
A certain Brazilian.
he's him or Martinez. Martinez is obviously too short, but
Oh yeah, no.
but
But then Martinez would fight in the lower divisions, no?
yeah, exactly. For me, it's Gap Stam, it's Vidic. It's like, oh, you want to play pretty defending. Couldn't give a shit. I'm going to take your legs off. I couldn't give a shit. As long as I don't get sent off, I'm chopping all of y'all down. It doesn't matter. I'll take out
Yeah, but
your
then
goalkeeper. I'll take out my goalkeeper. I'll
but I
take
tell
out
you something.
everybody.
As much as we praise Vidic quite a bit, I think Vidic would have been very vulnerable if he didn't have a proper defender like Rio next
Rio.
to him.
Absolutely.
Rio covered for a lot of overcommitments that Vidic did. Yeah, I know Vidic could tackle. He could have that Hollywood tackle, that highlight reel tackle,
And
and
it's
everything.
exactly the same, na? He'll put his head where people won't put his feet. Someone mentioned that about Vidic.
Yeah,
Lisandro
same as
Martinez
Licha,
last week got two injuries, right? One, he whacked
and
his head, and then he goes to hit that ball and gets kicked
yeah,
again in the next match. I'm
and
like, dude,
no, and the best part is he's got a proper Rio. I think a better version of Rio in Rafael Varane
Varane.
next to him.
Yeah, probably.
I think people don't give Varane the credit that Varane, the role he played in Ramos becoming a better centre back.
A lot of people,
Because I
a
remember,
lot of people give the credit opposite. Everyone goes the other way. Everyone goes Varane was better because of Ramos.
I saw Ramos defending in the mid 2000s. Trust me, if social media would have been alive at that time,
He would have slaughtered him.
Ronaldinho versus Ramos would have been the biggest meme material ever for those 4 years. From 2004 till 2007, and even when he went to Milan and they played, I think Real Madrid in a game or something in the European Cup, Ronaldinho made it like his personal vendetta that I have to
Yeah.
abuse this guy.
You know what's a funny thing? Like someone asked me, right, like who's your favorite players from not your team all time? And I was just like playing around, right? I was like, this is fun, this is a fun game. And I went right back Ramos and like Ramos is center back. I'm like, excuse me? I'm like,
Ramos has
excuse
played
me?
more right back than centre back. Ramos has played
People
centre back for like
and
7 years,
see this is what now,
and he is a
Sadiq
right
bhai,
back for 8 years.
I feel really bad for myself instead of other people because it just goes to show how old I am That's why I feel sorry for myself. I feel sorry for myself when people go Ramos is the center back. I was like, oh,
I feel so
it must
bad
be
for
so
myself
nice being
that
young. It must be so nice being
no,
young.
no, I feel so bad that when people come and ask me if you pick your all-time Real Madrid 11 that you have seen, your centre back pairing, I pick Fernando Hierro and
Fernando
Manolo
Hierro.
Sanchez, and
Fernando.
and Manolo Sanchez.
I haven't even seen him play. I've seen Hierro play. I've seen Hierro play.
No, no, Manolo Sanchez was the captain in the '98 UCL final.
Yeah, I didn't. I
He's
didn't even
actually
watch
part
football
of
back then.
the he is part of the Quinta de la Botre, the vultures of the five vultures
Yes,
with
LJ.
Emiliano
LJ.
Miguel, Emiliano Butregana, Sanchez, I think Salgado, not Michel Salgado. There was another one with the S something. There were five of them. There were five academy graduates who were promoted out of desperation, and when they were promoted, they won five straight La Ligas.
Yeah, Butragueño I've heard of. I've heard of him.
Emiliano
Lefty, I
Butregano is
believe,
like the
right? He was lefty.
fifth or sixth highest leading scorer of. It was named after him because his name was Butregano, and Butra means vultures, so the five vultures
Okay.
of
Okay.
the academy.
Uh, Ramos was a right back. Yes, LJ. He started out as a right back. It's when he had a long hair and he had the thinnest hairband you've ever seen in your life,
Hmm.
holding it in
No, no,
place.
he had the thinnest hairband, and before that he had the Karate Kid Danny Del Russo
Yeah,
white
yeah.
colored wraparound
Also,
headband,
he had zero tattoos when he was a right back. Zero. None. None whatsoever.
and with that flapping headband and flapping hair, when Ronaldinho used to take him on, he used to be like deer in headlights, rather a drunk deer in
I mean,
headlights.
Ronaldinho did that to a lot of people, to be fair. I
No,
guess
no,
he did
that
that
used to
more to
happen to
Ramos because
Ramos.
in the same league, probably.
Trust me, people who say that Ramos developed into a very good defender. But the initial years of Ramos,
Attacking.
my Real Madrid fans used to cuss at him that this guy just wants to go bombing ahead as a right back. His job is to defend.
That happens. LJ is saying, would you put Beckham in all-time England, United, Madrid squad 11? Well, he has to be
Madrid
definitely
no.
he definitely in the
Madrid
England one
no.
because 99. In his final performance,
In
his finals performance was the most underrated performance people have told me. I was too young to watch it. I mean, live. And I mean, come on, man.
United
Beckham. That's how Real Madrid got him. Real Madrid got him because he was David Beckham of those years. They could have bought anybody back then. They did buy everybody back then.
no see no, I will just correct you a bit there. Real
About
Madrid were
United
highly
all-time level?
no, not the
Oh,
United
okay.
all-time 11. About
Okay.
why Real Madrid got Beckham, because 3 years straight Beckham was the sole reason why United outgrossed Real Madrid by twice. Any other club by twice. And I'm not kidding here. 1999 Guinness Book of World Record, 2000 Guinness Book of World Record, 2001 Guinness Book of World Record. Go and find the richest club in the world, and United is 1.5 times more rich than any other club in the world. Okay, and that was a large contribution to that was David Gill and his plan to venture into Asia, plus having a marketable star like David Beckham in a time when there was no proper internet. You had to use dial-up connections. Listen to that for like a good 2 minutes
I have.
before you connected on an internet which could not even play YouTube at 144p.
Yeah.
In that time of internet, David Beckham's hairstyle used to go viral within hours, and kids used to change their hairstyle according to what Beckham did. He went bald, they went bald. He put cornrows, they made cornrows even if they had no hair.
Mohawk.
Mohawk, they went mohawk.
That didn't last
So
long, but because of Sir Alex, that one
yeah,
didn't last very
I
long.
mean, see whatever Beckham did. I mean, I always tell people, you guys think that Messi and Ronaldo are popular because they had social media.
Oh no, they
If
aren't.
David, you come, if you give equal amount of media spotlight and social media to all three of them, no one comes close to what David Beckham
Dog,
had.
forget that. He is popular now. He retired 10 years ago. You
Yeah.
think
I
you
mean,
think
I'm not
Ronaldo and
saying.
Messi are going to have this popularity when they retire after 10 years? Not a shot. No chance.
See, you tell me as a player, yes, Ronaldo is better than Beckham. What Beckham was, Messi is better than Beckham. As a celebrity in terms of popularity,
Oh,
I
and
mean,
LJ
very
is
few
saying
people, very few athletes.
Beckham only had a famous wife. Fun fact, LJ. When they were in their prime, that could have been true. But if you look at the followers now, that's not even close. You know why
No,
that's
no,
not
no,
even
no, no,
close? Because
guys.
at the end
He
of the
had
day,
a
he played for
popular.
the best football teams in the
He
world, and he was pretty popular
Victoria
as well.
Beckham, Victoria Beckham became his wife because he was David Beckham.
Yeah. No,
There's a
but
reason. It's not.
let's say the Spice Girls were definitely one of the
No, no, Spice Girls
female.
were the rage.
Yeah,
Spice Girls were the
for
rage,
five
96,
years.
97,
Yeah.
98. But what? But there's a reason why
Yeah, I mean,
they
Beckham
went.
retired at
She,
2012,
yeah,
something like that. What was
yeah,
it?
and I think his
PSG?
last 4 years were trash. To be very honest,
I mean, he was,
2008
and
onwards, he was not good.
we're talking about people who used to model at Armani before Ronaldo did. Like
Yeah,
Ralph Lauren, all this Beckham did 15 years before Ronaldo. Like these are
and
things
it's not that he
people
had one
celebrate
brand.
today. People celebrate
Like
Ronaldo having his
now,
own underwear, but David Beckham was the face of the underwear brands. Like he doesn't want his own
Calvin
underwear;
Klein.
he just want to play football.
Yeah, Calvin Klein was his
Calvin
brand.
Klein. Yeah, what I'm trying to say is everyone celebrates it now. Like, oh wow, he's transcended. I'm like, bro, this has been done. This has been done already. There's no
Yeah,
transcending
it's
here. This is
see, we are
following the
just having this
footsteps.
debate not in terms of the the player or the talent on the pitch. This is more of a conversation about
Outside of the pitch.
celebrity
Yeah,
status and
celebrities.
your influence on the people at that.
Parag is saying in terms of popularity, Ronaldo's up there. I would respectfully agree but disagree, Parag, because I think social media is the reason you can say that. David
No, no,
Beckham,
yeah,
whatever David Beckham has amassed, keep in mind, guys, whatever his numbers are on
it's
social
without
media, which
social
I don't
media.
know, is everything he has earned before social media. Because even if you go back on Twitter, Twitter started in 2012. Dude, he was done by 2012. Instagram started 2010. He was basically on his way out by 2010. Instagram was not even a thing in 2010. It was formed, but no people thought it was just a photo app.
I mean,
Like
as I
he's done
said, from
all this
2000.
prior.
See, Facebook was the first thing, and 2008 Facebook came up, and by that time Beckham's playing career was done.
He's done. Everything, whatever numbers you see David Beckham has now, is everything is earned after he's retired. Every single number is earned after he's retired. Whatever it is, whatever the numbers are, however impressive or not, everything is done after social media started and before
His
he
playing
after he
days, the
retired.
rage that he had was, I mean, unlike any other footballer you had seen up till that moment.
So no Beckham in Real Madrid, England all time 11. I don't know about Real Madrid. Probably not. England,
United,
England.
see,
What
1999,
night mids did they have in England? Like
Eng-
like of this quality.
England
Well,
right mids.
he might sneak in the England one too. Actually, he might actually sneak in there. I can't even think of a good right player midfield. We
See, it
probably
depends what formation you play because if you go four three
they went
three,
4-4-2. Now I guess we'll go with that then.
okay, if
England
you go
also.
4-4-2, then you need a right mid. Lampard obviously plays center right. Gerrard plays center left.
No, no. Sorry, I'm talking talking to my mom.
Yeah,
My mom's asking me
yeah,
something. Yeah.
yeah. So you center right you go Lampard, center left you go Gerrard. Ideally, I would not play them in a 4-4-2 because I would play them more in a 4-2-3-1.
Because they used
Because
to shoehorn Scholes on the left, right? Because they played 4-4-2.
exactly. So I would go like a 4-2-3-1. 4-2-3-1, I would put a double pivot of Gerrard and Scholes. Put Lampard up top as the number 10 or the second striker. Again, I have to go Beckham at the right.
So he
Left
gets in
side,
basically. He gets in.
yeah, he
No,
gets in.
LJ is
I mean,
asking
that's
me.
what I have seen. That's what I have seen. I'm
Yeah,
talking about the squad
I
that I
think
have
I think
seen.
that the next promising right mid we've had since Beckham is Bukayo Saka. I'll hold off. Let him play 5 years first, then we'll talk. But as
Yeah.
far as I
If you
remember,
ask
England.
someone, See, if you ask someone from the older time, I mean, someone might even go and pick a guy like a Darren Anderton.
Okay.
But then Anderton played at the same time as Beckham as well, so he was never close to Beckham. So I don't think Anderton comes in. Gaza might come in though.
But even
I
he
think I
wasn't as
might.
he wasn't even as consistent as Beckham though, but right, like in terms of
No, no, but
longevity.
Gaza took them to the. No, no, but Gaza literally
Yeah, of
dragged that
course.
1990 England
Hmm.
team to the semifinals.
That is
So Gaza was
the Italia one, right?
Italia
Italia
one.
90, right?
Italia 90. I think Gaza could come into that right side. Or maybe into the 10 number slot and Lampard could shift to the right in place of Beckham. If you play like a 4-2-3-1, Gaza could get into the
Doc,
number 10
are
and
you getting late by any chance? It's 2:15. You want to finish up the card? I don't want to take any
yeah,
more
I think,
time.
I think, I think, I think, yeah. Let's finish up
Okay,
with
so
the
what?
card.
We'll just finish up the card. We can do this all day, guys. Like and
Well, for
subscribe
United,
if you want Doc and me to start a sports podcast where we cover everything once a week, like, comment, and put it in there, and let's see if Doc wants to do it. I'm absolutely down for it. I
I
absolutely
can do
enjoy
it.
this.
I can do it. But I think United, I think right side, I would go with the young Cristiano Ronaldo,
Hmm.
who used to play right,
Right? Yeah.
and left, obviously, Giggsy. And the middle two, I would go with Scholesy and Keane.
The only reason I wouldn't pick Ronaldo is because Ronaldo never used to cross, and back then, Saf wanted
No, no, no.
crossers.
But
You know what I mean?
Saf,
That is why
no,
the
no. But
Neville
that,
Beckham thing worked, at least from when I used to watch. The whole thing
yeah. But
was
then
the
that's why
underlap,
Saf
overlap,
sort of
underlap, overlap, cross, cross, you know?
no. That's why Saf got in Rooney as well, now because Rooney could then tuck in out wide, and Ronaldo could then get in because he knew how good Ronaldo was in front of the goal if you gave him that opportunity. Because the
How
first
disappointed
season,
are you that Hurling Ireland doesn't pull back? I mean, we used to have Rooney and Tevez who, for 90 minutes, used to
he
go
will
all the
adjust.
way
I
back.
mean,
But
no,
can
no,
you
he's
imagine? We had world class strikers that would go all the way to the
no, no,
back
no. But
every attack.
see, Rooney was the same way. Rooney was the same way. Rooney was born different, basically, with that mindset.
He ran
He was a
himself.
bulldog.
He basically ran till the tracks
But
came
then if
off.
you saw Ronaldo, Ronaldo's track back was not so much, but then Ronaldo was so much of a force on the offensive end that his side fullback could never push up ahead because he knew if he overcommits to the attacking third and Ronaldo's lurking in that area right around him or behind him, it was death for him because Ronaldo
I
would have just
remember Ronaldo used to give Berbatov shit for not tracking back because whenever they would not play Tevez, right? Because Tevez and Rooney, every defense, every time they had to defend for long periods of time, they'd go all the way back. I used to
hmm,
People don't understand that Rooney literally ran himself into the ground for our club. That's why when Ronaldo said
yeah,
what he said about Rooney, I think that to me hit a nerve that Ronaldo fans will never understand because the way Rooney sacrificed his career, that 208 goals is bullshit. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. And all the United fans who go, oh, he dropped out. I'm like, you mean he dropped out because he had to fill in Scholes' position because no one could? That's why he dropped out. So he was a team player until someone went up to him and said, you're not good enough, even though you are, but we don't have a place for you, so you gotta go. And another player goes, oh, he probably says bad things about me because he's not that good looking. I'm like, what are you on about, dude? What are you on about? Don't disrespect him like that. He gave everything to our club, dude. I'm not willing to hear this shit. I'm not.
no, no, and he gave a lot for Ronaldo on the pitch as well.
Dude,
If you
he
talk
I
about
can't
track back.
believe he said that, dude. It infuriated me. Like people were like, Rooney's criticizing. I'm like, what do you want Rooney to do, dude? They ask him a question. It's not like he's doing the YouTube, the Twitter thing where he goes, "Oh, Ronaldo is crap." Someone's asking him and he's giving his answer, dude. Dude, he made a joke 1 week after actually getting knocked out by Phil Bardsley by celebrating getting knocked out. He made fun of himself. Do you remember that thing where he went? And people don't know that. People think, oh, it's a cool celebration. People don't know that's the thing where Phil Bardsley and him were fighting in his house, and he knocked him out. Phil Bardsley, a youth player from United, long time ago. That's how he knows Rooney. They grew up being friends and all that, whatever.
I think
but
let's get back to the card.
I'm just saying, I just got furious, dude. Like, I wish I could talk to you after that interview because I was not having any of it, dude. The
No, I
Rooney
was
thing
not.
really set me off, dude. The Rooney thing
I was
set
not
me
even
off.
interested in. I mean, to be honest, I did not even discuss that interview with anyone on any stream. I was not
Yeah.
interested in doing that.
People asked, so I said I'll do it. The second part, though, I just went right over.
The fourth fight is going to be pretty
Fourth fight. I'll tell you, I have no clue,
heavyweight.
bro.
Justin Tafa
Mhm.
versus
So it's
Parker
Justin
Porter.
Taffa versus Parker Porter. Parker Porter is he's quite ground based. He's a very awkward striker. He's quite heavy, man. He's really awkward to watch fight actually. But he has a decent engine on him. And Justin Taffa, I mean, he has this Mark Huntish right hand, this short cleaver like
Yeah,
hook.
this Samoan, the short Samoan kind of
Yeah,
fighters
and
that they
and
are.
and
I think they're both short. They're both 6 feet. Both
yeah,
are heavy set. I think. I
it's going to
mean,
be sloppy. I have a feeling this one's going to be sloppy, if I'm being very honest.
I think Tafa is just gonna knock him out later rounds or maybe
Tafa's all
second
five wins
round.
by KO. All five wins are his
Uh,
by KO, and Parker
it's
Porter is only 38% by KO, which is I think five KOs,
no,
four
I think
KOs,
it's going to be one of those bad fights.
sloppy. Yeah.
Nothing. Yeah, yeah, very, very, very sloppy. I think Tafa takes it out on KO second round.
You think he puts him away? I'm going to go and say Parker Porter stinks the place, holds him down. Decision. I mean, I'm looking at the average fight time. I'm like, dude, he's
No, I think
averaging
he's just gonna get
10
caught.
minutes. He averages
I
10
mean,
minutes a
second
fight. He has
round,
20 fights in the heavyweight division, and his average fight time is 10 minutes.
so
Oh
he
my
has at
god.
least some level of a engine on him.
Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot.
No, but I
And then
think
we
he
have the
take.
fifth
I think
fight.
Jimmy Crute.
Jimmy Crute, 12th ranked against Alonso Menefield. Have you seen Menefield like live? Have you seen his physique live?
No,
He gives me solid Hector Lombard vibes. Like proper
yeah.
Hector Lombard vibes.
But
He
he's
just looks
35 years old. He's like almost at the end of his career.
Yeah, but I'm telling you, he's 13 and 3. I think he started out really late because Jimmy Crute, who's pretty young, of course, he's
Yeah,
had that really bad loss to Anthony Smith. Where he hits that perennial nerve. Is that how you say it? And
yeah,
his leg
Peronian.
he goes completely limp, and then Smith just finishes him there. I think that was in Australia. In fact, that loss.
In the
Is that his last
UFC, he
fight?
has.
That is his last fight, right? They're saying his last fight on UFC.com's of a loss. I think that's the fight I'm talking about. Let me just check
Yes.
quickly.
Let me just have a
Yes.
look.
Oh no, Jamal knocked him out too. Sorry. First
Oh,
round,
yeah.
1 minute,
No,
one
Jamal.
minute knockout.
Oh.
I think
But
Menefield takes it.
Jamal Hill is a.
Quite
I mean, he's lost to Anthony
unexpected,
Smith
right?
and he's lost to Jamal Hill. So he's lost to like the upper echelon in the division, basically.
He's 12th ranked as well, but I mean, I think Menefield clips him, dude. He's lasted 48 seconds against Jamal
I
Hill.
think.
I think
I
Menefield looks way more
think.
powerful than him.
I think Manafield decision. Decision.
Oh wow, you think they're saying Menefield has 77 wins by percent wins by KO.
Yeah, but that's
8%
like
by decision. I guess
10.
that he has one decision win, I guess. 13 fights.
That's mostly, yeah, KO, TKO elbows, then decision, then submission, then decision. But I think in the UFC, he has lost more by decision.
Yeah,
He
I
has had
think
all
he
three of
is.
his losses in the UFC.
He lost to Devin Clark, who's the brown bear. He had a fantastic win. I think was it last week? He fought last week,
Then
right? Devin Clark.
OSP knocked him out, and then
And
William Knight
William
decisioned
Knight.
him.
I don't know who William Knight is. I'll be very honest. That was 2 years ago. Askar
I think
Mojarov,
both of
TKO
these
elbows.
fighters
Misha
are.
Sakunov, elbow.
I think to be very honest, they just want to put Jimmy Crute onto the main card because he's like an Australian hometown
Yeah. They have a
kid.
lot. They have a lot in the card. They have Malaki, they have
Yeah,
Shane Young, they have a bunch of Anzac fighters on the card. Josh Kulibau. They have lot of that area. They have Loma
yeah.
Lukbum, who's a Thai fighter. They have a bunch of. I think the early prelim card is all Australian. I think.
Yeah, it's all Australian, and there is one
Zubaira is on the card.
Dagestani,
Yeah, look at
Zubaira.
the disrespect on Zubaira. Last.
No, no, but Zubaira has really gone off. I mean, Zubaira had such a hype. I will tell you, I was sitting in the audience, and Zubaira was, I think, the sixth fight on the card, like middle of the, like he was the co-main of the undercard, Zubaira, and that fight went to a draw. It went to a decision draw, and trust me, everyone was booing Zubaira because he stunk the joint that day. I can't recall who he was fighting, but it was not a very name fighter. But that guy should have been given the decision.
This was in
And
Dubai.
when Zubaira,
The match you watched, you're talking about.
yeah, 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 yeah. When Zubaira came, right, all the Dagestanis, the fans, they all came up front and they were like, I think he was the second most popular fighter on that card. And
Oh yeah,
Ismail
are you talking
Makhachev was
about
on that card.
Lerone Murphy where they drew?
Yes.
So he fought Ricardo Ramos in Abu Dhabi, Hakeem Dawodu in Abu Dhabi, and Lerone Murphy 242, which was a draw
Yes,
2019.
242. That was, yeah, Khabib Poria. It was, I mean, the whole audience was when he, in his walkout, he was the second most popular fighter on that card after Khabib. Because everyone went like, Zubaira, Zubaira,
You know
Zubaira. It
who?
was,
It's so funny you are saying this, right? There's someone that I have not seen in a while that I remember. I thought was the next or the Khabib before the Khabib, Rustam Habilov, the Tiger.
yeah.
And his train completely derailed when Benson Henderson decisioned him.
Same happened with him. I mean, the same thing happened with the Zubaira as well because Zubaira was really touted to be. I think he is a featherweight, right?
He was lightweight. Rustam was a
Yeah, I
lightweight,
think.
now because he fought
Yeah, I think he's
Benson
gone up
Henderson
to.
in a main
No,
event.
at that time he was a featherweight. At that time he was a featherweight, and he was thought that lightweight would be ruled by Khabib, and Zubaira would like take over the featherweights. Because till that Leon Murphy fight, he had one split decision loss against Renato Moicano, and that was a very controversial decision. And it also happened in Brazil.
Oh, I
So
didn't know this. He's
until
he's
the,
uh he's signed for Bellator, but he's not fought in 3 years. That's interesting.
yeah,
So what was I saying? You know what I remember about him? Yancy Medeiros, where he suplexes him and his thumb gets completely disjointed. Yeah, that was a crazy suplex. Yeah. Adriano Martins has beaten him too. The guy who's beaten Islam. I didn't know that. I saw the Benson Henderson one, and then the next fight apparently was Adriano Martins after that.
which one are you talking about? Who you talking about?
Rustam Kabilov. I didn't know he
Oh,
lost to
okay. No,
Adriano
I was
Martins
looking
as
at
well. Uh,
Rustam Kabilov. He's not on the card, right?
no, no, no. He's done. He's 36 years old. He's older than Khabib and
Oh,
Mayweather.
okay.
That's why I always thought he was the Khabib before the Khabib, because I remember that was his first ever main event against Benson Anderson, and Benson Anderson completely shut him down. Completely shut him down.
Shane Young, is he? I mean, is he in the
New
UFC or he's
Zealander.
only?
He is.
No,
He is
no.
the guy who did the Dana White shakes his hand and then he does the haka, and then Dana White's like, okay. That was the most awkward moment ever. Dana White's like
I
expecting to
think
finish
I
him
think he is. I think he's one of those fighters who's on the UFC cards in this
to fill
region:
the Anzac. Yeah.
Dubai, Abu
Yeah.
Dhabi, Australia, Singapore, China, the Asian region.
Also
Whenever they
because
come in,
he's because he's part of Izzy's team, na? So they can go. They
yeah,
do that thing where they get two, three guys on the same team to.
yes.
But he
So
is
he's
an
always on
exciting
those
guy, man.
cards.
He is an exciting guy, but
Yeah, he puts up good fights. I think the Shane Young fights are never boring. That's one thing.
he's
So,
only 30 years old.
do you
29
want
actually.
to predict the undercard as well, or?
No, but I wanted to get you one this. It's late, dude. You always do this. I
Hmm.
always say one and then we go crazy types.
It's okay.
Apologies. I enjoy myself, dude. I'll admit it. This I just want to do the featured prelim. That's it, really.
Tyson Pedro.
One half of the Shui brothers, Tyson Pedro, taking on Modestas Bukauskas from I believe by his surname it sounds Lithuanian. I didn't really see the
No, he's
flag. I should
English.
have.
He's English.
No, there's a Lithuanian flag there next to him.
Yeah, he's Lithuanian and British.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry. I'm seeing
Yeah.
UFC.com. So they have him in
No, no, I'm
they
just
have him
checking it
in the
on.
Lithuanian trunks, in that green trunks.
No, no, he's Lithuanian British. He's born in Lithuania, but he's also British.
Definitely looks extremely pasty, so that would add up. Tyson Pedro, long time coming back. He had a very long, at least in my opinion, a very long layoff. It looked like he was going to, I believe he was ranked before he wasn't, and he really suffered. Yeah, I believe so. It was he lost to OSP and Mauricio Rua, and yeah, and then I think he fought in. So basically, he's not fought for 3 years, and he got two fights. Harry
I
Hunsucker.
think
I think that was a catchweight fight. Oh no, that was a light heavyweight fight. And Isaac Villanueva, who is basically a journeyman.
yeah,
Uh, but that is after 3 years
I
of
don't know.
not fighting.
I think Tyson Pedro loses.
Do you?
Yeah, because there is something known as rust. Looks like
I mean,
he's still
but he
not
has
back.
fought. He has fought. He's last
Yeah,
fought
yeah,
in
he's fought
his.
in 2022. I saw that, but I feel Modestus has been like a little bit more. But then he has had these stretch of three straight losses, after which he went to Cage Warriors, back to the UFC now. I think maybe, just
Cage
maybe,
Warriors
Tyson
is a good
Pedro.
is a good spot to go back if you need to
Yeah,
rebuild, especially if you're European.
I think he. I think Tyson Pedro takes it.
Let's go. I'll go with
Just
Pedro
about
as
it.
well. I'd say he edges a
Just about it.
decision.
Decision. Decision.
Agree. To round it off, LJ, who's managed to stay here with us still. One question: what do you like to eat while watching sports in general? I'll tell you my answer quickly, LJ. It's Doritos. And back in the day when Doritos was 350 bucks in India and the dip was 500 bucks in India for the big UFC main events, I would do that. It was a terrible waste of money because when you see what the price of Doritos now in India, it's inexcusable behavior of mine. But mine is Doritos, and I can't do it now because I talk on the mic, so I can't do it. But that's what I used to eat before. What about you,
For
Doc?
me, well, for me it depends. Sometimes it's chips with some yogurt,
You gotta
or
go dip,
sometimes
right?
it's
You gotta
just
go dip, right? If you're going chips, you have to.
no. My dip is usually yogurt because I get those spicy, really spicy chips.
I make the I go spicy chip, spicy dip, and suffer
No, no, no,
later.
no. I can't tolerate. No, I can't tolerate that much spice.
All right. So here you have it, guys. Big thank you to Doctor. Whoever's lasted this long, it's been a while. Thank you very much. Thank you, LJ.
How long has it
Uh,
been going on for?
I think we started. I started at quarter to 12. It's 2:30.
Oh wow.
I enjoy it, Doc. Thank you very much. I know I bother you a lot for these things,
I think we can.
but
I think you can divide this stream and post the first hour as an NBA stream.
dude, people were getting so mad. I saw it. I was looking at the chat. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna enjoy myself, dude. Every day I do this solo. I'm just gonna enjoy talking today when I get the chance. So I was like, screw it. Yeah, I know. Some people are gonna unsub, but I was like, you know what? You only live once, dude. You might as well do what you like while you're doing it. So yeah,
So people didn't like all that NBA discussion or
yeah.
what?
The thing is, Sadiq bhai, it's like LJ said, na. It's how do you have time to watch all the sports you like? Not all the sports, but all the sports you like. And quite honestly, it is for sacrificing a social life. That is quite honestly the
Well,
most
you
blunt way of
sometimes just
looking
have
at
to
it.
create time. Sometimes you just have to create time.
And also, it's the I have been blessed where the UFC is at 7:30 on the weekend, as well as in the evenings I can watch football. So those two sports never ever coincide. I get very lucky. I can't watch basketball because some of the games that I personally want to watch is like 4:30 in the morning. I'm like,
No,
listen,
they're
man,
at
I
ridiculous
already
timings.
don't
Four
get sleep.
thirty.
Like I already
No,
don't get sleep. I'm not trying to make
I
it
then tend
worse.
to I then tend to go and watch the replays of those games.
Yeah. And then what I do is I also watch tennis. Tennis also is an odd time. So I get to fit all these in.
Yeah.
Cricket's at an odd time. It's perfect, yeah. It works out. The sports I watch, it works out. Some people might
I
like
mean,
the
I
sports that,
followed tennis properly till like 6 years back. After that, I
yeah,
like sort of
I'd agree. I think I really dropped out of even watching the Grand Slams since pre-COVID, I would say. Because me and my
yeah.
best friend are big Nadal Federer fans, so we'd always keep a track of it so we can troll each other depending on the outcome. But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's how it is. That's how it is, LJ. That's how we do it, or we continue to do it, I suppose. in a way. Anyway, thank you, Doc. We gotta. I'll tell you what we'll do, Doc. Let's pay hash out an agreement here. For the next
Mhm.
preview, we do it at a reasonable time where our families don't abuse us when we leave the spot.
No,
How about that?
actually, luckily for me, right now my family is traveled to Pakistan,
Well, I don't think
so I've got
you're
no
going to
one.
be very lucky next month because we got two
No,
pay-per-views
no, no, no,
next
no.
month.
Oh no. Next month is going to be like maybe I might just join you guys in the chat and just keep posting there.
Or listen, we can do it early. You give me the time, doc. We'll do it anytime you want. But if we do it early, I think it's better for both our family lives. That's all I'll say.
No, the thing is actually, nowadays my clinics are usually afternoon.
Hmm.
So I get done like around 11:30 IST, and then I come back, and then when my family is around, I've got a young daughter, so I just have to
Yeah,
spend time with her. So
of
then
course. Yeah.
that's like, so then I usually during the weekdays and even the weekends, I get no time.
Yeah, no problem. No, we can do it in the mornings if you want, Devin Doc. I don't mind. We can keep it short and
Let's see.
concise because what happens is I only get to talk to you about UFC. Everyone else is really done with the whole football thing, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, dude. We talk about it the whole week. Yeah, just give it a break. Like seriously, like enough. I'm like, I have chats where like, oh, Carlo Ancelotti's the new Brazil coach. I'm like, bro, I don't care about Carlo Ancelotti's coaching job, dude. How does that affect me? How does it affect anybody? Be
And I
honest.
think probably they were trying to ask my opinion on that.
Though it was not on the chat. It was on our WhatsApp group. I'm like, someone was like, Real
Okay.
Madrid live. He signed. I'm like, bro, just let the season end and see what happens. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
All right then.
Adidev, LJ is saying bring Doc has tried LJ, but Adidev's super busy. Maybe one day.
Yeah, he's.
He's also
I
very
mean, you can
inconsistent on his own channel as well.
exactly.
To be fair to him, LJ.
No, no,
So
because of his
yeah.
work schedule, he's more committed towards that side.
Tell
So
me
these
something,
days he's
Doc.
a
Does
little.
he still write for combat sports or does he do
I don't
something
think
completely
so.
different?
I
Okay,
don't think so.
okay.
I think it is something else now. But obviously, following combat sports is something that he does
Yeah.
also.
I'm looking forward to
He's
him. Yeah. The only people left I have to talk to is Mohak Bhai, who's a United fan, obviously, and Adidev, who covers this sport. One day,
yeah.
hopefully. I don't really know what I can talk to about Mohak Bhai because, quite honestly, he covers everything. But I just a conversation about United would be nice. But yeah,
Yep.
that is upcoming on the bucket list. Hopefully, 2023. Let's see.
I thought I'm pretty, as they say, one of those shameless United fans. I don't because I've been born in a country where there's oil money. I've grown up in a country where there's oil money.
Someone's
My
asking me
schools.
what is your to finalize that. I'll give you them your thoughts tomorrow if they ask me. Qatar or Jim? What are you saying?
Qatar any day. Jim Ratcliffe is asking JP Morgan to come and help him in debt refinancing, that idiot.
Okay, I'm more sentimental, unfortunately. United fan, local lad. I got Jim. I also don't want
Dude,
everyone going oil money, dude. Like, after all the years we
dude.
have done it.
No, no, no,
We
no, no, no,
can't
no.
hear it, dude.
Jim Ratcliffe is such a big United fan. Then why did he try to downplay those connections when he was trying to go and buy Chelsea? Answer me that first, and then I'm
Doc,
okay.
do you
Fine.
really want everyone to talk about how we are owned by oil? Do you really
I
want
don't
to
give
hear
a
it?
I don't give a rat's ass. See, listen, neither am I European, neither am I British, so I don't want to follow that goddamn British agenda that's kept fed in our heads from the British media and their heads that, oh, there is European football tradition, football has to be traditional, football has to be goddamn traditional. That is not our mindset. That is a mindset that is being fed into us by who? The English speaking media, because that's the media that we have consumed our sports from since we were kids. But now that we are grown up and we are getting media and information from all sides, it's our responsibility to think at it and think from our minds also. That, okay, fine, yes, that tradition that was being fed into you was a goddamn English propaganda. Nothing else, nothing more.
Honestly, Doc, I just don't want all the people that come for me on a regular basis. That
Listen,
welcome
listen,
oil money.
Nathan,
Y'all are getting oiled up, oil me up,
Nathan,
all this rubbish. Yeah.
Nathan, let them come. When we win number 21, 22, 23, 24, number 30, while they're still sitting not even on 10, fine. That would be the better answer, wouldn't it be?
Listen,
And it's not like we were.
I just want Man City to go away. So whatever is the
No, I
answer is the
don't.
answer.
Honestly, Honestly, I don't see. We are calling Man City cheats, right? Okay, I agree. If
Well,
they
no, no.
escape this,
I would like to clarify something. I'm not calling them cheats. I am calling them, ha ha, we told you so. Because when we were telling them as it
no,
happened, people were saying we were haters and jealous and
Nathan,
all
Nathan,
this.
Nathan, I'm not even calling them that. You know why? You know why? I have a few questions here, or like a few statements here, which I don't like when people just go after clubs like Man City and PSG, because this good old boy group of 12 big European clubs approved the FFP after including Man City as the last entrant into the big guys group when they saw PSG coming in. And they shat their pants, said, okay, now we can't compete at all with a $300 billion war chest. Whether we are Real Madrid, whether we are United, or whether we who we are. Forgetting the fact that a Madrid, a Barcelona, United, a Liverpool, we all used loopholes. United abused the television rights system for the first 10 years of the Premier League. You will agree to that. No United fan can deny that. We were financially doped on the television money when no one else was. Similarly, Real Madrid was doped on the financial benefits they got in the 50s and 60s to become that big. Once they became big, the fan base came in and then they started raking in their own money. Now, if a club like City comes in and they have to bridge the gap of 40 years, and then you have a financial fair play being put in, which could have been put in 2000, 2001 when Real Madrid, United, Barcelona, these clubs were not as big. Social media was not there. They could have put the FFP then. They did not, because they were sure that if something else changes in the future, they might not continue to remain so big. But in 2013, when social media was already established, their fan bases and their massive international fan bases were established, because there's a review article. There are a bunch of review articles on FFP after 5 years and after 10 years of FFP. If you go and read them, they clearly state the biggest drawback of FFP is what? No new club can aspire to become a big club other than the established ones, because you have put a cap. So if someone, for example, a Brighton, now people come and quote the example of clubs like Leicester and Brighton. Leicester got lightning in a bottle for one season. What happened the next season? They were ripped apart. Danny Drinkwater left, Kante left, Mahrez left. I think Jamie Vardy
Wes
only stayed. Shinji Okazaki left. Wes Morgan left.
Uchoa
Everyone
left.
just
I think Uchoa was on loan, right?
Ok- yeah, and this one Shinji Okazaki, he was also taken away after two
Yeah.
seasons. All Brighton stayed. So their soul was ripped apart from them. Now Brighton, everyone is saying praising Brighton so much, right? What's happening to Brighton? Trossard's gone. Okay, Trossard is gone because of his own thing. They Arsenal came like vultures for Caicedo. We will probably come as vultures for McAllister. Chelsea will come for some Mitoma or someone, for example. And now what will happen? Brighton will get the money. They will do good recruitment again. But what if that recruitment is not as good as this current one? Brighton will suffer. And Brighton's suffrage is probably them getting relegated after 2 years. Their cycle is over.
So here's a question: what if Brighton finish fifth and they get European? Don't they get more money to like?
That is them catching lightning in a bottle like Leicester. Leicester got them won the Premier League. Where are they right now? Where are they right now? They could not compete, right? They
No,
could not
no.
compete with the big boys.
They finished
Despite,
17th and then they won the league and then
despite winning the Premier League, they could not compete with the big boys. So, when investment comes into your club, you have to make use of it. And you have to find loopholes in the system to get ahead of, or to bridge a 30-year gap between the established powers. Otherwise, though, the Premier League would be nothing else but United, Arsenal, and Liverpool. That's it.
so basically when the Qataris buy us, which seemed like it's going to happen, you're going to like go on all the
That's the
channels
rite of
celebrate.
passage.
Are you going? How
I
much are
was
you going to celebrate though? Like how
I
much are
was
you going to
on. I
celebrate?
was on. I'm gonna see. I'm not gonna celebrate Qatari so much because I would prefer Dubai because they are my rivals from that point of view.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course.
But I was on just before coming on your stream. I was on Madrid Pundits, and I told them the same thing. It's a rite of passage. It's high time that clubs like Madrid and Barcelona accept the fact they need to sell themselves to someone with money until they are forced to do so. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, maybe 20 years down the road, but they will be forced to do so. That is where the sporting world is going.
And
There's
what
a reason
about
why there
what
is
is your
no.
thoughts on the ESL? Are you happy about it?
See, if the transition of money happens how they say, because see, it's a battle between two evils. All the negativities that we are hearing about the ESL, that they're destroying the tradition, destroying the tradition, destroying the tradition, is coming from where? English speaking media and English YouTube content creators. You
I
go,
also think they are. I'll tell you
because
why.
that's what I'm saying.
I'll give you my reasoning. My reasoning is
Hmm.
4 days ago, Flowers of Manchester happened again for the 65th year.
Hmm.
That cup means so much more to me.
Oh, exact.
Whether we win or
No, no. I
not.
heard
I
your
mean,
point. I heard your
did you
point.
watch it yesterday?
If the
I
Flowers
got
of
very
Manchester,
emotional. I got very emotional
no,
because they were like
I will.
Premier
No,
League
no. I
boys
saw
against
that.
the world. I'm like, come on,
No,
man.
no,
I'm
no,
like,
no,
I
no,
don't care
no,
about this shit,
no, no,
man.
no, no, no. I saw that. And if the Flowers of Manchester matter to you, ESL should also not be much of an issue to you, because the European Cup in 1956 was an ESL like tournament established just 2 years earlier. Chelsea in 1954-55 was the first English club who qualified for the European Cup, and they were barred by the FA because it was considered to be a breakaway league being established by a foreign power, and that was Santiago Bernabeu of Real Madrid, who was trying to establish the tournament. We fought the FA and went, and because of our
That's what
participation,
I was telling them. We sacrificed the FA
and
Cup
because of
to.
us, and because of us participating in that tournament, we were technically punished by the FA, and that's why we had to take that faulty plane at Munich to travel back the same day. Otherwise, we would have had to forfeit the FA Cup final. So, sorry, the FA Cup semi final. Why? Because United was in the run to be the first team ever to win a treble that season. We were in the semi final of the European Cup, I think playing against Belgrade or
Yeah,
some Serbian team, if I'm not mistaken. And we were supposed to play Aston Villa in the semi final, right, of the FA Cup.
yeah.
Yeah, and we had already won the league. We had wrapped up the league by that time. The Busby Waves had
I
wrapped
don't
up the
know,
league
man.
by
It
that
makes
time.
me sad. Like, no big years, the good old big years not in competition. What that cup means to us, what sacrifice we made.
See, that
Just
cup
some
was a
new
renegade.
cup, man. I'm like,
See, see, that cup itself was a renegade cup. In 92-93, that tournament was again revamped and everyone was against it. The Premier League that we are so happy about, and everyone is saying it's a tradition of football, was a breakaway league from the EFL. We were in the EFL Division
EFL,
1.
yeah, the old
But it
Division
was a
Two.
break away from the tradition and made the Premier League, which now makes the money. So these breaks from tradition have to be taken for sports to go forward, whether we like it or whether we don't.
So
Now, my
you're
pet
for it. Are you for it or not though?
I am for it if the financial uh, transfer of money, because people say, oh, Barnsley and Championship clubs will come into it also. No, they won't.
They were
Out of the 80 clubs that we're talking about, you know how many European country associations are there?
a
53.
lot.
53. There are supposed to be 54, but Liechtenstein plays in the Luxembourg League.
Oh,
So that's why there are 53. If you ever have a time, I'll send you a PPT that I made on how qualification happens in the European Cups, and how which country has how many slots available.
send it. I'll read it just for knowledge. Yeah, I don't mind. Send it, please, whenever you're free.
So, and how the new UCL format is also not bad. It's not about heritage clubs. They removed it. People forgot. 16th
Are you going
May.
to feel sad not seeing that cup though? Like that what that cup means to us. Like
I don't care about that cup.
you really don't,
That
huh?
cup is that is European Cup. We won three of them. ESL is the new thing. We will win three more of them.
No,
Listen,
yeah.
you can't sit
I feel
behind in the
very
past and
I feel
cry.
very no, I think it's because we lost our players that I think I am holding on to it personally.
But
I
that's what
don't
I'm
know how
saying.
everyone
We
else feels, but it's not
it's
like I'm
the
holding on
it's
to the
the
cup. I'm holding on to
no, no,
what the
no,
cup reminds me of. you
That
know?
cup reminds me of that. That cup reminds me that those players sacrificed while fighting the system when something new and better was trying to be implemented. That is the legacy. Not that we fought for that cup,
Yeah, yeah,
we
no, I
fought
do
the
understand.
system. That day reminds that United fought the system, not for the cup. We fought against the system, who
Yeah,
was preventing us from doing what we wanted to do.
yeah, that's what I was telling Jayant also was right. Like I'm like, y'all have 14 cups. Are y'all okay to start on scratch? Like everyone has zero. Are you okay with that? Like after all the whatever all the amazing football y'all play to earn it. He's like, I think Suryansh told me, oh, technically it all gets carry forward. I'm like, but dude,
No, it does not.
it
No,
really
it
does
does
not
not.
though. It
ESL does
really does
not.
not though.
Because the European Cup was rechristened the Champions League.
Yeah.
That's why it carries
That's why
forward. This
exactly.
will be a new one.
So
But
that's what
see,
I'm trying to say. Like, why should Man United, Barcelona, Real Madrid, AC Milan, Liverpool, why should we rebrand and all start at zero? We are not
I
even.
will tell you
It's not
why.
even.
No. I will tell you why. Because
Like
the
LJ is
sad
saying,
truth,
we have six of those cups. LJ, it's not even about the number for me. Even if we had
see, it's not
one
the.
European cup,
No. I'm
the
telling you
what the
something.
cup means for
Nathan,
me is that no, I'm just answering
Nathan,
LJ
Nathan.
now. I'm saying it's not about the number of cups because there are Real Madrid
Hmm.
fans who have won 14 cups and they're like, yeah, let's do it. So your six cups even pale in comparison to their 14 because they're like, yeah, we,
No.
we want it, you know?
I will tell you something. The reason why it is important is because these clubs make UEFA the same amount of revenue that they are saying has to be dispersed amongst them. You get my point?
Hmm.
Their leagues, okay, I understand. Their greed at one time prevented their leagues from having a uniform TV rights thing. What the Premier League was smart enough to recognize and do it. But we also have to realize that the fact they could not sell TV rights at that rate was because they had a language barrier, which is a natural barrier. Like English is a naturally universal language that everyone speaks. Spanish is a language that not many understand. Italian is a language that not many understand. And if they try to broadcast the major leagues in English, their home audience would have been affected. You get my point?
Yeah.
If the EPL is being broadcast in English, the home audience is also getting the same thing they are understanding, and we, the foreign fans, are also understanding the same thing. That's not that much of an issue. So, whatsoever reason, they relied on the UEFA money or the Champions League money. UEFA started to see the pie getting bigger and bigger, but the portion of the pie, the gross portion of the pie that was being given to the clubs remained roughly the same, or pretty much did not grow at that same exponential levels as to what the tournament makes, the governing body. So these clubs, and then they saw that okay, there is another league out there, the English Premier League, where we decided that okay, FFP would be there, you would instill salary caps. But what you did was you made the FFP as such, what you get in is what you get to spend. And then our leagues are being run by such fools who are putting in such draconian laws which are even further restricting our spending. So they need to get out of that structure.
But you know what,
And people are
Doc,
saying,
when Suryansh and Jayant was saying this, right? I'm like, yeah, but y'all are all taking the Premier League to task, but it's actually your own league's incompetence that has got that way.
yeah, it
I'm
is.
like, if no,
See, it is.
what happens is, like in their chat, right? They were like, it's a PL against the world. I'm like, but the PL don't really give a shit what y'all
No.
are doing here. Y'all are screwing
See.
your own selves up, and y'all are like getting
It's
upset at the
not the
Premier
PL.
League. It's weird.
Getting upset at the Premier League is stupid. But then the Premier League also, or rather the English media also taking it as a form that we are upholding the traditions here. No, you're not, because your Premier League is not a traditional league. Your
Yeah,
Premier League itself was a breakaway
break
league.
off with the old Division One. Yeah,
Yes, and you first did not have relegation. Then none of our clubs are our 22. There were 22 clubs.
yeah,
Our
of
22
course.
clubs are not going to get relegated. And then you said okay because there were lawsuits against you and everything, so you had to conform to the norms of the EFL. But you are still not in the EFL. You're still not in the English football pyramid. You're the highest part of the English football league, but you're not in the EFL technically
Mhm.
with the EPL. So what happens is that okay, these I'm hearing this also that oh, the PL clubs, they don't need the ESL. Why would they go to the ESL? They don't need the ESL. They're already making enough money. They're already flush with cash. Listen, you're making 150 million, right? The TV rights deal and the other deals. This says, if it says, and if it does what it says, that it's going to pay charter members $1 billion payment first time and then 300 million every time you're qualified to play the tournament. I haven't seen a single billionaire who sees hundreds of millions coming to him and says no to it. The day I see a billionaire like that, I will be the most surprised man. I think that would be the end of the world. The day a billionaire who sees extra 100, 300 million coming to his kitty and says no to it. So once the PL clubs see that, they're going to, and then I heard many people are quoting things like uh, that clause number 9 in the PL rules that if you be part of a breakaway league, how many people are watching us or they've all left?
6 people are watching it right now. And
Okay,
someone
so
is
these
asking
six
us,
people.
PL is not part of the EFL tier. LG, if you look at it on any, like if you go on SofaScore, if you look at how the leagues are divided, you'll see EFL Championship, EFL League One, EFL League Two. But on the Premier League, you will not. You'll
Premier
see Premier
League
League.
takes part in the EFL Cup as a partner league to it,
Yeah.
not as a
So
part of
if
it.
you can just go see, you can see that on SofaScore. That's the best way, most simplest way for you
See,
to
that's
see
what I'm
its lot.
saying. That's what I'm saying. The biased English media, you have to look at it from an unbiased form.
I can't.
I'll also
I'll
come
admit I can't do it because for me it's an
exactly.
emotional thing. That's it really.
You
It's
have see that's what I'm saying. You
no
have
no. I
made
mean
it an
prior to your
emotional.
no no. I mean prior to your explanation. Like when people were asking me, I was like
Hmm.
I don't care.
You
I'm
have
like
see fans because of what they have been fed. They have been unfortunately not due to any fault of the fans, but due to what they have
what we
kept on
fed
being
propaganda. Mm.
constantly. If you're being fed that, you will be of the mindset, oh, this is tradition. We should feel bad for it. Bro,
Yeah.
when I try to become a Manchester United ultra or a socio or when I try to become a Barcelona socio, I tried paying the fee and everything. He said, no, you can't because you have to come to Catalonia, get to Catalan stamp and this and this and this. I'm like, I'm a fan for 27 years. No, they don't care about it. Yeah, they will take your money when you want to buy the ticket, but they won't let you be a part of the club. Whether it be Barcelona, whether it be Madrid, whether it be United. So they discriminate at the first attempt they get, at the first
Yeah,
opportunity
of
they get.
course. Yeah.
So now, if you look at it from the point of view that what happens if the distribution of money is what they're saying it is, that's a very good thing. Like a club like Brighton, if it makes into the ESL, it will get that 300 million for the first time, or maybe it goes into the second division, gets lesser money. But if it gets an extra 100, 200 million, it's going to be part of it. And
I
I'm
made a joke with
and
Giant about this. I was like, out of the 80 teams, the 40 teams will be the Premier League and the La Liga, right?
no, no,
Because
no,
the
no,
other
no.
leagues suck. I was like, come on, the 40 out of the 80 teams have to be the
See,
best
if the other
teams.
league sucks so much, imagine a Shakhtar getting into it. They don't have to sell Mudrik. They can
That's
build
true.
three more Mudriks
So
and build up a powerhouse.
LJ is asking, so it's not a gateway league as per clause 9 of the PL charters.
See, what I'm saying is when they say breakaway league, now clause number 9 says you can't be part of a breakaway league. What does a breakaway league mean? Just Google
You
it.
leave this
That means
league
you're
and go
going
to the
to
next.
you're going to get out of this league
Just
and
get
make a
out.
league
Yeah.
of your own. Any lawyer worth his salt would be able to smash that point into the mud by saying we don't want to leave our leagues. This league will make us qualify for the ESL. That is just an extra competition we want to play. That's why the courts, when they ruled that you can't punish them, is because the court saw that it's not a breakaway league that they're talking about. It's another extra competition that the clubs are talking about to play alongside their local leagues. And
Yeah, also,
now what you're
can I
being
say something,
and when
doctor?
someone brings that, Nathan,
Even you can
just a
just
point.
practically, can I just ask you one more
Nathan,
question
just a
before you
point.
continue? Yeah, yeah, sorry.
Just one
Yeah.
point. And when someone brings that argument, you know what people say? No, but in a roundabout way, if this ESL is giving everyone a Real Madrid versus Arsenal game twice, or a Real Madrid versus this game twice, I've seen the format. It's 14 teams playing once against each other in the league. It's like the NFL. NFL, you play your division rivals twice, and every other
Yeah.
team you play once. It's like that.
Yeah,
So this
also,
just means that
where are
the
these games being played? Are these games going to be played in Delhi, Sydney?
no, they're going to be played in Europe.
But where in Europe? In our grounds?
No, it's going. Yeah, in our grounds or in different grounds, that format has still to be. This is just a rough format of it.
Because some people
It's
have
going to
this
be
under this perception that we are going to take this particular part of the league worldwide.
that will be coming in due course of time, depending on logistics.
Man, I don't want to go watch my first United game at New Delhi. Screw that, dude. Not interested.
No. It's not going to be immediately up. It's going to be mostly in Europe, mostly in our stadiums.
Doc, we've got to go to where we need to go first, right? Before we go to these local matches.
But
I
I'm
can't
telling
do it, dude.
you,
I can't do it, dude. I can't go, oh, let's
but
go watch
but I'm
United
telling
in
you,
New Delhi.
also be prepared for something else. We
What
get the
depress
oil
me.
money. We get the oil money. Old Trafford is going for a renovation. Old Trafford, the one that we know now, probably will become a museum, and we'll have a new Old Trafford.
No,
And
Doc,
listen.
no,
I know
no.
as much as you hate it, as much as you hate it,
No, this,
and
no,
people come
this
and
everyone should hate. This everyone should
no.
hate.
See, I will tell you something. The current sporting scenario is such that in order to survive in the sporting world in terms of money making opportunities, you need to have a multi-purpose sports facility. Okay. Now the old Trafford we have right now, unfortunately, was built almost a century ago.
1909, 110 years ago?
Yes. So a century old stadium in that part of the town. I've been to Manchester. That part of the town, that stadium has lost its utility 100 years later. It's as simple as that. As much as we hate it, as much as we don't like to say it, that is the true thing. Agar abhi India mein there is a building that is 100 years old, you will probably try to rebuild it and make a new mall or a new facility out of it and not continue in the same market. I know it's Old Trafford, emotions are attached. So probably the plan would be such that the Old Trafford would be preserved,
Would
pitch
you
would be
would you go there
preserved.
before it becomes before it changes? Would you go there? Would you
Yeah,
make the
definitely.
pilgrimage there before this decision happens?
I would try to, but if I'm not able to, then okay. I'm okay with that because see, we could probably make that stadium into the biggest football museum because currently the British Football Museum is a 10-minute walk from Etihad. And that area of town where Old Trafford is, it is so underdeveloped and it's like so left behind. A lot of land around it is available for cheap for development, and that's what a Middle Eastern owner would do. What the Abu Dhabi people did in that area, because I've been there and I lived like 15 minutes from Etihad because that's the best town center. I can get a 20-pound cab to the hospital that I had to go to and give my exam and come back. I had gone there for an exam rather than living in Salford and take a 100-pound cab because it's just closer to Old Trafford. So I'm not going to do that. And
I
that
I
town is
think I think I will be absolutely devastated if I don't get to see Old Trafford. I
I
don't
don't
think
see.
I'd
I
even
don't
want
think
to go to the new stadium if I don't go to Old Trafford first.
see see. I don't think they will get rid of Old Trafford. They will just keep that building there, make a proper museum in there because the British Football Museum right now is a newly constructed building.
I was going to make
10 minutes
I know you
walk.
said that when you said Etihad, I
Yeah.
was going to make a sad joke about history, but Football Creeks is a Man City fan, so I won't be insulting Etihad. I was going to
No.
do
So
a
they.
history joke, but
I mean, honestly, the people I talked to there, they were United fans, but they were all appreciative of what the Abu Dhabi group has done to the city. They were
yeah,
like, this part where you're
I think they have, I think also the facilities, the youth academy, I think the way they have gone about
not just
other
that.
parts, they've
No,
developed the
not just
area
that.
around it even, right?
Yes,
Uh,
they've bought
yeah.
land there and they've made residential buildings. And the driver that I had, he had a British passport, but he was a Bengali guy who was there in the UK for the last 15-20 years, living in Manchester itself. एंड ही सेड जब ये अरबी आए ना उसके बाद बोला अभी हम जहाँ से जा रहे हैं ना गाड़ी से इसके सामने से आप नहीं जा सकते थे दिस वाज लाइक अ नो गो एरिया यू वुड बी थग्ड आउट
Okay.
ही
Oh,
सेड ये लोग
okay.
ने आके इसको पूरा साफ किया सब सफाई किया यहाँ से सारा ऐसा लोगों को निकाला नौकरी दिया लोगों को लाइक दे created jobs for people and they like cleaned that area up properly in every uh, definition of the word. So the same would go there. We would probably have a old Trafford complex with the old stadium probably there, because they are planning to get the railway line of their own, because that stadium, the way it is built, there's only so much you can do to it. Mohak says, I've discussed it with him. He says it was super elevated, and he, because he's an engineer, he tells those things. But the land underneath there, where it is made, and the foundation, the way it is made, is not strong enough. I know it's sad. I know it's sad, but that is the future
Honestly, I
reality.
just look at it this way. If I can't watch a game in Old Trafford, why would I even go to the new stadium? Like,
Why
it's
not?
like I look at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, no, and my grand aunt, she lived behind the old White Hart Lane, or what is
Hmm.
called White Hart Lane, and she used
Hmm.
to tell me I could hear the roar, like it was a building right behind the stadium. I'm like,
I
I look
understand
at that
that,
new
but
building, no, and I look at new building. I'm like, world's longest continuous bar. I mean, if you like drinks, great. Nice looking stadium. Has one stupid
see,
rooster thing on the top.
see,
Okay,
see. The one thing that we can't do always is, live in the nostalgia of past times.
I suppose, but I feel like everyone would feel this way. Like I imagine even if I was a
Yes.
neutral, I couldn't go to Anfield just to see the atmosphere at Anfield. I'd be
No,
like,
no, no. I
what is this new
agree. I
stadium?
agree. See. You can always say about these stadiums, but the point is, how long? How long? There's a shelf life.
Yeah, I mean the San Siro is gonna get knocked down. Yeah, talk about heartbreak.
There is a shelf. San Siro is older than even Old Trafford.
That is when I found that out, I was like heartbroken. Yeah, I was like all
But there is
the
a.
AC Milan teams that were there. Now the new AC
Okay,
Milan team
talking about the
sucks.
Lakers. Talking
Stable
about the
Center.
Lakers. No, not just the Staples Center. The one before that, the Great Western Forum. The Forum held everything that the LA part of Lakers ever had. That was the first stadium. That was the place that remained there for 2000 till 2000. After that, but what happened? They got the Forum down. 2001, 2000. They started winning again. So then everyone had a affiliation with Staples Center. Now Staples is going.
Yeah.
It has to, because
Football Creeks is saying, but don't Arsenal fans go to the Emirates now? You guys will used to be. I will remember something that Arsenal fans used to complain about originally, which was Highbury, the old ground, used to be so close to the pitch and the fans loved that. That is one complaint I clearly remember Arsenal fans making when they made the transition. So, yes,
yeah.
they did
See,
join, they did go in the end, but
see
there were
those
things that they
complaints.
didn't want to sacrifice. Upton Park, the bowling ground,
Yeah.
they make a joke now in the London Olympics team, whatever the hell it's called now, the new West Ham say. People say if you're sitting in the middle seats of the middle of the center, you got to get your binoculars because you're so far away from the pitch. They make that joke. They're like, you're so far away from the pitch on all sides that you need binoculars to see the game. Like, come on, imagine if our stadium becomes like that. Yeah, it'll be like what a drag it'll be. Seriously, be
No, no, it won't be
biggest
like
drag.
that. They will build a better stadium, because we just saw how brilliant the stadiums were for the World Cup. So if the Qataris take it, they will definitely build a monumental stadium, and they will. I don't think they are ever going to knock Old Trafford down. No one's doing that. No one's doing that. That's for sure, because there is this sentimental value and things, and Old
We
Trafford is
have to
Old Trafford.
riot. Listen, I don't care what the owners are. People have to riot if that happens. I don't care. It
No
doesn't
one's
matter
gonna
where
riot.
they
You know
come
why?
from.
See, I'm telling you, no one's gonna
They'll
riot
celebrate how
because
much money they've gotten, probably.
no, no, not just that. The whole project which they will make will not only bring in a lot of money to the whole city, it will bring in jobs, it will bring in work, and it will bring in a lot of livelihood to the people of the town.
This is going to sound really selfish, Doc, but I think you're going to see the pattern here. I don't really care. I, re-
I understand
I
that.
really don't care about any of this.
No, no, I understand that. But see, that's where I feel that practicality has been taken away from football fans. Football is a sport, I understand, but it's being made so much more by the media that sometimes you tend to lose practicality and understanding just behind
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. And I think I
And
think
that's
I
where
think that is why what makes a football fan special as well, but it also turns out to be quite detrimental in times of
hmm,
this.
and that's
Absolutely.
where I feel, and that's where I always thank Florentino Perez, because as a 13-year-old, he made me understand footballing practicality when he stole,
Yeah.
or rather, when Luis Figo sold his soul and went away to Real Madrid 6 months after cursing the Real Madrid white shirt and their badge while winning the double with Barcelona as the
He,
vice captain.
he did what English fans would call the Sol Campbell. If you know, you know.
No, 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 no. Sol Campbell was
No,
nothing compared to
not to
what
that
Figo did.
extent because he didn't win anything at Spurs, but he did a version of the Sol Campbell, I
No, 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 no,
suppose.
no, no. That was nothing. And the biggest pain out of it is what? We lost two Ballon d'Ors because of that. Barcelona has 12 Ballon d'Ors and Real Madrid has 12 Ballon d'Ors. But out of those two Ballon d'Ors, Real Madrid has won on a technicality.
Because he became a player before the signing, but he won
Figo,
it as
Figo
a
won the Ballon
choice.
d'Or for what he did in the 99
Barcelona
2000
shirt.
season.
Yeah. But
And then in
then
2000 he went there and he got injured. But he was so good in the Barcelona shirt that he won the Ballon d'Or for that.
it's
Similarly,
registered. Yeah.
Fabio Cannavaro won the Ballon d'Or for Juventus and Italy. And right in the summer, he got transferred, and that Ballon d'Or still counts in Real Madrid's collection of Ballon d'Ors. Similarly, Barcelona lost another Ballon d'Or when R9, after doing everything in 96-97 for Barcelona, becomes the youngest Ballon d'Or winner. But right before that, he's transferred to Inter Milan. So that Ballon d'Or counts under Inter Milan. And similarly, another Ballon d'Or that Barcelona lost is Lionel Messi's latest one because he went to
Oh
PSG.
yeah, that is PSG people twerking. Oh, welcome
And that's
him,
considered
welcome him. I was like, get out,
no,
you
because
dirty
that
people.
that in the official books is considered as a Ballon d'Or for PSG.
I'll tell you what it's considered. It's considered a laughable joke in a crap league with no competition in it whatsoever. Thank you very much. And I hope Bayern absolutely rip them apart, whether anybody is playing in the team or
I'll
not
tell
playing
you
in the
one
team.
more thing. How much we glorify Bayern with the 50 plus one thing, right? That Bundesliga has 50 plus one, 50 plus one.
I have to hear
You
it
know
a
when
lot.
did the 50? When did the 50 plus one came in?
Post 90s, right? Isn't it?
Mid 90s.
After the wall thing, I guess. Now, whatever.
After the wall
Probably.
thing, and when by the time it came in, Bayern was already owned by the four biggest giant companies of Germany. That is Deutsche Telekom, Mercedes Benz, Audi, and this insurance Allianz.
Alliance.
They're the four biggest companies who hold almost close to 65% of all German industry wealth. So
Yeah.
what happens? So what happens now? Your 51% can only be as big as your 49%. So if your 49% is 65% of the total wealth of the country, you are a PSG in your country.
Doc,
And you
I
bring
have been
it,
saying it. I get so much shit for it. I said
and
PSG
when you bring,
cannibalized the league. I say Bayern Munich cannibalized the league. Everyone
but
goes, oh, but it's owned by the
I
fans.
will
I'm
tell
like,
you
what are you
something.
talking about? Owned by the fans, dude.
But I will tell you something. There is a benefit of having one of these big behemoths in your leagues as well. Unless you're not the PL, because PL was very smart. They marketed the league perfectly, where everyone's wealth is distributed fairly evenly with the TV rights, and that also after the new TV rights that came in 2002. Before that, United was cannibalizing the TV rights like a
Hey, we
demon.
were winning everything. Sorry, not sorry.
No, no, no. It was not
That's
just
it.
by winning. It was not just by winning. We created. Manchester was smart enough to have Salford. Salford was a media hub, so we got the most media rights. We played it smart. Trust me. Trust. We are not we are not the saints that we project out to be now.
I mean, we are
We
better
have
than
done
what's
our
going
fair.
on, though.
No, see, we showed a way. We showed a way. People see we were sharks. We were just simple sharks. Then we showed the way to Real Madrid to become the great white. And then Real Madrid showed the way to the sheikhs to become the megalodons. So when they saw the megalodons coming, they said, "Oh, bar them, put a wall, make sure they don't get in because if they get in, they're gonna feast on us."
Yeah.
But guess what? The megalodon became friends with the gatekeepers. That's UEFA.
Yes, yes.
It's a see. It's a long discussion where, and I'm not saying ESL is good. It's not a battle between good versus bad.
It
It's
is.
a battle
It
versus
is.
bad versus bad.
Save the Champions League. Screw this 80 team bullshit. Okay, this 14 and 14
No.
teams play one time. Go to hell.
Oh,
I like big
oh,
years. Keep
oh, trust
old
me.
big years. Old big years
Trust me.
in.
Trust me. When I'll send you that PDF now of the new UCL format, it's the same dog shit. Instead of 14, it's 10. That's it.
But can I on closing, right? Because I was just saying we have been here for over 3 hours. On close, can I just can we just be
It's
like
just a
brutally?
battle between evil versus evil.
But
One evil says, I will keep the money with me. The other evil says, I will be a lesser evil and just
yeah,
try to distribute the money.
give you a little more.
But that is a skeptical thing right now, because until I see that happening in reality. But on the surface of it is what we can judge right now. ESL is not as bad because it promises to distribute money down. Like, imagine if a Brighton is getting 150 and it gets an additional 300, it has a war chest of 450. Brighton doesn't have to sell anyone.
Yeah.
Plus, Brighton's excellent recruitment with 450 million of money on its hand. Brighton, within 2 seasons, will get, if they spend 2 seasons, they touch a threshold of 700 million. All that recruitment, they can pay the salaries, because what happens? It's not just the transfer fee that ever bothers it. You need to have enough cash in your bank to pay the salaries of the players and keep them at your place. Like, if, say, a Mitoma asks for a 200K, Brighton's not going to be able to afford that. But if they have this money with them, they'll be okay. We'll give you 200K. We'll get another player as your replacement. So by the time that player gets used to the team, we'll sell you then. Then Brighton becomes a powerhouse that can keep churning again and again, seasons like that. I'm just using Brighton as an example. That
Yeah,
we,
no,
we,
no.
we
But I really subscribe to this one theory. If there are somehow 80 teams, then La Liga and PL have to be 40 teams, because
no,
I will go for the 20th team in PL and La Liga over the 20th team
no,
in every other
no.
league.
Imagine this. Imagine this. You have a team like Dynamo Zagreb, who has a brilliant structure. You have Ajax, who has a brilliant structure. You have PSV, who has a brilliant structure. You have a Feyenoord, who has a brilliant structure. Gakpo, Noni Madueke, Tyrell Malasia. They have got a very good right back, Luthashil Geertruida, who's the captain right now. Same age as Malasia, probably better than Malasia as a fullback. So you have all these players there. You have got Celtic, you have got Rangers, you have got Dundee United, teams like that, who are
Aberdeen.
actually Aberdeen, who are actually legendary clubs in their own right.
No, but
Then
I'm
you have
just
got
saying
Spain.
40 slots go to us, right? And then the other
No,
40 they
no,
can
no,
sprinkle it around.
no. That's
No,
not
but
the way how it's going to be done.
you don't really think a
The
Wolves
first two
can
seasons will
can
be the first 2 seasons will be painful. After that, if they follow what they are saying with the money distribution, it's a big if. My only saving grace is if they do what they're saying about the money. After 2 seasons, you will find small clubs, maybe a Red Star Belgrade suddenly says, "I'm not selling my players to Manchester United. Why should I? I'm building my own super team." Mikhailo Mudrik would say, "Why should I leave Shakhtar and why should I leave my country of Ukraine when I'm getting 200K, 250K here?
fair enough.
And
So
this team
do
is
you think
good."
it will benefit football, or do you think it will just benefit small clubs in the end?
No, it will benefit football in general, because the bigger clubs will then try to spend more money to
But
try
then
and get
it'll
those
go back to
players.
that whole thing again, right? Where, oh, United anyway has a baseline more money. PSG have baseline more money because of all the years of accumulating money. Then
It
it
will, it
becomes
will.
the same argument again.
No, no, it will. But what will happen is, if they have the baseline more money, they'll have more chance to get it. But it will make it difficult for them to just go and grab. Right now, it's a
Yeah.
gluttony.
Yeah.
Right now, it's a gluttony. You wanted, you go. See, what will Shakhtar do if Chelsea's coming in? And I'm using a Chelsea example.
Yeah, yeah.
Chelsea comes and says, "We are paying 100 right now for you for Mudrik. Give him to us." Shakhtar's like, "We may not get another opportunity like that again. He gets injured or something else happens. We know. Okay, our season is anyways going to the tank after this." Look at Feyenoord. They had such a good team. They were leading the league or something. Cody Gakpo and Noni Madueke were having seasons of their life. What are they left with? Nothing. Sorry, PSV.
LJ is saying, will
Sorry,
it not
sorry.
work in a
Sorry, not
circle, doc?
Feyenoord. PSV, PSV.
PSV.
PSV season has been ruined. Ruud van
Uh,
Nistelrooy is left without his two first choice wingers.
so there are questions here, right? Will it not work in a circle, doc? Is LJ doc is saying it will work in a circle because everything will go up. Football
Everything will
creeps
go
is
up. The
saying
bigger clubs will go up, but then it will give the smaller man a fighting chance.
a
Right now,
higher,
they don't
yeah.
have a chance.
Yeah. And one question is, we have City Football Group consists of 13 or 14 clubs. How would the ESL teams manage that?
ESL would easily manage that because City has got like some clubs in the European that also. But then see, as to what I'm as to what the UCL is also trying to do. Now let's come to the UCL format. What the UCL is trying to do, as per the club coefficient, every club has a club coefficient. There is a club ranking.
Mhm.
According to that, you're ranked, and then there's a ranking of your league. According to that, the number of slots are decided. It will be a similar thing. Like it will be a meritocracy. Like if EPL is so big, or the English leagues are so big, the English leagues will get a certain number of slots. Spanish will get certain number of slots. They will get certain number of slots. And according to that, the first 60 or 80 team, 3 division, 4 division league will be set up. Or it could also be, I'm just saying hypothetically, as per the club rankings of the previous season. As per
So
the club rankings of,
is there a chance an entire league can join this ESL because of their performances overall?
depending on the performance of the clubs in European rankings. And in European rankings, only a certain number of clubs can come in.
So basically, we can
Because
get to
right,
a point where a good 8, 9 clubs of La Liga and PL at least will be in this ESL thing.
it
So
could
it
be.
could be what we think it is, which is the top two leagues in the world are just going to fill
No,
out
not
the.
necessarily. Not necessarily, because the next season would depend on the performance and where the leagues rank and how many slots each league is getting.
Okay.
You get my point. If the PL is 6 and how they perform in the next season, according to that, their coefficient ranking will also vary. Na?
Hmm.
Say if the
I got
English
it.
clubs do not perform well in the tournament, they will
Then the
drop down.
English league coefficient goes down. Okay.
English league coefficient goes down, Spanish league goes up, Spanish league has more time. Imagine in that meantime if 2 or 3 Dutch teams are there, but those Dutch teams are doing really well. Dutch coefficient keeps going up. Imagine by 10 years down the road, 7 Dutch teams are being there because they are top of the coefficient rankings.
All right.
That
All
is
right.
the rough plan that is out there. Because for that you need to understand how clubs are ranked. Currently, the best ranked clubs are Bayern Munich with 2,069 points for this season. Second is Napoli with 2,007 points. Third is, I think, Manchester City right now. Fourth is Real Madrid. Real Madrid was second, I think, at the start of the season or like after the first rounds of the UCL. But because of the current performance in the current league and the way the performances have dipped a little bit, they've gone down. Barcelona is sitting at something like 10th or 14th, between 10
Right.
to 15. Why? Because,
We're right next to them.
yeah, United is also somewhere there in that ballpark. So, as I said, this is Real Sociedad is actually probably, I think, higher than, not higher because of the league performances. No, they're third in the league, plus they are through.
What a bullshit loss we took to them. That was clearly not a
That
handball.
was a.
Just
See,
bullshit.
see
Now
the
we have to play
way.
Barcelona because of them.
See, this season for both of my teams, for either for Barca or for United, I have stopped looking at the referees. Barcelona was not given 3 stone cold penalties in the UCL group stages when the games are nil-nil. You get penalties, then the game changes. Whether it's Bayern, well, first match or it's the 2 matches against Inter. The same offense by Ansu Fati is given not a penalty. The same offense, you don't get a penalty and then you don't get a goal. I mean, they did the opposite ruling
Yeah.
against Barcelona for the same offense in the same game, 10 minutes apart.
Well, why do we have to even go that far? The Crystal Palace United game, they are checking Casemiro's chokehold, but not checking
Yeah, and
Jordan
not checking
Ayew's
Andre
chokehold,
Ayew. Ayew,
who
whichever Ayew it
actually
was.
in the timeline started put his hands on Fred first. Then what's his name? Schlupp doesn't get any cards for absolutely sending Anthony into the stands. He wasn't even looking at the ball. He
And
got an opportunity to
they
see
should
the
have
VAR
looked at,
replay. He doesn't check that
and they
part of
should
the
have
VAR
looked at
replay.
Casemiro was trying to hold this
Yeah.
guy off. What's his
Hughes
name?
doesn't even do
Will
anything.
you?
Hughes walks
No,
away.
no.
Like you notice the
And
follow through. Hughes just
yeah,
walks
you know
away.
why? You know why? Because Casemiro put his hand there and then took his hand off, because if you notice, there's a slope at the end of Old
Hmm.
Trafford, right?
Yeah.
So his one foot was on one side, the other foot was slipping on the other side. So basically, his second hand went on his
Yeah.
neck to stabilize himself.
Himself.
Otherwise,
Yeah.
he would have injured him.
Because you see,
And
Hughes is looking at him, right? And he's doing this. You can see him do with his other hand nothing. And then
hmm.
Hughes walks away from him. But
And did you see?
Ayu's hands are still on him as that
I was
tape is
like
running.
literally trying to hold him by the neck.
And while that tape is still running, while he's looking at Casemiro on the
Yeah.
side by side, and I thought both should have got a red card
Hmm.
or nobody gets a red card because that offense happened before Casemiro's offense. So how?
Hmm. No, and did you see that shit show of a man himself, Andy Carroll?
Yeah,
He didn't get anything for the
Ericsson
tackle on
for the first
Ericsson,
tackle which
and
ended the game.
then yeah, and then the guy is going for a similar tackle on Casemiro. Luckily, his position was different, and Casemiro did not get injured.
And people were complaining
What
to
a
me that Bruno goal in the Manchester derby was offside. I'm like, the refereeing is inconsistent. Wait till next week, something happens.
no, no,
Three
no.
days later,
Wait.
McTominay doesn't get a penalty from Crystal Palace.
Hmm.
No
No, no,
one
no,
says
no. Wait,
anything.
wait, wait. People came and said karma, karma. I said okay, fine. That one for one offense, the other one gone. What about the six others that we didn't get after that?
It's odd, yeah. It's odd. Like I'm telling them, the refereeing is not consistent. Watch the next United game. Watch next week.
Do
They
you know
make a
something?
mistake. 3 days later, we would have, if we got
Barcelona.
that penalty, we would have beaten Crystal Palace, continued our
It's been
undefeated
so
run.
bad. It's been so bad for my teams. I think United has had three penalties this whole season, and Barcelona has scored 42 goals. I think 41 or 42 goals. One penalty, and we've got two penalties. Lewandowski's missed one, and we have scored one. One penalty goal. 41 open play goals.
We had,
I
what is
mean,
it?
and
Two of the top five best defenses in the league. Oh,
it
it's
is
good.
the
Sweaty games. It's going to be in a couple of days.
no. It's going to be. See, it's like watching Real Madrid and Liverpool play is like the two teams at the opposite spectrum of the form, and they're playing in the Champions League, and currently top five, I would say. I would rate Napoli, Arsenal, and maybe City to some extent in terms of form, or maybe say Bayern. No, Bayern's form is also a little shaky right now. So on form, two of the top five teams in Europe are going to battle in a Europa League qualifier. And that's not like historically. That's like on form right now.
LJ saying your family's going to come back before we end this podcast. That being said, Doc, you should get some rest.
Yes.
I know
I get. I've
it's
work
starting in the
tomorrow early
afternoon
morning.
these days, but
No, no, no.
yeah.
Tomorrow is morning.
Tomorrow's morning? Oh God, Doc, you should have told me. Soban's here, was still awake. Yes,
Yeah, but the
yes.
discussion was so fun, so I was like, let's just.
I think one day it'll happen when you open up time to. I think
I
we'll
think I
take
just
the.
opened your mind up to the other side of the
No,
ESL
I'll be
today a little
honest. Yeah,
bit.
it is just what the cup represents. I don't really. I have to be honest. I don't care. Yeah, as long as my team's there, as long as I get to watch them every week, I'll watch them in the championship. That's the kind of fan I am and will be
I mean,
until I
imagine.
stop watching.
I mean, imagine they start up the ESL in 2 years, and by that time, United is like all oiled up,
Listen,
and we go
I
into it,
watched
and
Chelsea for 10
and we win
years
the
while we
first one.
struggled. Watched Chelsea for 10 years struggle through the oil money. While we were struggling, they were winning stuff. People were complaining about that. People really started complaining when City did it. People are going to lose their mind when we do it. That's it.
You know
Because at
why?
the end of
Because
the day,
see, the
Chelsea,
fun
with
bit.
respect to Chelsea, not a
No, no,
legacy
no. I
club.
will tell you the
With
fun bit. I
respect
will
to
tell you
Man
the fun
City,
bit.
not a
See,
legacy club. United, Liverpool do this. Everyone's complaining. Everyone.
no, no, no. I will tell you the fun bit. I will tell you the real fun bit about it that I was thinking. City has to go through all those machinations to cook their books to show that okay, we have this many fans and this much investment. Oh, our sponsors are like if something is worth 50 rupees, the sponsor has to pay them 200 rupees for that to show that in their books, right? United is anyways raking in the second or third biggest kit sponsors. Barcelona is the biggest one with that 100 million Spotify deal or something, and or maybe some other club. But United is right in that ballpark. Okay, now if the richest deal is 100 and United is probably top two in terms of fan base and revenue generation, we just have to say our sponsors gave her a 120 million deal. 20%, that is natural inflation post COVID.
Oh my god,
And we have got
definitely.
like,
I can't imagine you
no,
and
no, no. And
Mohawk.
we have got
Just by
like,
you telling me this kid deal, I can't imagine people like you and Mohawk if we get oil. I can't imagine me, I'll be eating the abuse because I'm
no,
neutral.
no,
I'm like,
no.
I just want my team to do well. That's it. Everyone, oil,
No, no,
this
no.
oil,
And
that. I'll
then,
be like, oh god.
no, no. And then we have got like 20 different sponsors on all of our kits. There's Tezos here and this there and JVC there and that there and this there. All those sponsors, all we have to do is just inflate your rates by 10% every year. 10% inflation every year is adjustable.
No,
And with so many
this
sponsors and with that those amounts, which are natural amounts for us, which are actually our natural amounts, if this is inflated by 10, we are easily getting a 200 million, 300 million extra ability to spend. And if we
I
have
feel
those
like we are
Qatari
about to
owners,
get. I feel like we are about to get very, very unbearable for people. I feel like we're going
they
to get
won't
very.
even have to they won't even have to cook the books to that extent. They just have to show 10% increase every year, which is pretty much plausible. See,
Oh my
our
god.
baseline of revenue is this high.
Yeah, no. I get
Nathan,
what I get what you're
Nathan,
saying.
when
I get.
City started,
Mhm.
see, when City started, the revenue they were generating was here. So they had to cook their books quite a bit to show the revenue here. We are already here. If we start cooking our books by 10% from here, imagine where we will be and what luxury
Yeah,
we'll have to spend.
yeah. I suppose yes. You have to take that into account. We even after faltering so much, are such an attraction still, thanks to the loyal fan base. Most importantly, that I feel like.
And thanks. And here is where I give a small thanks to that weasel of an idiot, Ed Woodward. He knew what to do with. When he said Disneyland, he knew how Disneyland makes money. And he made us into an attraction regardless. See, as bad as he was, where he has done good, you have to give him that much credit. Okay, Ed Woodward at least left us in the state where we kept generate, where we were a perpetual money making machine, regardless of what's happening on the pitch.
Fair enough. I
That's
suppose you
what he
have to
did.
give him something. Yeah.
That's what he ended up
Do you
doing.
think City will get sanctioned? Football Freaks
Nah,
is a City fan. You don't
nah.
think they're going to get any sanction? Any?
You know why? See, I'll tell you
Oh,
something.
okay.
This FFP system is made by these teams, right? It was approved by these teams after a long time. That means they have seen into every loophole that they could see into the system, right? I don't blame Chelsea. I don't say that Chelsea is cheating. Chelsea found a loophole in the system. The problem is the rules you made are not good enough. This
Yeah,
goes
I
on the
suppose
authorities. It does not go on to
I
Chelsea.
agree. I agree to that extent as well. That's why I
And
always
if
say I
City
feel
comes
bad for the
up,
City fans because the City fans have no
see,
control
and
over
if City
this.
come, see, and if City comes up with a technicality, okay, like how they came up to UEFA, and they said it's a technicality. It's a time barred thing. To me, they are not guilty. I will not call them guilty. Why? Because the UEFA rules were not good enough to catch them.
Yeah, even Football Creeks asked me what would you do. I'm like, listen, man, I don't want any retrospect trophies. Tarnish the trophies. Say you
No,
all won
no,
it.
no.
I don't
See,
want trophies in retrospect period. Whatever the trophy is, I don't want. It doesn't
see,
matter to
for
me.
banter purposes and having fun for those few 15, 20 minutes, half an hour is good. But in all seriousness, City has got the lawyers to find a loophole somewhere in these rules. They have done this investigation for 4 years. It's an investigation. They have found these charges. They will find some loophole. On that technicality, the case will get dismissed. They may say a fine or something, but the case will mostly get dismissed. And I feel okay, City is not guilty. Why? Because they managed to get the case dismissed.
Yeah, I tell everyone also. According to me, these are alleged crimes. We decide, we cast judgment only upon verdict. Because to me, it's
You
like
know, even
saying
if
I
the
want
court
City.
says,
Imagine Sadiq, if I say now, no, I want City to get relegated. 2 months from now, oh, City is cleared of all charges. Everyone will be like, oh, Nathan, you want them relegated. Now what?
hmm,
Like, let
no,
them be guilty. Then I will tell you what I want from that.
I
That's
say
it.
even if they escape on a technicality, like what they did with UEFA, they are still not guilty because they escaped. Your rules and your regulations or your law was not good enough to convict them. Simple.
Ed Woodward or Perez, who's worse? Ed Woodward. Ed, because
Oh.
he might have given us money though, but Perez has actually won stuff. So I don't care about the money, if I'll be
Is
honest.
that even a serious? I
No,
think Nathan, that's a sign that
he said who's the badder and then he said LOL. So
no,
it
that's a
was a
sign.
joke.
That's a sign we should close the stream now because people are like losing their minds.
Yeah, yeah. LJ is also saying
मतलब हो
LJ
गया
who studies law.
लोगों का हो गया अभी
LJ who studies law. Actually, we have 9 viewers at the moment. It's actually gone up,
yeah
funny enough. But
good
investigations are always weak. They're saying Nathan, you study law. Yes, that is true. You can poke holes in investigations much easier.
exactly exactly
That
so
is
they will
true.
find something out and they will say okay this was not sufficient enough it's out end of story that's it
Yeah, yeah. I agree.
that's
That's
why
why I don't say they should get anything. They ask me hypothetically, I say
that's why when this
you
thing
can
came out
relegate them. One, you can relegate them to the championship. I don't want any
hmm,
trophies in retrospect. That's it. But
that's why
if they
when
are
this thing
guilty,
came out Nathan when this thing came out in one of the live sessions chats I just went and I bantered and had fun with the chat that was going on other than that I didn't even speak about the city thing the only time I've spoken I've said the same thing again and again that to me if they beat the system
they beat the system like
because
any other
yeah
case. Like any other case. Yeah.
and and a club like city has no other option because they have to bridge a 30-year gap within 5 years you
But
can't
hypothetically, Doc, what would if they are guilty? What do you think should be fair? I
see
don't know how you feel, but I don't want any
if they
trophies.
no see if they are guilty let them keep the trophies but they should be relegated then the
Relegated
permission
one
then
division because some on Twitter I saw a statement saying they should go down to
no
the
no one
National
division
League.
no that is
National League. I
ridiculous
was like, this is
no
crazy.
no
Yeah.
that is ridiculous they should be relegated one division why there's a reason I was listening to a few commentators and they were very valid in this if you give them if you give a team like city a 30-point deduction not
Yeah,
15
they can
you
pick it
give
up.
a team like city like 30-point deduction these guys get 95 points for fun
Yeah,
every
they'll make
year
it back into
they will
Europe
get
same season.
they will get 65 points at 50 last year at 62 points you made it into the top 4 they
They'll
will
go
be
back
into
in Europe.
Europe
Not a
it
punishment.
won't be a punishment for them it will be 1 year out of Europe they will have their money they will build their team they have Pep Guardiola sitting right there who will drill his team like something that you have to go in like animals and win every single thing and score 95 points. He will make a target. He will say, title is not a target. The target is 96 points. You have to hit that point mark. Or 100 points is the
Yeah,
mark. You
yeah,
have to
yeah.
hit 100 points. End
Definitely.
of story. He will, and we all know how Pep Guardiola is as a manager. If he sets his target to do something, he will do it.
He'll
But
bench
really, if he
everyone
set on,
that doesn't want to participate. He'll get out the
yeah, he'll
youth.
be
He
like,
doesn't care. He'll
screw you,
figure
get
it out.
out.
Yeah.
He'll figure it out. They will get 65, 66 points. They will get into Europe and that's it. You relegate them, that will take them 2 seasons to get back to where they want to get.
Plus, they will definitely lose a lot of their players
That's what happened with
because
Juventus.
there's the
It took Juventus five.
clause, right?
It took Juventus 5 years to come back to what, and then they won 9 straight. Then Juventus was on a roll. City very well will do that after 4 years. For all we know, they'll go win
Yeah,
5, 6 titles straight. But that 2 year window will lead to a 5 year window, and that will lead to other teams catching up with them. Plus,
catching
it
up.
will be a reprimand to them. It will be a reprimand to them. See, any punishment is only effective until it is impactful. If there is no
Yeah, of
impact of
course,
the punishment,
of course,
it's a waste.
absolutely. Okay, guys, we will end it here now because I do want Doctor to sleep. Someone said, I'll just read one complimentary comment here, which was Football Creek says, Sadiq bhai, do often come here. We love multi-sport background. Football Creeks, we will stick to MMA next time. We say that every stream, we end up not doing it, but we will try to because Sadiq bhai is going to be very busy next month,
Well, the
and
news cycle
as
is such. Well,
yeah,
the news
and you
cycle
know
this time is such.
it
There's so much
warrants
of
a long
going on.
conversation, but we
Yeah.
will keep it to MMA next time because Sadiq bhai is going to be on limited time when his family and his little baby comes
Yep.
back. So we have to respect him. You know, we have to give his personal space as well. He's
Thank you,
very in
guys.
demand in YouTube here. So the little time I get with him, I'm very happy. And thank you again, Sadiq bhai. I will
Thank you.
let you know way in advance when we are doing the UFC preview to allow you to
Sure.
pick the time a lot better, so we
No, and it
can
also
not.
allows me to read up on the fights and what's
Yeah.
going on
Also,
because
also,
sometimes
I
I'm
think
not.
it's better that way because you can etch out a time where you feel comfortable, and if there is a
Yeah.
specific fixed time, we can crack on with it more accurately.
Sure.
Yeah. So, guys, everyone, thank you for joining. We absolute
Thanks for the
barn burner
invite,
of a
Nathan. Thanks.
stream, the longest stream I've done easily. Thank you, Sadiq bhai. I will see you soon. We will talk about the fights via text, obviously, on Sunday. So let's
Oh,
see if we
definitely.
are in for a shock for the world. And
Sunday,
let's
what
see.
time is the fight?
So Sunday they are saying I believe it's 7:30 our time, but sometimes they do the 1 hour pre-show here, so it could
No,
be
but
8:30.
isn't it in Australia, so it's going to start early?
I think they've still made it somewhat adjustable to US time. I think because
Because the
on
Abu Dhabi ones are not adjustable to UAE time.
no,
I, I
they're
mean, I
not.
mean, I mean to US time.
No, they're not. But I
Just
think
check
this
out.
one is.
Maybe
No, I've
I
seen
hope it's
it.
not a
They're saying
day.
live at 7:30. It's either 7:30 or 8:30 because they do the 1 hour preview before the fight. So it's
7:30
going to
your time, right?
yeah 7:30 my time.
So six
Six
will be my time.
tops
If
7
it is
o'clock.
See, if it is 8:30 now, then I
Then
will
it's 7.
probably be able to join you in the watch along
Yeah,
for a
see, you see
few
how you feel. Yeah, if
minutes.
you're free, I'll drop you the link, whatever happens.
Yeah.
Okay, take care, guys. Thank
All
you
right,
so
then,
much,
Nathan.
guys.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.
See you. Bye.
I
Good
will
night,
drop
guys.
out.